young man unexpectedly acquired the shake system. Every day, he could shake a dice to reset his attributes. Yet he had shaken it for 11 years straight. Each time, his attributes were either that of a millennium's worth of trash or of 10 millenniums worth of rubbish. Now, he has become numb to the daily routine of shaking. He swore to only start cultivating after shaking an exceptional attribute. Today, as usual, he shook and got the spiritual root of a millennium's worth of trash again. Frustrated, he spat out a mouthful of blood. With a sense of resignation, he began to shake his innate destiny. Suddenly, a streak of golden light flashed by. He actually shook out a super great innate destiny with 4 attributes: top-level charm, top-level swordsmanship aptitude, top-level agility. After the game of life begins, he will obtain an unparalleled cultivation technique and 1,000 high-grade spirit stones. He was completely stunned. Then, he lay on the ground, laughing madly. From now on, I just need to focus on shaking for a high-quality spiritual root qualification. Now that I have this superior destiny, even if I shake until I'm 40, so what? In the not-too-distant future, there will definitely be a place for me in this cultivation world. The young man is named Hanju. His parents, who were servants of Old Tai, an alchemist of the Jade Pure Sex Outer Sect, usually planted elixirs for him, but in the year he turned 6, his parents abandoned Hanju and ran away. Thus, Hanju took over his parents' job. One day, 2 cultivators from the Jade Pure Sex Inner Sect suddenly arrived at this Medicine Valley. It turned out that Old Tai was out on business, and the sect specifically asked them to guard this place. Just like that, another 2 years passed, and Hanju hadn't shaken a single high-quality spiritual root. My luck is really too bad. I'm afraid I might die shaking without ever getting a superior spiritual root. Just then, Old Tai came back and called for everyone to assemble. Old Tai first praised everyone. You all did well while I was away. No problems occurred, and I am very pleased. Everyone looked deeply moved. This is what we should do. It's our honor to relieve our master of worries. Hanju, however, looked unimpressed. Pfft, a bunch of bootlickers. No matter how sweet your words, this old man won't give you any real benefits. At that moment, Old Tai suddenly called Hanju and 3 others over to him for a spiritual root qualification check. Hanju thought, hasn't he always forbidden servants from cultivating? Wait, there's blood on his clothes. Old Tai is injured. Fortunately, Hanju had never shaken a good spiritual root. Then another chubby kid was found to have a spiritual root, and Old Tai immediately said, I wish to take you as my disciple and take you outside the valley to cultivate. Would you like that? The chubby kid was ecstatic. I would love to. Only Hanju knew, this chubby kid might never come back. This world is too dangerous. I need to hurry up and shake out a spiritual root for cultivation. 3 years passed just like that. Suddenly, a loud pig-like laughter came from Hanju's room. Hanju was so excited that he rolled around on the ground, for he had shaken out a top-level spiritual root containing 6 attributes. Hanju was about to start cultivating with the help of the system, but then he suddenly thought of Old Tai, that old geezer. That chubby kid has never been seen again since he was taken away, probably dead by now. It would be dangerous if he found out I was cultivating. At that moment, the system suddenly popped up a notification. You can choose a small place, and the system will help create a barrier. Cultivators outside the barrier will not be able to detect any changes inside. Hanju was overjoyed. A barrier could be created. In that case, today, I, Hanju, will officially step onto the path of cultivation. System, begin. The next moment, he appeared in the system space. Options floated before his eyes. Now that you have unexpectedly awakened the inheritance of the immortal emperor and obtained an unparalleled technique, 6 realms of reincarnation, and set forth on the path of cultivation, please choose your main cultivation path. Hanju thought the 6 realms of reincarnation must involve cultivating all 6 types of spiritual roots together. He immediately decided to choose Sword Cultivator as his main cultivation path. Then, he watched as all the surrounding spiritual energy was absorbed into his body. Hanju instantly felt powerful and discovered an added relationship panel. Upon opening it, he found his relationship with Old Tai was marked as hatred. Hanju couldn't help but grit his teeth in anger. Damn it, Old Tai, you bastard. I've been toiling away at planting grass for you, and you still hate me? Wait, Old Tai's pettiness probably stems from my parents running away, but he hasn't done anything to me. He has been gone somewhere in the recent years, so I can cultivate in peace. Immediately, Hanju calmed his mind and began to cultivate peacefully. Hanju felt the spiritual energy of wind, earth, wood, and water around him, but there was no fire and thunder spiritual energy. Without further thought, he decided to first cultivate these 4 types of spiritual energy well. Just then, the system popped up again with 2 options. First, obtain an energy cultivation realm magical tool. Second, unlock the ability to hide one's cultivation level and spiritual root. Hanju felt, to be able to hide one's cultivation level and spiritual root, this system is really thoughtful. Without hesitation, he chose the second option. Time flew by, and 2 years passed. Hanju's 4 types of spiritual energy had now been cultivated to the 7th level of the energy cultivation realm. However, just when Hanju thought he could continue to cultivate peacefully, trouble came knocking. As Hanju was about to return, an inner sect disciple named Xing Hongxian found him and directly asked him to follow her to a small forest. Hanju was puzzled. I don't know her. Why would she suddenly ask me to go to a small forest? Immediately, he opened the relationship list and found that Xing Hongxian had 2 stars of goodwill towards Hanju. Could she be wanting to dual cultivate with me? Should I comply or comply? Just when Hanju was slightly excited, Xing Hongxian said, help me get Old Tai's pill recipe, and I'll take you away from the Jade Pure Sect to join the demon cult. If your aptitude is good and you achieve some level of cultivation, I might even consider becoming your cultivation partner. Hanju was instantly petrified. Damn, this woman is a demon cultivator. Hanju immediately felt despair. Offending the Jade Pure Sect would get me chased to the ends of the earth, but if I refuse, this witch will definitely kill me to silence me. Although she and I are both at the 7th level of the energy cultivation realm, I haven't learned any spells. I must not confront her directly. Hanju immediately said, I don't know where the item is, and there's also your fellow sect member guarding the attic. But Xing Hongxian pressed him down. The item is in the attic. As for the other person, I will take care of luring them away. Then she took out a black pill, just in case. This pill can help you activate your spiritual root. Without waiting for any reaction from Hanju, she stuffed it into his mouth and forced him to swallow. As soon as Hanju returned to his room, he had the system help him expel the elixir. While Hanju was considering whether to follow Xing Hongshuan's orders, the system popped up. First, steal the pill recipe, win Xing Hongshuan's favor, and earn a 5-star hatred from the Jade Pure sect. Second, absolutely refuse, prevent Xing Hongxian from getting the pill recipe to acquire the sword technique, Supreme Finger Divine Sword. Looking at the two options provided by the system, Hanju didn't hesitate to choose the second one. That night, while Hanju was cultivating in his room, Xing Hongxian suddenly appeared outside his window. I have found out that the pill recipe is in the study. I will lure the guard on Old Tai's attic away in a moment. You go in and search. Remember, there is a formation in the attic. If anything goes wrong, Old Tai will rush back immediately. You don't have much time, so be quick. Soon, Hanju arrived at the attic, and indeed, everyone had been lured away. Hanju went into the study, pretending to search. He pretended to look around casually, and then started to slack off. What a joke. The storeroom is so big. How can I possibly find it? This witch could have sneaked in herself to find the pill recipe much more easily, yet she insists on making such a big fuss. Is she out of her mind? People really are different. Even the pens Old Tai uses are made of gold, while we, the medicine slaves, can only scrape by on the bare minimum. The damned rich landlords. Xing Hongxian suddenly appeared behind Hanju. What are you mumbling about? Did you find the pill recipe? Seeing that Hanju wasn't really looking for the pill recipe, Xing Hongxian was about to kill him. Hanju, scared, bumped into a cabinet, and a vase fell from the cabinet. The pill recipe then appeared before them both. Hanju was completely numb. No, Old Tai, this is not how you hide things. It's over. Now that she has the pill recipe, she'll definitely kill to silence me. Just as Xing Hongxian lunged at him, unexpectedly, Xing Hongxian excitedly hugged Hanju. You really are my lucky charm. I never expected the honest you to create such romance. Watching Xing Hongshuan's excited demeanor, Hanju thought to himself, I must not let her get the pill recipe, or my Supreme Finger Divine Sword technique will be gone. He picked up a brick, ready to stealthily knock her out, when suddenly an attack hit them both. Hanju was blasted away, and the pill recipe flew into the hands of the newcomer, who was none other than Old Tai. Daring to covet the pill recipe, you are truly audacious. Seeing she was no match for Old Tai, Xing Hongxian didn't hesitate to run away. When Hanju, lying on the ground, woke up and saw Old Tai, he immediately said, Lord, you finally come. I almost lost my life trying to stall that witch. Afterward, Old Tai asked Hanju to explain the situation clearly. Once Hanju had told everything to Old Tai, he didn't make things difficult for him. Seeing that he had successfully bluffed his way through, Hanju quickly scurried away. At this moment, the system also sent a notification. Mission completed. Successfully obtained Supreme Finger Divine Sword. Another 2 years passed. Hanju had cultivated all 4 types of spiritual root to the 9th level of the energy cultivation realm. He was only short of cultivating the lightning and fire spiritual roots to the 9th level to break through to the foundation establishment realm. It was also time for him to leave this place. Taking advantage of the twilight, he took his bag and left the place he had lived in for 20 years. He directly arrived at the gate of the Jade Pure sect. My name is Hanju, a rogue cultivator at the 9th level of the energy cultivation realm, wishing to join the Jade Pure sect. May I know if there's a way in? The gatekeeper was about to report it when he happened upon the outer sect steward, Yang Luo. He immediately had Hanju demonstrate his spiritual energy. Hanju casually executed a move of the Supreme Finger Divine Sword, slicing off the top of a mountain. This move directly stunned the 3 of them. Without another word, Yang Luo took Hanju to register. On the way, Hanju asked, does the Jade Pure sect have a place for cultivating lightning and fire spiritual energy? Yang Luo was startled upon hearing this. Could this person be a lightning spiritual root? Then he said, the inner sect might have such places, but the qualification to enter the inner sect is reaching the foundation establishment stage. However, if you are a lightning spiritual root, you might be an exception and be allowed to join the inner sect directly. Hearing this, Hanju immediately showed his lightning spiritual root. Then, Yang Luo took Hanju to see an elder, and Hanju casually displayed 3 of his spiritual roots. Just like that, Hanju easily joined the inner sect, and even received a luxurious welcome package. The elder and Yang Luo told him to rest well, and said they would take him to the inner sect once the great elder returned. Hanju sighed lightly. I accidentally became a key figure to be looked after, but he soon discovered there was fire spiritual energy here, and without a second thought, he started cultivating it. Half a year later, the great elder returned. Yang Luo immediately came to inform Hanju. Upon opening the door, Yang Luo was surprised to find that Hanju had been cultivating all this half year. When Hanju opened his eyes, he had already cultivated his fire spiritual root to the 4th level of the energy cultivation realm. Then, he went with Yang Luo to meet the great elder. The great elder directly said to Hanju, the sect has 18 peaks, which means there are 18 teaching elders. If someone takes a liking to you, you can directly become an inner sect disciple. Otherwise, you will have to reach foundation establishment as soon as possible to participate in the sect's minor competition. Then, the great elder took Hanju on a flying gourd towards the inner sect. On the way, the great elder introduced the various elders of the inner sect to Hanju. Each peak has its own atmosphere due to the character of the teaching elder. Some are low-key and focus on hard cultivation, while others are off and out on missions. So, what kind of cultivation atmosphere do you wish to join? Hanju thought for a moment. I'll choose the low-key and hard cultivation path. I don't like bustle, and I don't like being high-profile. The great elder looked at Hanju with a meaningful glance, then chuckled. Jade Seclusion Peak suits you very well. You will definitely like it there. Upon entering the inner sect, they were stunned by the scenery before them. Hanju had thought the Jade Pure sect was just a small sect, but it turned out to be so vast. The great elder flew around, introducing the various places of the inner sect to Hanju. When they arrived at Jade Seclusion Peak, the entire mountain seemed quiet and serene. The great elder said, the teaching elder of Jade Seclusion Peak is Shishuan Fairy. Her cultivation is profound and inscrutable, and she likes to cultivate in seclusion, making Jade Seclusion Peak quiet. Moreover, she does does not allow her disciples to have romantic entanglements, so Jade Seclusion Peak is mainly composed of hard cultivators. Hearing this, Hanju's eyes lit up. This place is simply my heaven. Upon entering the main hall, the Great Elder introduced Hanju to Sichuan Fairy. Sichuan Fairy asked, Hanju, are you willing to focus solely on cultivation without concerning yourself with worldly matters? Just as Hanju was about to answer, he heard a voice. Finally, Jade Seclusion Peak has got a decent junior brother. A girl approached. Hanju immediately opened the relationship list and found that Chan Yuer had 2 hearts of goodwill towards him, but Hanju immediately replied, Sichuan Fairy, unless ordered, I can stay in seclusion for 100 years without stepping outside. Upon hearing this, Chan Yuer's goodwill immediately dropped to 1 star. Then, Sichuan Fairy asked Hanju to launch an attack on her. Immediately, Hanju gathered all his strength into a sword energy, rushing towards Sichuan Fairy like lightning, but just as it was about to hit Sichuan Fairy, the sword energy vanished into thin air. Sichuan Fairy asked lightly, is this the only move you know? Hanju honestly admitted it. Sichuan Fairy then said, this sword technique is not bad. From now on, stay at Jade Seclusion Peak. The Great Elder left Hanju a meaningful smile before leaving, but Hanju noticed Sichuan Fairy staring intently at him. Just as he was puzzled about the situation, Chan Yuer quickly hinted, she's telling you to pay your respects as a disciple. Only then did Hanju realize, and he quickly knelt in front of Sichuan Fairy. Disciple Hanju pays respects to master. May master live forever. Sichuan Fairy was rendered speechless by Hanju's actions. Do you think your master is an empress? Well, Yuer, take your junior brother to register at the intersect and help him arrange for a cave dwelling. Chan Yuer immediately dragged Hanju away with joy. On the way, Chan Yuer heartily told Hanju to come to her if he needed anything. Chan Yuer's direct gaze made Hanju dare not look her in the eye. He hurriedly said, I wouldn't dare to trouble senior sister. If senior sister needs anything, feel free to instruct your junior brother. This made Chan Yuer extremely happy. I've been at Jade Seclusion Peak for 5 years, and finally, a good-looking junior brother with an attitude and personality that suits my taste has arrived. I can't let him run away. Hanju, observing his senior sister's expression, filled with a greedy ferocity like that of a wolf, couldn't help but feel a surge of fear. This Jade Seclusion Peak doesn't live up to its name. Why are all the female disciples like wolves and tigers? Soon, Chan Yuer had arranged Hanju's cave dwelling, even placing him next to her own dwelling. After the senior sister left, Hanju took a good look at his cave dwelling, once again marveling at the luxury of the inner sect. Then he remembered that his master's realm was at the 3rd level of the nascent soul realm in the relationship list. This is the strongest cultivator I've come into contact with so far. I must cling to such a powerful figure. The known levels of cultivation from low to high are respectively Energy Cultivation Realm, Foundation Establishment Realm, Golden Core Realm, Nascent Soul Realm. In the entire Jade Pure set, only the Founding Ancestors Realm has reached beyond the Nascent Soul Realm, yet he has been away for many years and has not returned. Just as he was preparing to start cultivating, the system suddenly popped up and gave Hanju 2 options. First, earn reputation and lead Jade Seclusion Peak to become the most powerful peak. The reward for the mission is an unparalleled magical tool, but it would offend Sichuan Fairy. Second, cultivate in a low-profile manner and gain recognition from Sichuan Fairy, which would reward a secret manual for agility. Upon seeing the first option, Hanju was instantly speechless. Earning reputation and leading Jade Seclusion Peak to become the most powerful peak sounds like a good thing, doesn't it? Why would it offend Sichuan Fairy? This master is a bit strange. Before he knew it, another 3 years had passed. Hanju had cultivated all but his lightning spiritual root to the 9th level of the Energy Cultivation Realm. He immediately sought out his master. Master, I have now cultivated both the wind and fire spiritual roots to the 9th level of the Energy Cultivation Realm. Could master guide me to where I can cultivate lightning spiritual energy? Sichuan Fairy looked at Hanju in surprise. Are you aiming for a foundation establishment with 3 types of spiritual power? But Sichuan Fairy immediately threw cold water on Hanju's plans. Specializing in just 1 type of spiritual energy is already extremely difficult, and you're planning to specialize in 3? Not to mention the heavenly tribulation will be stronger later on. The time lost in cultivation is also a loss. Hanju understood. Indeed, there is a reason. Having these spiritual roots must come with a price. It's just that master probably didn't expect that I have my own methods. He then stated, disciple will spend all his time on cultivation. Seeing this, Sichuan Fairy's mouth slightly curved up. The intersect has a teleportation array leading to the Thunder Spirit Pool. Soon, Hanju arrived at the Thunder Spirit Pool and was again astonished by the grandeur of the Jade Pure set. I originally thought the so-called Thunder Spirit Pool was just a small pond. It seems I was looking at the sky from the bottom of a well. At this moment, he noticed that the vast Thunder Spirit Pool had only 1 person cultivating. While he was dazed, suddenly, a tree trunk with a human face appeared behind Hanju. Do not wander around inside the Thunder Spirit Pool. You can only cultivate by the poolside. Otherwise, if you're struck by lightning and die, it's your own fault. Immediately, a wretched scream echoed throughout the entire Thunder Spirit Pool. It took Hanju a moment to realize, to actually encounter a tree demon, the Jade Pure sect has really invested heavily. Even a tree demon is present, which is known as a cultivation catalyst. Though it looks a bit sinister, cultivating near it will definitely double the efficiency. I've really come to the right place. He then excitedly shouted, I must cultivate to the 9th level within a year. The other person cultivating at the Thunder Spirit Pool, upon hearing this, couldn't help but be speechless. Are these even human words? That's too arrogant. However, a year later, he was thoroughly proven wrong. Hanju actually managed to cultivate his lightning spiritual energy from 0 to the 9th level within a year. By this time, Hanju had finally reached the great perfection in all 6 types of energy cultivation. Purple electricity continuously wrapping around his body. He then decided to go straight for foundation establishment. The blue-haired young man in the field suddenly looked up at the sky, only to see a large amount of purple electricity gathering above. The might of this thunder tribulation shocked him. Then, the tree demon appeared behind the young man. Foundation establishment thunder tribulation? Damn, he really really picked the place. Triggering the thunder tribulation in this thunder spirit pool will at least double its power. You better get out of here to avoid being affected. It's too late for him to save himself. The tribulation clouds have already formed. In their eyes, Hanju was undoubtedly going to die this time. Others prepare thoroughly before facing their tribulation, but Hanju was directly undergoing his tribulation in the thunder spirit pool, doubling the power of the thunder tribulation. What was even more terrifying was that he directly absorbed the heavenly tribulation, turning it into his power for foundation establishment. 2 years later, his realm had reached the third level of the foundation establishment realm, and his lifespan was almost 200 years. Hanju cultivated because he feared death, while he was secretly pleased. The system popped up 2 options again. First, become famous in the Jade Pure sect, which would grant the 9 Nether Thunder technique and earn the hatred of Sichuan Fairy. Second, quietly cultivate to form the golden core early, which would reward a supreme magical sword. Hanju was speechless again at the first option. How much does my master dislike fame? Then, the blue-haired young man cultivating at the thunder spirit pool came up behind Hanju. My name is Mafuchu of Thunder Peak. May I have your name? Hanju also politely introduced himself. Upon learning that Hanju was from Jade Seclusion Peak, Mafuchu immediately tried to recruit him. A junior brother of Jade Seclusion Peak? With your talent, it's a waste to join Jade Seclusion Peak. Why not come to my Thunder Peak? My master is a thunder cultivator. Hanju didn't even think before politely declining. I have already taken Sichuan Fairy as my master. A master for a day is a father for life. How can I casually change allegiances? Thank you for your kindness, brother Mo. But then, the system suddenly popped up a notification. Hanju glanced at it and was shocked. The system displayed several statuses of Xing Hongxian. Your friend Xing Hongxian has been heavily injured and narrowly escaped death from being hunted down by the Jade Pure sect. Your friend Xing Hongxian has been hunted down by fellow sect members, but luckily managed to counterkill. Your friend Xing Hongxian has betrayed the Azure Nether Demon sect and is being hunted down. Your friend Xing Hongshuan's goodwill towards you has increased. Current goodwill is 4 stars. Hanju was speechless. After so many years, this woman is still alive, but we haven't even seen each other. Where did this goodwill come from? Is she okay? Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian was continuously dodging pursuers. Breathing a sigh of relief, finally got rid of the demon cult. As she was confused about where to go next, she suddenly thought of Hanju. When Hanju was about to hit her with a brick, coincidentally blocking most of Old Tai's attack, Xing Hongxian mistakenly thought Hanju was protecting her. This was the first time in her life someone had stood up for her. Xing Hongxian had firmly come to regard Hanju as her husband in her heart. As Hanju returned to his cave dwelling and was about to start cultivating, he heard the sound of bells. When Hanju came out of his dwelling, he encountered Chan Yuer and learned that this was the signal for the master to assemble all disciples. The two then flew on their swords towards the main hall. Upon Hanju's arrival in the hall, it was already filled with a large number of disciples. Hanju's appearance also caused quite a stir among the disciples. At this moment, Sichuan Fairy, seeing that everyone had arrived, directly said, following the sect leader's order, from now on, in the 18 peaks battles, the last 3 peaks will send disciples to participate in the fight against the Azure Nether Demon sect. In recent years, the Azure Nether Demon sect has repeatedly sent spies to plot against the Jade Pure sect. The sect leader has declared that we should prepare to retaliate. Hanju was speechless, sending the bottom 3 peaks. Isn't this just delivering them on a platter? At this time, the eldest disciple, Lu Sanqin, stated, although our Jade Seclusion Peak has always been low profile, we also want to serve the sect. Master, the sect has recently launched an outstanding disciple training program, selecting the most outstanding disciples from each peak for cultivation to be the foundation of the next generation of the sect. Isn't this tailor-made for me? Unexpectedly, Sichuan Fairy chose Hanju. Lu Sanqin and Hanju, upon hearing this, were both shocked and broke out in a cold sweat. Hanju quickly refused. I am honored by Master's high regard, but I only wish to quietly cultivate at Jade Seclusion Peak. Please give this opportunity to my fellow brothers and sisters. Hanju also guessed, Master values me this much? Could it be she suspects me of being a demon sect spy? Better safe than sorry. I'll still refuse. Seeing Hanju so resolute, Sichuan Fairy didn't say much more. Really? Then, Lu Sanqin, you go. You are the eldest disciple of Jade Seclusion Peak. You must not cause trouble. Afterward, Lu Sanqin specially came to Hanju to express his thanks. Junior brother, I have to thank you for speaking well of me to the master. If you encounter any trouble in the future, feel free to tell your elder brother. Hanju smiled. Then, I wish elder brother smooth sailing. At this moment, Chan Yuer hurriedly came over. Elder brother, I can take care of the junior brother. The elder brother immediately understood Chan Yuer's intention and, before leaving, gave Hanju a meaningful smile. Then Chan Yuer said, speaking of which, junior brother, you've been cultivating for so long and haven't done any sect missions, right? Want me to take you? Doing sect missions can earn a lot of cultivation resources. No need, senior sister. I still have enough spirit stone resources. Chan Yuer then added, the contribution points from doing missions can be exchanged for elixirs, to which Hanju responded, I'm afraid of death, so forget it. Chan Yuer became angry. How can we cultivators be afraid of death? If we're not afraid of death, then why bother cultivating for immortality? This left Chan Yuer unable to retort. Sichuan Fairy, overhearing Hanju's astonishing statement, was also left speechless for a moment. It seems Hanju is indeed not a spy from the demon sect, but a rogue cultivator without a lack of resources and with superior talent. Still, we should observe a bit longer. Just like that, another 10 years passed. Hanju once again came to the Thunder Spirit Pool. As soon as Hanju arrived, the tree demon started causing trouble. I thought you were a genius before, but so many years have passed, and you're still at the foundation establishment 3rd level? Hanju nonchalantly scratched his head. Well, who can say for sure with cultivation? He was only showing his lightning spiritual root. His other 5 types of spiritual roots had already reached the 5th level of the foundation establishment. At this moment, Mafuchu also walked over, followed by a girl. Mafuchu introduced her to Hanju. This is my sister, Maju. Upon seeing Hanju, Maju immediately asked, why are you still at the foundation establishment 3rd level? My brother said you might be at the 6th level by now. Hanju just chuckled, taking it step by step. Then he sat down cross-legged, ready to start cultivating. I'll start cultivating now. Staying here costs quite a few spirit stones. Just a heads up, if you want to cultivate, please stay a bit away from me. As soon as he finished speaking, he began absorbing the surrounding spiritual energy into himself. Mafuju, seeing this, was shocked. This absorption speed of spiritual energy is even more terrifying than mine. How is this possible? I'm at the Foundation Establishment 9th level. This person must have a way to suppress his cultivation level. His real cultivation level must not be below mine. Hanju has been cultivating like this for 8 years, finally cultivating his lightning power to the 9th level to perfection. As Hanju prepared to leave, the tree demon said, I have an opportunity here that can provide many cultivation resources. Would you be interested? Is it dangerous? Opportunities always come with risks. Hearing there were risks, Hanju didn't even think before turning around to leave. Just as Hanju was collecting his salary for the past few years, Maju suddenly approached him. I have a favor to ask of Hanju. It's a great opportunity. Upon hearing about the opportunity, Hanju couldn't hold back any longer and refused without a second thought. Sorry, I need to go back to cultivate, and then disappeared in front of Maju. Suddenly, Hanju overheard passers-by talking about the intersect competition. He was struck as if by lightning. I've cultivated too intensely and forgot about such an important event. Master might skin me alive for this. Hanju immediately went to find Shishuan Fairy and confessed his mistake. Fortunately, Shishuan Fairy did not blame him. However, seeing that Hanju's cultivation level was still at the Foundation Establishment 3rd level, she couldn't help but show a puzzled face. Hanju explained, I am actually at the Foundation Establishment 9th level. I just wanted to keep a low profile by hiding my cultivation level. This move significantly increased Shishuan Fairy's favorable impression of him. At this moment, the system also notified Hanju that the task of cultivating low-key and gaining Shishuan Fairy's recognition was completed. He received a secret technique, 7-fold illusion step. It was then Hanju noticed that the master had taken a new disciple. Turning his head, he saw it was none other than Old Tai. Old Tai also looked up at Hanju at the same moment. The two of them stared at each other, shouting out each other's names simultaneously in surprise. Chan Yuer looked curious. So you two know each other? At that moment, Shishuan Fairy said to Hanju, this is a new disciple who has just joined Jade Seclusion Peak. You can call him Tai Junior brother. Little did she know, the expressions on their faces were as colorful as they could be. Then, Shishuan Fairy brought up a serious matter. Hanju, since you like cultivating so much, I have a mission for you. Guard the myriad demon realm of the Jade Pure Sect. Hanju, hearing this, broke out in a cold sweat. This myriad demon realm sounds impressive, but also seems very dangerous. However, Chan Yuer got excited. That's where the Jade Pure Sect keeps its demon pets. Let me accompany Han Junior brother. Master, Shishuan Fairy directly refused Chan Yuer. It's very dangerous there. There are often rampages of demons, and there have been instances of disciples being brutally killed. Already worried, Hanju was even more scared upon hearing this. Isn't this setting your disciple up for failure? It's not even being concealed. But looking at Shishuan Fairy's expression, it seems I have no chance to refuse. This should be similar to being a zoo security guard. I'll just have to slack off when the time comes. He respectfully agreed to follow the arrangement and then went back to pack his things. Seeing the two leaving, Shishuan Fairy suddenly said to Old Tai, I don't want to dwell on your past with Hanju. From now on, you are brothers. Getting along with him will only benefit you. As long as there's no deep hatred, try to resolve it. From what I know of him, he won't scheme against you. In the future, Hanju will be a direct disciple of Jade Seclusion Peak. Speaking of which, Hanju had been in the Myriad Demon Realm for a year and a half, spending his days in nothing but cultivation. Browsing through the system's social feed out of boredom one day, he suddenly received several messages about Maju. Your friend Maju was attacked by a demon cultivator and nearly severely injured. Your friend Maju was attacked by a disciple of the Jade Pure Sect, hanging on for dear life, fell off a cliff. He couldn't help but sigh. Opportunities really never bring anything good. Miss Imo better just take care of herself. Then, stretching lazily, he went out to patrol. He made regular patrols to prevent any disturbances from the demons. Stepping outside, he found a cute little cat perched on a tree branch, looking harmless. He turned to walk away, but the little cat suddenly transformed into a big cat and launched a sneak attack on Hanju. In an instant, its sharp claws tore through Hanju, but the next second, Hanju turned into a wisp of smoke and vanished, with the real Hanju already on the rooftop. He had just used the 7-fold illusion step technique. This technique allows each level to split into one afterimage, and at its peak at the 7th level, it can split into 7 afterimages. Hanju split into 7 afterimages and charged at the demon beast from all directions, surrounding it. All figures simultaneously executed the Supreme Finger Divine Sword, shooting numerous sword energies towards the demon beast. Although only the real body could inflict damage, the demon beast couldn't discern which was real and which was fake. In an instant, it was severely injured by Hanju and immediately ran away. Hanju didn't pursue it. He noticed that the demon disturbances had become more apparent recently and decided to report this situation. After the sect's higher-ups were informed of the situation, they immediately convened a meeting. They speculated that there must be a traitor within the sect's upper echelons. With the sect leader missing, they had no choice but to send more people to thoroughly investigate the matter. 2 years later, Hanju was sitting within a forbidden formation in the Myriad Demon Realm. He discovered that this formation was a treasure. Inside the formation, even those at the Golden Core Realm couldn't enter, and its soundproofing was top-notch. It was perfect for both cultivation and rest. Just as he was pleased with himself, suddenly a voice came from behind. Young friend, are you using the Myriad Demon Realm as a place for cultivation? Hanju casually responded, what else? But the next second, he realized something and turned around in shock, only to find a fat man standing behind him. This person is unaffected by the restrictions, then his strength must be above the Golden Core level. The fat man said, I am also a Jade Pure Sect disciple sent to guard the Myriad Demon Realm. You seem to be at the Foundation Establishment Realm 3rd level, but judging by your actual breathing rate, you're at the Foundation Establishment Realm 9th level. right? You don't need to be nervous. Did you come here on your own, or did your master send you? My master, Sichuan Fairy, sent me here. Hearing this, the fat man leaned in closer. Did your master assign you any tasks? Even if she did, why would I tell you? Oh, can't tell others? Interesting. Junior sister. Alright kid, you've already gotten yourself into big trouble. For your master's sake, I can help you solve it. At this moment, Hanju was startled by the relationship list that popped up from the system. It turns out this person was the Jade Pure Sex sect leader, Li Qingzi, who admired Sichuan Fairy. Li Qingzi then explained, the demon beasts here are showing signs of unrest, and these beasts are under Demon King Tiger Heart White Dragon. You must know that Tiger Heart White Dragon holds grudges and seeks revenge for even the slightest slights. This time, commanding so many demon beasts to lurk here in preparation for an uprising. Be honest with me, what did you do before to provoke Tiger Heart White Dragon? However, at this moment, Hanju was not interested in listening to him. His mind was filled with images of Li Qingzi and his master, Sichuan Fairy, together, feeling extremely angry inside. This fat man is not worthy of my master. Junior friend, I'm asking you a question. Hanju then recounted the previous events to Li Qingzi. After hearing the story, Li Qingzi mused, how strange. The demon beast uprising happened earlier than expected. It seems it wasn't your doing. Most likely, the demon cult is causing trouble behind the scenes. Your encounter with Tiger Heart White Dragon was just a side episode. You're really lucky. The demon king must have been trapped into expending too much energy. Otherwise, you would have been doomed. What kind of movement technique did you use to outpace Tiger Heart White Dragon? Hanju casually responded, just a technique I picked up on the road. It's normal for it to be faster. This frustrated Li Qingzi immensely. That's a demon king. Even Golden Core Realm experts would struggle with its speed. Right now, we need to prioritize dealing with the potential beast uprising and start from the root. Do you mean to kill it, senior? Kill it? That demon king has immense potential. If it's killed, will you compensate? Perhaps this is an opportunity. Your master sending you to the Myriad Demon Realm must have been intended for you to make a name for yourself. Plus, your movement technique is extraordinary. Having faced Tiger Heart White Dragon and come out unscathed, you must have some tricks up your sleeve. I suggest you go and subdue it. Without hesitation, Hanju turned around and left. Senior, please find someone else. I just want to cultivate in peace. Li Qingzi hurriedly called out to stop Hanju. I will set up a formation to trap them here, relieving you of the pressure. If you can subdue Tiger Heart White Dragon, I will teach you the Jade Pure Sex Supreme Technique, the Jade Purity Art. At that moment, the system popped up a choice. 1. Accept the mission. Strive to subdue Tiger Heart White Dragon and receive the secret technique reward from Li Qingzi, the hatred of the Demon King, and the attention of the Azure Nether Demon Sect. 2. Refuse the mission. Return to continue cultivating and receive a sword technique manual with a decrease in Li Qingzi's favorability. Seeing that subduing the Demon King would bring the Demon King's hatred and the Azure Nether Demon Sect's attention, Hanju decisively said, sorry for the disturbance. Farewell, and then turned around to leave. This left Li Qingzi stomping his feet in frustration. How did my junior sister end up with such a disciple? Sighing helplessly, he ultimately took on the burden alone. You see, I was right, Demon King. It's truly you, easily sensing this place. Immediately, Li Qingzi engaged in a fierce battle with the Demon King. Several days after the Demon Beast uprising, Chan Yuer suddenly arrived in the Myriad Demon Realm, accompanied by the 7th senior brother of Jade Seclusion Peak, Mengyi. It turns out that Sichuan Fairy sent them to assist Hanju. Mengyi then went alone to scout the surroundings. Chan Yuer told Hanju, this time we came because Master feared for your safety. It's said that spies from the demon cult have infiltrated the Myriad Demon Realm. We must be extra cautious. Hearing this, Hanju immediately suggested leaving the Myriad Demon Realm. Just as Chan Yuer was about to refuse, Mengyi returned, wounded all over. I saw a group of demon beasts trapped by a formation near a cliff a few miles away. I was on my way back when I encountered a golden core level demon beast. Hanju quickly took out an elixir to heal Mengyi, while thinking to himself, indeed, one cannot be reckless when outside. The fate of my senior brother proves it. At that moment, they were horrified to discover a horde of demon beasts charging towards them. Hanju was ready to flee, but Chan Yuer said, this area is under the jurisdiction of our Jade Seclusion Peak. Wouldn't leaving be considered desertion? Hanju, devoid of any sense of martial honor, retorted, then you can stay here and wait for death. I'll sing praises of your bravery to master. Mengyi also ceased to insist. Hanju, your brother is right. Each of the 18 peaks has its own area to manage in the Myriad Demon Realm. The beast tide is attacking not just us. As long as we survive, there's no fear of losing the battle. Let's move, right now. No sooner had they stepped out of the house than the attic was demolished by the demon beast army. Seeing the demon beasts not stopping and continuing to charge forward, they deduced that the demon cult must be up to something. Suddenly, Hanju sensed a strong demonic aura and saw a huge eagle with its mouth wide open biting towards them. Fortunately, Hanju reacted in time, grabbing Chan Yuer and dodging, while Mengyi seized the chance to escape alone. Hanju couldn't help but curse in his heart. Damn it, that coward just abandoned us and ran for his life. Chan Yuer suddenly cried out in fear, noticing a golden core level demon beast and 6 foundation establishment pinnacle level demon beasts circling above them. As the demon beasts charged towards them, Chan Yuer closed her eyes in despair, thinking they were doomed. Yet, Hanju's mouth curved into a slight smile. Around him appeared 3 sword shadows of different colors, the peerless sword technique he acquired by refusing Li Qingzi, the 3 pure shadow sword. With just a gentle utterance of the word slash from Hanju, the 7 demon beasts were instantly annihilated. Chan Yuer was utterly stunned. Had she not seen it with her own eyes, she would have never believed it. Remembering the look in Hanju's eyes at that moment, she couldn't help but blush and feel her heart flutter. But then, she saw Hanju packing up the corpses of the demon beasts. What a haul today. These demon beasts are treasures all over. I heard they can be exchanged for spirit stones. Let's go. Chan Yuer was rendered speechless again. Bring back my junior brother from just now. When the two arrived at the Myriad Demon Realm's teleportation array, Mengyi excitedly rushed towards them upon seeing them alive. Junior brother, junior sister, you're still alive. This is wonderful. Only to be met met with a kick to the face from Chang Yuer. Why weren't you eaten by the demon beasts? After they emerged, Hanju's first course of action was to exchange the demon beasts' corpses for spirit stones. Looking at a big bag full of spirit stones, Hanju was so excited he considered going back for another round against the demon beasts. Chang Yuer, noticing Hanju's thoughts, said, "The Myriad Demon Realm is a small world specially created by the sect for cultivating demon beasts. Each one is extremely valuable. Under normal circumstances, disciples are not allowed to hunt the demon beasts inside. This time was an exception, so we might not be held accountable." While saying this, she continued to beat Meng Yi. Hearing this, Hanju had no choice but to give up the idea. "I better just continue to cultivate quietly and save up spirit stones gradually. The amount I have left should be enough to attempt reaching the golden core." Then, the three of them went to see Shishuan Fairy and reported the events within the Myriad Demon Realm. Shishuan Fairy didn't say much after hearing it and asked Chang Yuer and the others to leave, keeping Hanju behind. At this point, Hanju was extremely anxious. Is she going to settle scores with me alone? Is Master still suspicious of me? When will this ever end? Shishuan Fairy suddenly asked, "Hanju, what is the purpose of your cultivation?" "Only for immortality." Hearing this response, Shishuan Fairy was speechless for a moment. "If you keep secluding yourself for cultivation without seeking opportunities, you cannot achieve immortality." "I understand, Master, but I wish to strengthen my cultivation first. Once I have enough strength, I'll seek opportunities." Hanju thought to himself, "With my unparalleled talent and fortune, what need do I have for opportunities?" Shishuan Fairy, clearly exasperated by his attitude, massaged her temples and said, "I have arranged an opportunity for you. If you had made contributions in the Myriad Demon Realm, becoming a core disciple would have been within easy reach. Unfortunately, you gave it up. Moreover, even I cannot see through the grade of the cultivation technique you practice. I can't help you with your cultivation technique. But how about this? Would you like to have your own innate spiritual energy cave dwelling? Aside from lightning spiritual energy, it contains other types of spiritual energy as well." Upon hearing this, Hanju excitedly asked, "Where is it?" "It's near the Jade Pure Sect. However, you need to rank in the top 3 in the inner sect competition to get it." Hearing about the competition, Hanju started to have second thoughts. The inner sect competition. It won't be dangerous, right? Seeing his timid appearance, Shishuan Fairy was so annoyed she felt like punching him. "Are you afraid of a mere competition? It won't kill you." Hanju then asked, "Master, will there be golden core or above participants in the competition?" Shishuan Fairy replied irritably, "Do you think golden core realm cultivators are as common as cabbages? Those who reach that level either become core disciples or elders, stewards." Hearing that no one above golden core would participate, Hanju immediately changed his tune. "I'll gladly accept that innate cave dwelling." With 8 years until the inner sect examination, Hanju planned to use this time to cultivate diligently. He immediately went to the wind spirit pool, aiming to bring all 6 types of spiritual roots to the 9th level of the foundation establishment stage before the examination. Just then, he noticed a group of people bullying someone nearby. Eating his melon, Hanju thought, "I better just focus on my cultivation." But suddenly, the system sent a notification. "Innate destiny detected. Would you like to view their origin?" Hanju was startled. The innate destiny individual was the one being bullied. His name is Zhou Fan, a reincarnation of a great vehicle cultivator born in a mundane town. He and his childhood friend were discovered by the Jade Pure Sect to have spiritual roots. Deep within his soul, he harbors a spiritual treasure that was severely damaged while protecting him. Now, to repair itself, the spiritual treasure unconsciously absorbs spiritual energy during Zhou Fan's cultivation, resulting in his extremely slow cultivation speed. Currently, the spiritual treasure is about to be successfully repaired. Hanju was dumbfounded. Great vehicle realm, that's really something. This would make him the protagonist in a novel. He was conflicted. He's destined to be the main character. Helping him would surely lift me to great heights. No, how many side characters have been doomed by growing main characters? Better not stir trouble. He then dismissed the idea of helping. Becoming stronger through my own cultivation is the true path. Zhou Fan, trust in your destiny. Time flew, and 8 years passed. Except for his water and earth spiritual roots, which were at the 8th level, all others had reached the 9th level of the foundation establishment stage. Just after leaving the spirit pool, he saw Zhou Fan, who was confessing to a girl, but unsurprisingly got friend-zoned. Hanju was about to walk past when Zhou Fan stopped him. "I am Zhou Fan from Thunder Peak. I've often heard Mo Senior Brother mention you, saying you will surely become a great cultivator of the Jade Pure Sect in the future. I've always wanted to meet you." Just when Hanju thought Zhou Fan was about to challenge him to a duel, Zhou Fan suddenly knelt down. "I've heard you're quite popular with the ladies. How should I pursue the one I love?" Hanju was completely baffled and then said, "Brother Zhou, you should let go of everything. How can a cultivator be mired in romantic affairs? What are women in comparison to the great Tao? If you attain the Tao, everything will gravitate towards you, and you will naturally get whatever you desire. Have you ever seen me getting close to women? This step requires your own understanding of your heart and nature." Zhou Fan, looking at Hanju as if he were a deity, felt a slight stir in his heart, and immediately his goodwill towards Hanju increased to 1 star. Hanju thought to himself, "Fool, the most important thing is appearance. Can your looks compare to mine?" When Hanju returned to Jade Seclusion Peak and heard the bell summoning all disciples again, he met the eldest brother on his way to the main hall. The eldest brother suddenly asked, "Hanju, do you know a woman named Xing Hongxian?" Hanju was shocked. How does he know about her? The eldest brother continued, "In these years, I followed the sect leader, lurking in the Myriad Demon Realm, engaged in open and covert battles with the demon cult. We've always had intelligence provided by a traitor from the demon cult. It was this intelligence that made the sect leader pretend to leave the Jade Pure Sect when, in reality, he was ambushing in the Myriad Demon Realm. This traitor from the demon cult is Xing Hongxian. As a child, she was forced to take poison and threatened to act as a spy in the Jade Pure Sect. She has always harbored hatred towards the demon cult, and even attempted to find an antidote in the outer sect. Later, Xing Hongxian was saved by the sect leader, who exceptionally allowed her to become an inner sect disciple. Now, Xing Hongxian is at the main peak, cultivating under Master Jingxiu, the sect leader's junior sister. We encountered Miss Xing saying earlier, and she was inquiring about someone named Hanju, a servant who was an alchemist. It just so happens that we have a disciple named Hanju in our Jade Seclusion Peak. Junior brother, what a coincidence, right? Hanju felt awkward, unsure of how to respond. That past, although unpleasant, had to be acknowledged reluctantly. I am the Hanju she knows. I had no choice at the time. To Hanju's surprise, the eldest brother warmly grasped him. Don't worry, I understand. I just didn't expect your talent to be so exceptional. Hanju finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he opened Xing Hongshuan's panel. I don't deserve so much goodwill, just for being devoted. I wish you a future free of hardships. When everyone gathered in the Great Hall, Shishuan Fairy announced, the intersect examination is about to begin. Each peak must send at least 10 people. Who wishes to participate? Immediately, almost everyone eagerly volunteered. Seeing almost everyone sign up, Hanju thought, with everyone so enthusiastic, I should show some support to avoid seeming out of place. However, Shishuan Fairy chose Hanju first, causing everyone to look at him in surprise. Hanju panicked. No, not, Master. I didn't actually raise my hand, but Shishuan Fairy didn't even look at him, continuing to select other disciples for the competition. After the selection was completed, Shishuan Fairy once again kept Hanju behind alone. Your cultivation has improved again. I really underestimated you. Even with cultivating 3 types of spiritual roots, your breakthrough speed remains the fastest in the Jade Pure sect. Hanju modestly responded. It's all thanks to the Master's excellent guidance. Master is the impressive one. I don't recall teaching you anything. Your cultivation technique and swordsmanship are excellent, but are not the supreme techniques of the Jade Pure sect. You must have had another master before. I've observed you since you joined the sect. You've been diligently cultivating without any intention to harm the sect. Others have testified that you were born in the outer sect, which indicates you encountered an opportunity in your youth. Everyone has their own fortunes, and I'm not one to pry. I mention this only to let you know that you can be at ease during the intersect examination. No one will trouble you over these matters. To avoid unnecessary complications, from today onwards, you are my direct disciple. Hanju was startled, but at this moment, the system awarded him for becoming a direct disciple with the 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal. Overjoyed, Hanju said, Thank you, Master. Long live the Master. After returning to his cave dwelling, Hanju began to learn the 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal. This third magical technique, akin to a palm technique, could produce different effects with different attributes of spiritual power, adding another ace to Hanju's hand. However, he soon began to worry about the great destructive power of these techniques. Then, Chan Yuer came to Hanju's cave and took him to see the announcement board. The examination tomorrow will involve one-on-one battles across the peaks until the top 10 are decided. Then, the battles will move to the intersect city for the final showdown, with the whole sect watching. Hanju was relieved to learn that not many would watch the fights until the top 10 were decided. I don't want to attract too much attention. As Hanju was about to leave, Xing Hongxian suddenly appeared behind him. Husband, Hanju hastily took a step back. Miss, you can't just call someone that. Xing Hongxian covered her mouth and chuckled. Didn't we agree on this back in the outer sect? Hanju was speechless. That was just acting to avoid conflict. If I refused you, I was afraid you would kill me. It's okay. I took it seriously. Xing Hongxian laughed, pulling out a bottle of elixir. This is the Jade Purity Pill. I don't really use it much. It's perfect for you. Without allowing Hanju to refuse, Xing Hongxian placed the elixir in his hand. Just accept it. I get these elixirs regularly. My talents are average, but if you need anything later, husband, I will do my best to help you. After speaking, she flew away on her sword. Hanju held the elixir in his hand, standing there dazed for a long time. The scene shifts to a dark hall, where Xing Hongxian is sitting opposite Master Jingxiu. You gave that young man the Jade Purity Pill. Do you have any regrets? I don't regret it. I've fallen hard. Foolish. Just because he has a pretty face? Isn't that enough? I don't see the value in providing such strong support. His talent is also exceptional. When I met him, he hadn't begun cultivating yet. According to the sect leader, he's now at the 9th level of the Foundation Establishment realm. How strange. With such talent, why haven't I heard of him over the years? The sect leader said he's very low profile, always busy with closed-door cultivation. The sect leader even wanted to offer him opportunities, but he refused, citing fear of death. Hearing this, Master Jingxiu smiled slightly. Interesting. It seems I also need to pay more attention to him. On the day of the competition, when Hanju arrived at the venue, he was stunned. I didn't expect so many spectators. How am I supposed to act now? Then the system presented Hanju with 2 options. The Jade Pure Sect Intersect examination is about to begin. You have the following options. 1. Win conspicuously, becoming famous throughout the Jade Pure Sect and receive 1,000 high-quality spirit stones. 2. Win the top 3 positions in a low-key manner, minimizing impact, and receive 1 spiritual treasure. Seeing the second option offering a spiritual treasure as a reward, Hanju immediately chose it with joy, simultaneously thinking to himself, this system really gets me. It seems like there's always a low-key option for every mission, probably related to the path of development I chose initially. He was confident. With this approach, I can remain undefeated in the world. Soon the competition began. Mafuchu and his sister also came to watch Hanju's match. However, on the stage, Hanju was clumsily dodging the opponent's attacks, while his opponent from Heavenly Execution Peak became more excited as the fight progressed. The audience found the fight dull and started leaving for other matches. Only Mafuchu knew Hanju was feigning weakness. Noticing that the spectator stands were nearly empty and the judges were dozing off, Hanju thought, my chance has arrived. With a sly smile, Hanju moved behind his opponent, and in the next second, his opponent was sent flying out of the ring. The loud impact woke the judges, who then realized the fight was over, with Hanju as the victor. Afterward, Hanju used the same tactic, waiting until there were almost no spectators before swiftly defeating his opponents, successfully entering the top 10. While cultivating one day, Hanju sensed something was amiss. The leaves weren't rustling, but he could hear the wind. Suddenly, streaks of dark energy appear out of nowhere, flying towards him. Without a word, Hanju responded with a 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal. Seeing the dark energy trying to flee, Hanju, as if the 9 Dragons Demon Subduing Seal cost him nothing, chased the dark shadow, relentlessly attacking attacking. Suddenly, a wail came from the shadow. Wait, stop, halt. I am a supreme elder of the Jade Pure Sect. How can the Jade Pure Sect have someone like you who disrespects their elders so blatantly? Hanju was stunned for a moment, seeing the old man continue to rage. I was just passing by, and you greet me with your most powerful attacks. Hanju was speechless. Senior, in the dead of night, your actions are suspicious. What are you trying to do? The divine ability I cultivate naturally acts this way. Soul projection. Do you understand? However, the old man was visibly frightened. What in the world was that spell you used? It almost annihilated my spirit. Are inner sect disciples these days also intense? Hanju was about to report the incident to his master when the old man hurriedly stopped him. Don't tell her. I apologize. Actually, your master is my disciple, and so is the current sect leader. He then gave a sly smile. Young man, you have an extraordinary physique. How about inheriting my mantle? The unparalleled technique, heavenly strong golden body. Only I and the sect leader in the entire Jade Pure Sect know it. Upon seeing the old man's secret manual, Hanju didn't think twice before refusing. I almost killed the old man just now. How could he suddenly be so benevolent? He must be trying to trick me. Afterwards, Hanju told Sichuan Fairy about the incident. Sichuan Fairy was speechless. That old troublemaker is at it again. By the way, master, is the heavenly strong golden body powerful? That senior wanted to teach it to me. Sichuan Fairy's face turned red. It's very powerful, arguably the strongest technique in the Jade Pure Sect. But before practicing it, one must sever the human root. What's the human root? The essence of a man. Hearing this, Hanju was speechless. Does that mean the sect leader and the supreme elder are? Sichuan Fairy coughed lightly. This matter must not be spread. Leaving the meeting, Hanju was still in shock for a long time. Those are some extreme measures. Soon, it was the day of the inner sect examination for the top 10. Looking at the surging crowd, Hanju thought to himself, it's going to be hard to play it down this time. Should I just go for a quick victory? At that moment, John Ewer also came over with an entire cheerleading squad to support Hanju. Suddenly, Hanju felt a gaze on him. Turning around, he saw Zhou Fan staring at him intently, his eyes filled with a fighting spirit. Just then, Maju also came over to cheer for Hanju. Brother Han, I believe in you. You'll definitely take first place. Chan Ewer immediately became wary of Maju. Who are you? None of your business. I suggest you grow up a bit more, or Han Jr. brother might end up in jail. A strong tension instantly erupted between the two women. Then, Xing Hongxian also approached. Husband, this was like a spark hitting the earth. How dare you call him husband? I'm happy to. The air thickened with tension among the three women. This is a disaster. Finally, the examination officially began. The first match was Hanju against Zhou Fan. Zhou Fan angrily asked, Hanju, you said you never got close to women? Hanju helplessly replied, I can't help it. What else can I do? I'm also desperate. At that moment, Zhou Fan raised his left hand, revealing a black small bell in his palm, ominously mysterious. It was indeed Zhou Fan's innate spiritual treasure. Brother Han, go all out, please. Don't hold back. Brother Han, you first. Seeing Zhou Fan so confident, Hanju took the match seriously. Three sword energies appeared around him. Zhou Fan's eyes flashed purple, and spiritual energy enveloped him, showcasing the skill granted by his spiritual treasure, absolute defense. Hanju wasted no words. His sword energies shot towards Zhou Fan like lightning. To everyone's shock, Zhou Fan's prized skill was shattered by Hanju's strike, sending him flying like a kite without a string. Everyone was bewildered. Is it over already? Soon the top 5 were decided. The next step was to draw lots for the matchups, with the red lot getting a bye directly into the top 3. Hanju casually drew a lot and ended up with the bye. I have to say, this supreme luck of mine is no joke. At this moment, Hanju remembered that being in the top 3 meant he could choose an innate cave dwelling. Now that I'm already in the top 3, doesn't that mean I can't? After a series of intense battles, the top 3 were finally decided. Just as an elder was about to announce the rules for the final round, Hanju immediately conceded. I exhausted my spiritual power to win quickly in the previous match and have it recovered. I'm willing to take 3rd place. The elder looked deeply at Hanju, then announced that Hanju had secured the 3rd place. At this moment, Hanju also received his system reward, the Golden Cicada Mystical God Robe, a 7th grade spiritual treasure that could automatically defend against an enemy's attack, withstanding a strike from a spirit transformation cultivator at its maximum. If spiritual power is injected into it, its defensive power will be enhanced. Hanju was immediately thrilled to the point of drooling. When the examination ended, the Daolei elder took the top 3 to the main peak hall. At that time, true person Jingsu came in front of him, saying, as a reward, the 3 innate cave mansions will be chosen by the 1st place first. With a stretch of her right hand, 3 light spheres flew out immediately, each innate cave mansion landing on the edge of the mountains outside Jade Creek's 18 peaks. These light spheres from the cave mansions will guide and lead you. After the first 2 made their selections, a white light sphere remained. The energy attribute of this mansion is quite mixed, but its concentration of spiritual energy is comparable to a spirit pool. Hanju saw this and could hardly contain his joy. This is most suitable for my cultivation with 6 spiritual roots. Soon, Hanju followed the light sphere to his cave mansion. He couldn't wait to take out the Golden Cicada Mystical God Robe and immediately put it on. Once worn, it was like the Emperor's new clothes, completely invisible. But Hanju felt a sense of security like never before. Half a month passed in this manner. One day, Zhou Fan and Mafuchu came to the outside of Hanju's cave mansion. Zhou Fan couldn't help but wonder, is this really Hanju's mansion? Mafuchu pointed to a few large characters outside the cave. A moment of patience leads to a vast sky and ocean. This was undoubtedly Hanju's mansion at a glance. When Hanju inside heard Mafuchu's voice, he immediately came to the entrance. What brings my 2 brothers here? Mafuchu expressed. Recently, the sect issued many missions regarding the Azure Nether Demon sect. Are you interested in joining us to take down a branch of the Azure Nether Demon sect? I've already investigated. That branch has many spiritual pills and wonderful medicines, sure to aid in your cultivation. However, Hanju directly refused without a second thought. Thank you for your kindness, but I do not wish to leave at the moment. I need to go into seclusion to break through. I wish you both a future as splendid as Brocade. Hearing this, Mafuchu immediately said, if you do the mission with us, the tribulation crossing pill we obtain will be given to you first. Hanju suddenly stopped in his tracks. Mafuchu thought this had moved him. Indeed, to invite Hanju, we must speak of cultivation. Cultivation not only requires opportunities, but also a stepping stone. Without a stepping stone, one cannot go far. He is not reconciled. The look in his eyes says it all. However, he was actually looking at the choices given to him by the system. You have received an invitation from your fellow disciples. Facing fame and gain, you have the following choices. 1. Agree with them, go together to achieve merits, and obtain a low-grade spirit stone. 2. Refuse them, cultivate low-key, and obtain a magical tool. Seeing these options, Hanju was speechless. Is there even a choice? He immediately refused their invitation. 2 years later, Hanju finally perfected his 6 series spiritual power, and began to break through to the golden core. It is said that only 2 or 3 out of every 10 foundation establishment cultivators succeed in breaking through, not because the heavenly tribulation is terribly frightening, but because of the inner demons. It is rumored that inner demons are so terrifying that even immortals fear them. But when the inner demon encountered Hanju, it regretted being born. It kept tempting Hanju. You are already strong enough. No need to hide anymore. Show the world your strength. Whether you aspire to be utterly benevolent and reach sainthood, or to overturn all beings and make unilateral decisions for all ages, it depends on your single thought. Who knew that? After hearing this, Hanju actually asked, is that all? Then, with a wave of his hand, he eliminated the inner demon. Next, he just needed to concentrate on facing the heavenly tribulation. 7 days later, Hanju successfully entered the golden core realm. The system rewarded Hanju with a supreme magical sword, the Qilin sword. This sword, made from the sinews and bones of a Qilin, contains the soul of a Qilin and has the effect of driving away evil. He also obtained a divine ability, 6-path soul absorption. However, what made Hanju happiest was that his lifespan had increased again. He immediately set a small goal for himself, to break through to the nascent soul within 100 years. He then decided to relax and check his friend's circle, only to be shocked by what he saw. He found out that sect leader Li Qingzi had been attacked by demon cultivators multiple times. The sect leader has been attacked by the demon cult so many times, staying in the Jade Pure sect might not be safe. Could it be that the Azure Nether demon sect has attacked the Jade Pure sect? I wonder how my master is doing. It's best to go and reassure her. So, he immediately set off towards the Great Hall of Jade Seclusion Peak. However, along the way, the Jade Pure sect was in turmoil, with smoke signals of distress everywhere, and countless injured. Hanju hurriedly went to the Great Hall to pay respects to Shishuan Fairy. Shishuan Fairy narrowed her eyes. You still know to come back? I thought you had already betrayed the sect. Hanju was embarrassed. Just as he was about to explain, Shishuan Fairy continued, the Jade Pure sect is about to face an unprecedented disaster. I will give you a chance. You can leave the Jade Pure sect directly. Hearing this, Hanju was shocked. At the same time, he received a choice from the system. The sect leader of the Jade Pure sect is in danger, with life and death uncertain. You have the following choices. 1. Leave the Jade Pure sect and wander the world of cultivation and receive an energy gathering pill. 2. Stay in the Jade Pure sect until it is destroyed, or the Azure Nether demon sect gives up targeting the Jade Pure sect and receive a magical tool and a spell manual. He subconsciously wanted to choose the first option, then slowly asked, what about you, master? Shishuan Fairy remained calm. I will live or die together with the Jade Pure sect. In that case, then I, as your disciple, will also live or die with my master. At this moment, Shishuan Fairy's favorability towards Hanju increased to 3 stars. Hanju suddenly had a thought. Wouldn't it be possible to develop into a cultivation partner if this goes up by another star? Shishuan Fairy was taken aback. Aren't you afraid of death? Everyone dies, either as light as a feather or as heavy as mount. I pursue immortality, but I don't want to abandon my master. Meanwhile, he thought to himself, unless I encounter an irresistible enemy, I would definitely prioritize my own life. But I haven't taught you much. You don't need to do this. No, although you haven't taught me directly, your kindness is profound. Master has fought for opportunities for me several times and helped me solve some potential troubles. I keep all these in my heart. These words were truly from Hanju's heart. In this life, Shishuan Fairy is the person who has been the kindest to me. Seeing Hanju's heartfelt words, Shishuan Fairy couldn't help but smile. Then she asked, have you encountered any difficulties in your cultivation recently? You can cultivate with me like Chang Yuer. Hanju weakly replied, no, there's no need to trouble master. Hearing this, Shishuan Fairy was speechless. Stinky boy, you actually don't want my guidance. After Hanju left, Shishuan Fairy handed a storage bag to Chang Yuer. Help your junior brother as I instructed. Everything is in this storage pouch. When Hanju returned to his cave mansion, he found Chang Yuer there. It turned out Shishuan Fairy had asked her to help arrange Hanju's cave mansion. A formation was set up at the entrance to conceal the cave mouth. If someone tries to forcefully enter, they will be trapped in an illusion and unable to extricate themselves. Also, spiritual herbs were planted inside the cave to amplify the surrounding spiritual energy. Hanju was so excited that he quickly thanked his senior sister and master. No need for thanks. How about I move in after a while to keep you company? Hanju immediately swallowed nervously and cautiously said, senior sister, are you planning to mooch off the spiritual energy in my cave mansion? Chang Yuer immediately became so angry that she trembled all over. Cultivation. All you know is cultivation. Get lost. Thus, Hanju holed up in his cave mansion for another 5 years. Now at the 3rd level of the Golden Core realm. One day, he was scrolling through his friend's circle and noticed that Mafuchu and Zhou Fan had also made it to the list. Your friends Mafuchu and Zhou Fan were attacked by demon cultivators. He once again felt fortunate that he had not joined them back then. Just then, the system suddenly alerted, detected an innate destiny individual. Hanju immediately checked the history. This person, named Chen Santian, was a born demon embryo, now a main core disciple of the Azure Nether demon sect. At this moment, outside Hanju's cave mansion, a man in black looked at the inscription by Hanju. A moment of patience leads to a vast sky and ocean. Shh, ridiculous. People of the Jade Pure sect really are cowards. He wondered, how can there be such big characters in this wilderness? Could it be a cave mansion? But he couldn't find any door. At that moment, Hanju, at the entrance of the cave cave mansion, heard Chen Santian calling him a coward, furious, veins popping on his body. After confirming that the visitor was alone, he sternly said, "Good, you're done," as Chen Santian suddenly sensed a murderous aura. Before he could react, 3 sword energies, like lightning, pierced through Chen Santian's body, sending him flying dozens of meters away like a sandbag, with 3 more sword shadows hovering above his head. Terrified, Chen Santian screamed, "Elder, please stop. What are you doing at the Jade Pure sect? It's all a misunderstanding, Elder. I was just passing by here." Chen Santian was panicking internally. I had investigated and found no such powerful sword cultivator elder in the Jade Pure sect. Could this person be the Jade Pure sect's supreme elder? Han Ju, appearing behind Chen Santian at some unknown time, said, "Chen Santian, innate demon embryo, a major disciple of the Azure Nether demon sect. If I hand you over to the Jade Pure sect, what do you think your fate would be?" Chen Santian's heart was in turmoil. How does he know my background? Chen Santian quickly turned around to beg Han Ju for mercy, but when he saw Han Ju was so young and only at the 9th level of Foundation establishment, could it be he is the disciple of the elder? Han Ju was hesitating whether to kill him or capture him. If the sect leader has been captured, could I use him as a bargaining chip for exchange? Unbeknownst to him, Chen Santian suddenly darted behind Han Ju, putting a knife to Han Ju's neck, and shouted back towards the cave mansion, "Elder, let me leave. Otherwise, I will kill your disciple." Han Ju was instantly speechless. "Well, just to interrupt, I don't have any disciples." Chen Santian immediately dropped the sword in his hand and knelt down abruptly, sweating profusely. "Elder, I was just joking." Meanwhile, cursing in his heart, "Elder at the 9th layer of the Foundation establishment realm. Who would believe that? It must be a trick to deceive the eyes, to be able to suppress me directly, and even know my background. This elder must be a highly skilled person. Escaping is impossible." Han Ju, speechless. A major disciple of the demon cult. Is this it? Is he too weak, or is the 3 pure shadow sword too strong? Then, Han Ju walked towards the cave. "You, come with me." Han Ju originally wanted to hand him over to his master, knowing that he would surely try to escape desperately. "But I only know how to kill. I don't have the power to suppress him." Thinking this, Han Ju suddenly asked Chen Santian to strike him with all his might with a sword. Chen Santian immediately trembled. This elder isn't looking for a reason to kill me, is he? Terrified to the point of deformation. "Elder, I know I was wrong. I truly realize my mistake. Come on, give it a try. It'll prevent you from always thinking about ambushing me." Chen Santian was scared to tears, convinced it was another trap set for him. Han Ju, speechless. "Am I that scary? This major disciple of the demon cult is really too cowardly." He then instructed, "Fine, from today on, you'll stay here. You'll plant spiritual herbs and clean for me. Of course, you can also cultivate." A year passed, and Chen Santian saw that Han Ju was always cultivating and never left. He thought, the elder is too devoted to cultivation, never leaving. It's been a year staying here. Continuing like this will delay the transmission of information. As the main core disciple, not returning for so long, the elders and my master in the sect must be worried. What should I do? Should I betray him? Immediately, he gathered spiritual energy in his hand and launched a sneak attack on Han Ju. Han Ju sensed something off and simply turned his head to look. Suddenly, the atmosphere changed. Chen Santian hurriedly explained, "Sorry for the disturbance. There was a mosquito. I'll go clean the cave now. The elder should get more sunlight." The system alerted that Chen Santian's hatred for Han Ju had grown to 4 stars. Han Ju was speechless. "I've never tortured him in this past year, and now the hatred has even escalated to a point of no return. This is really troublesome." Meanwhile, Chen Santian was thinking, "Once I escape, I must avenge the debts of this year." Suddenly, he widened his eyes in shock. A hole the size of a human head appeared in Chen Santian's chest, the work of Han Ju's attack. "I gave you a chance, and you wasted it. Being obedient at least had the value of being a bargaining chip. Now, it's unnecessary." Han Ju also started to feel a headache, thinking about the cliche in novels. Kill the minion, and the boss comes. Kill the boss, and an even bigger boss comes. Sure enough, a dark energy slowly drifted out from Chen Santian's body, and a figure emerged from the dark energy. "Very well. You killed my beloved disciple. You all will die. Do you dare to state your name? I'm Loki. And you? Azure Nether Demon Sect. Zhang Kunmo. Loki, I will remember you. Wait for your death." After saying this, he dissipated into thin air. At this moment, the system alerted. "Zhang Kunmo has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred level, 5 stars. Han Ju was internally panicking. 5 stars? Damn, that's high. Then, Han Ju opened the relationship list. Nascent Soul Realm level 8. Not yet at Spirit Transformation. I should still be able to handle him. Still, better contact the sect to send someone over to clean up. In the eyes of others, possessing dozens of spiritual crystals was considered extremely impressive. However, in the Star Extreme sect, there were a staggering 100 million of them, all because the sect had one super prodigal spender. Meanwhile, at the base of the Beast Peak, Luo Wuming brought Yifeng there, explaining that inside these seal caves were beasts of varying strengths and numbers. The further up one went, the stronger the beasts. Yifeng, puzzled, asked, "Why seal them? Why not just kill them?" Luo Wuming explained that these beasts played a significant role, providing life and death trials for the disciples. If disciples wish to leave the sect, they must challenge these sealed beasts. If they can't even defeat the sealed beasts, they're doomed in the outside world. Here, they still have a chance of survival. The outside world won't be as merciful. Upon hearing this, Yifeng was eager to give it a try. He was going to the battlefield of life and death in a couple of days. Could he have a warm-up fight now? However, Luo Wuming declined. These beasts should be reserved for other disciples to train with. Given your strength, Yifeng, even a few hundred beasts of the same realm would be a breeze for you. It would be a waste. Yifeng persisted, expressing his desire to challenge a higher-ranked beast from the merging spirit realm. However, Luo Wuming pretended not to hear. "What did you say? The weather is so nice today." It seems that Master's father will not pay attention to him anymore. Now, his prodigal score is only 2,810 points. He needed to make a significant move soon. A day had passed since Yifeng's visit to the Beast Peak. Today, he had acquired the corpse of a purple thunder mad lion, although he was unsure of the beast's ranking or how to process it. With his doubts, he approached his senior brother, Chen Haoyu. "Senior brother, how should I handle this beast's body?" Chen Haoyu explained that one could extract the essence blood from the beast using using spiritual energy. However, the essence blood only benefits those who cultivate the body. Yifeng inquired further, what constitutes body cultivation? Body cultivators use techniques to refine their bodies, absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, constantly evolving. Their combat power is terrifying, and the essence blood of beasts is their best cultivation resource. Shinhaoyu elucidated. With new questions, Yifeng asked, what if we directly roast and eat the beast's body? Shinhaoyu looked at Yifeng, baffled, and stared at him with a strange expression, not understanding where Yifeng got such quirky ideas. Despite his confusion, Shinhaoyu explained, the more powerful the beast, the more challenging it is to extract its essence blood. If you directly roast and eat it, the power absorbed would likely be less than 1% of the essence blood. It's fine for lower realm beasts, but for powerful ones, not extracting the essence blood and eating it directly would be quite wasteful. Do we have body cultivators in our sect? Yifeng asked curiously. Shinhaoyu replied, yes, 5th ancestral elder Chuyunchan is one. She is a body cultivator at the Tribulation Crossing realm. Just as Shinhaoyu wanted to gossip more about Chuyunchan's past, Yifeng promptly left. He wasn't interested in listening to such lengthy stories. Watching Yifeng leave, Shinhaoyu furrowed his brows, wondering if his junior really had the body of a high realm beast and if he was truly considering roasting it. Yifeng then proceeded to the dueling arena. Upon seeing this, the surrounding disciples assumed he was here to challenge again. Some even lay down and surrender, thinking they stood no chance against him. But Yifeng didn't plan on challenging. He jumped onto the stage and announced, let's not duel today. Help me slice some meat instead. I'll treat you all to a barbecue today. Saying this, under the astonished eyes of everyone, he took out the body of the purple thunder mad lion. The sheer size and weight of it immediately shattered the newly repaired arena. Witnessing the colossal carcass, the fellow disciples were utterly stupefied. Yifeng then jumped atop the beast. Dear senior brothers and sisters, please help me slice it. I can't handle it alone. Hearing this, the crowd was thrilled. However, during the slicing, they encountered difficulties. The purple thunder mad lion was of such a high grade that their weapons couldn't pierce its defenses. Some weapons even broke upon impact, leaving the disciples almost in tears, mourning their precious, now broken weapons. Seeing this predicament, Yifeng sought help from his system for powerful weapons. The system lent him 100 daggers temporarily, but staring at the rusty, shabby-looking daggers, Yifeng seriously doubted the system's intentions. Can these really cut through? He wondered. Nonetheless, with no other options, he approached his fellow disciples with a bag of worn-out daggers. Stop your attempts. Use my daggers to slice. Observing the incredibly old, battered daggers, everyone was skeptical. Will these actually work? But their doubts were soon put to rest when one disciple started slicing. The tough scales of the beast were like tofu under the dagger's edge. The dagger's efficiency was truly terrifying. Seeing this, Yifeng finally smiled in satisfaction, but then he noticed a disciple trying out the dagger on his own body, making Yifeng extremely frustrated. Can't you just focus on the beast's body? He lamented, but he had to admit, the daggers were deceptively powerful. If only I could squander my points on these, he wished. However, the system rejected this thought, reminding Yifeng that the daggers were just on loan. They needed to be returned, or a hefty amount of his spendthrift points would be deducted. Yifeng was speechless. This damn system is so stingy. It seemed he would have to collect them later. With the aid of the miraculous daggers, the crowd quickly dissected the purple thunder mad lion. The roasted meat was fragrant and tantalizing. It was like an ancient-style bonfire feast. The disciples relished every bite. After all, this was high-grade monster meat, a delicacy they might only taste once in their lives. At this moment, about 10 miles away from the Star Extreme sect, a figure broke through the air. His name was Luo Kai, a muscular man boasting 8-pack ABS. He murmured, Luo Wuming, I'm here. It seemed they were old acquaintances. However, when he saw the active protective barrier of the Star Extreme sect, Luo Kai was puzzled. Is the Star Extreme sect in danger? But it didn't seem so. He was the only one in the vicinity. Nonetheless, he headed straight for the 9-star sword formation. Assuming it to be as it was in the past, he wanted to test its strength against his own body. But in the next moment, he was dumbfounded. What the hell? Completely caught off guard by the enhanced power of the 9-star sword formation. A baffled expression adorned his face as he wondered, who could have upgraded the 9-star sword formation? Detecting the disturbance, Luo Wuming flew out, shouting, Luo Kai, have you gone mad? Can't you see our protective barrier is active? How dare you challenge it head-on? After hearing Luo Wuming's teasing, Luo Kai was so angry. I come for you. Who knew that your 9-star sword formation has improved so much? Luo Wuming told him to stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and state your business. Seeing this, Luo Kai revealed his true purpose. He came to show off. This time he made a fortune in the heavenly Dao battlefield. He earned as many as 80 top-grade spiritual crystals. Luo Wuming thought it was no big deal. Is that all? I'm leaving first. Luo Kai was stunned. Is that your only reaction? Shouldn't you ask me for a dozen or so? Then Luo Kai seriously asked, did your sect activate the defensive formation? Is there a strong enemy attacking? And who improved the sword formation to such a terrifying level? Luo Wuming casually replied, it's nothing. Recently, we just have too many spiritual crystals. We wanted to use up some of our stock. You should have felt the power of the sword formation. Even though its consumption increased tenfold, my Star Extreme sect can afford it. Hearing this, Luo Kai was so angry. You are showing off. How many spiritual crystals do you have now? You only upgraded a defensive formation. Look at you being so smug. Luo Wuming smiled slightly. It's not that many. Just 100 million. That should last a few months. You look like you just came back from the heavenly Dao battlefield. Anything else besides the spiritual crystals? On the surface, Luo Kai pretended to be calm and said, nothing much. Just wanted to have a drink and chat with you. But he was shocked inside. 100 million? Luo Wuming has never lied to him about big matters, which means 100 million spiritual crystals is true. Later, Luo Kai followed Luo Wuming to chat, but along the way, he smelled a delicious aroma. Suddenly, Luo Kai went crazy. He recognized the scent of the purple thunder mad lion. He then rushed towards the source of the aroma and witnessed the disciples feasting. Luo Kai was stunned. It really was the purple thunder mad lion. He couldn't believe it. Luo Wuming was also a bit surprised at this point. This purple thunder mad lion has at least survived 9 thunder tribulations. It's a terrifying beast that could ascend to the upper realm at any time, and now it's being roasted and eaten. Luo Kai was very puzzled. What are your disciples doing? Then, after seeing what was being grilled, he immediately grabbed Luo Wuming and questioned him. You are roasting and eating such a powerful beast's flesh. When did your Star Extreme sect become so rich? Luo Wuming helplessly said. Rich? Not at all. It's definitely that prodigal Yifeng's doing. Just then, Luo Kai suddenly saw a terrifying scene that made his heart skip a beat. A disciple, only at the Qi activation realm, held what appeared to be an ordinary black dagger, yet he was effortlessly cutting through the scales covering the body of the purple thunder mad lion. At this moment, Luo Kai was truly shocked. It was one thing for these disciples to openly roast the purple thunder mad lion, but that dagger that sliced through the lion's scales as if they were tofu, what kind of divine weapon was that? My old friend, your sect feels so unfamiliar to me now. Luo Wuming was also stunned. He had no idea either. No, he must inform the 5 ancestral elders first. Then he sent a voice message to the 5 ancestral elders. Hurry up and come over. That Yifeng kid is wasting resources again. And this time, it's the corpse of a purple thunder mad lion that survived 9 thunder tribulations. He's roasting it for the disciples to eat. If you don't come now, it'll be gone. Luo Kai, confused, asked, who's Yifeng? Why do you need to call the 5 ancestral elders? Can't you just deal with him directly? Luo Wuming sighed heavily. I wish I could handle it, but I can't. Not only is Yifeng the 6th core disciple of the sect, but he also contributed 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals and enhanced the 9-star sword formation. Now, he holds the position of honorary elder. Even I, Luo Wuming, have to address him as Elder Yi. Upon hearing the news, Chu Yunshan from the back mountain cried, and in the next moment, he was furiously shouting, Big brother, do you realize how important a beast that survived 9 thunder tribulations is to me? Saying this, he rushed to the scene. Fortunately, he was stopped by the other ancestral elders in time. Impulsiveness is the devil, Luo Qianqing said, puzzled. Isn't it obvious? Such a high-level beast corpse is naturally important, especially for a body cultivator like you. It's probably more important than an enlightenment pill. Chu Yunshan immediately lamented. Now in our sect, we have only one such beast corpse, and half of it has already been roasted and eaten by inner and outer sect disciples. Hearing this, the rest of the ancestral elders were also heartbroken. No wonder Old Fifth is so furious. If it were them, they would react the same way. Let's hurry up and stop them. Chu Yunshan admitted that he was powerless. It was the Yifeng kid who brought it out. He wanted to share it with the disciples. We can't interfere. Luo Qianqing thought about it and agreed. After all, they had taken so many good things from Yifeng. They couldn't possibly take away the beast corpse too. This sentiment was echoed by the other ancestral elders. Besides, letting the disciples eat it would greatly benefit them. Luo Qianqing tried to console. It's just unfortunate for you, Old Fifth. Why don't we go over and have a taste? It's better to eat some than none at all. They hadn't tasted such a high-level beast before either. So, moments later, Luo Wuming and Luo Kai were already feasting on the dueling ground. The two were even competing to see who could eat faster. Upon seeing this, the arriving ancestral elders didn't know what to say. These two old geezers had even less shame than they did. Finally, as a drumbeat sounded, Luo Wuming ultimately lost. After all, with Luo Kai being a body cultivator, it wasn't surprising that he won. Thus, Luo Kai received cheers from the disciples. At this moment, Luo Wuming and others noticed the ancestral elders. They greeted them respectfully. After landing, the ancestral elders approached Yifeng. Little Yi, why didn't you invite us old geezers to eat with you? Yifeng replied, how could I not? If the ancestral elders are interested, then please join us. Luo Kai then teased, how can an old geezer like you be so unnoticed? And so, after an hour of digestion, the ancestral elders had a grand feast. Chu Yunshan even wanted to take away the skeleton. Seeing someone willing to clean up, Yifeng was naturally pleased. Then Luo Wuming introduced his old friend Luo Kai to Yifeng. He's a body cultivation expert in the 4th level of the Tribulation Crossing realm. However, Yifeng was puzzled. Why was his master's father still calling him Elder Yi? It seemed they had no choice. After all, the great ancestral elder had made it clear. The two then exchanged respectful greetings. Only now, even Luo Kai started addressing him as Elder Yi. Yifeng laughed. Since you're a friend of my master's father, you're naturally my senior. Hearing this, Luo Kai felt like his brain was frying. Why do you call Luo Wuming master's father? While Luo Wuming addresses you as elder, your relationship is so complicated. Luo Wuming explained, this kid is my daughter's senior disciple, so I'm his master's father. It's a long story. At this moment, Yifeng received a reward for the lavish feast of the purple thunder mad lion. 200 drops of essence blood from the purple thunder mad lion that endured the 9 heavenly Dao tribulations. Yifeng wasn't quite familiar with the concept of 9 heavenly Dao tribulations, so he asked his system for clarification. The system patiently explained that when a cultivator or a beast reaches the peak of the Tribulation Crossing realm's 9th level in the Xiantian continent and wishes to ascend to a higher realm, they must endure 9 heavenly Dao tribulations, which are different from ordinary tribulations. Yifeng then understood, so it's another level of strength after reaching the peak of the Tribulation Crossing realm's 9th level. Luo Kai then excitedly approached and said, thank you, nephew Yifeng. Without you, I wouldn't have tasted such a precious beast, but I must say, you really wasted the essence blood of the purple thunder mad lion. Yifeng was a bit dazed from Luo Kai's enthusiastic patting. He took out the recently awarded essence blood and asked, Senior, are you talking about this? Upon closer inspection, Luo Kai confirmed, yes, this aura is right. This essence blood is refined from the purple thunder mad lion. Yifeng offered to give them some of the essence blood, but mentioned he would keep some for his own pet dog. Luo Kai was confused. Dog? Is that a nickname for your friend? Luo Wuming explained, no, dog is not a person. It's just a regular stray dog. It just swallowed over 2009 pattern clear mysterious pills and is evolving into a beast. Luo Kai was taken aback. What? A regular stray dog gets such benefits? Luo Kai found it hard to believe. Yifeng reassured him, it's really just a dog. Luo Kai was in disbelief, muttering, you must be joking. Seeing Luo Kai's state, Yifeng excused himself and left. Luo Wuming, seeing this, wanted to take Luo Kai somewhere to give him an opportunity. Luo Kai snapped back to reality and followed, but he was still puzzled. What kind of opportunity opportunity can your sect possibly have? Back at Luo Wuming's residence, he took out a pill for Luo Kai. Luo Kai was suspicious, wondering if it was poison. Luo Wuming reassured, if you weren't my close buddy, I wouldn't offer this to you. He went on to explain, this is an enlightenment pill. I bet you've never seen one before. Luo Kai was dumbfounded. Is this for real? Luo Wuming replied, try it, and you'll know. You'll thank me. Without hesitation, Luo Kai swallowed the pill. In an instant, his mind began to whirl rapidly. He sat down cross-legged, entering a state of enlightenment. After 20 minutes, Luo Kai woke up, visibly satisfied. Luo Wuming said, told you, didn't I? That enlightenment pill was given by Yifeng. Apart from the 70 he provided to the sect, he's keeping 20 to feed his dog. He went on to mention Xiao Tianyu, who helps Yifeng and receives 9-leaf soul-returning herbs. Ignoring auction houses, he joined Luo Wuming's daughter's Star Soul sect as an elder, and by Tianhong, sent to supervise his daughter, now completely stationed at Star Soul sect. After listening, Luo Kai silently left. Luo Wuming was puzzled. We haven't had our drinks yet. Where are you going? Luo Kai was visibly upset. What's there to drink? Luo Wuming was bewildered. We're just chatting. Why are you angry? Luo Kai spoke somberly. I'm alone in this world. Besides you, I have no friends or family. I could have had a daughter like Luo Qianxue. Thinking he hit a sore spot, Luo Wuming prepared to apologize, but Luo Kai changed his tone. So you didn't tell me earlier about your daughter founding a sect. I've decided to join as an elder, to find a place to call home. With that, he soared into the sky. Luo Wuming was livid. So you're also eyeing Yifeng's opportunities? You really have no shame. Get back here. At Luo Kai's abrupt departure, Luo Wuming was absolutely furious. Who was it that said they'd never join any faction for life? Who claimed they loved freedom? Wishing to settle down now? Ha, I bet you're just setting your sights on Yifeng. Although Luo Wuming verbally ridiculed his old friend, truth be told, he also desired to join. If it weren't for his status as a master's father, he would have already become an elder at Star Soul sect. Snapping back to reality, Luo Wuming remembered the matter of the demonic beast's essence. He must quickly inform the 5 ancestral elders. Meanwhile, Yifeng, out of boredom, started singing, only to be interrupted by a forceful kick on his door from senior brother Chen Haoyu. Chen stormed in angrily questioning Yifeng. Little junior brother, I knew you were extravagant, but this is pure madness. Yifeng calmly responded, stay steady, don't panic. Look, my door's broken again. It turns out, Chen Haoyu had visited the scripture vault and found information about the purple thunder mad lion. He also got wind of Yifeng's extravagant actions. Yifeng nonchalantly said, I'm aware. Chen Haoyu was utterly defeated, realizing he couldn't reason with such a prodigal like Yifeng. It seems he'll have to adjust his attitude, especially for when they get to the Star Soul sect, or he might just die from frustration. Without even a goodbye, Chen Haoyu staggered away. Yifeng was dumbfounded. He broke my door and just left like that? Unbelievable. My poor door. Finally, after patching up his door and preparing to sleep, the door was brutally kicked open once again, this time by 5th ancestral elder Chuyanzhan. Yifeng, are you asleep? But Yifeng, resigned and anticipating the elder's intentions, didn't waste any words. He directly handed over 10 drops of the demonic beast's essence as a token of respect. Chuyanzhan, with a hint of hesitation, accepted the essence, uttering apologetically, I'm so sorry for the intrusion. Elder Yi, I won't disturb your rest. If you need anything, do let me know. With that, he decisively excused himself and left. Yifeng, staring at a shattered door, felt no desire to fix it anymore. Maybe I should just change courtyards, he mused. After shifting courtyards, Yifeng finally enjoyed a good night's sleep. Come morning, it was time for new extravagant products to be refreshed. Opening his system, he saw mind-calming incense, a bundle of 100 sticks, made from the 10,000-year dark god black tree. The fragrance it emitted when lit had a calming effect. Training under its influence could double the effectiveness, but rather than considering its impact on his training, Yifeng wondered if it could help him sleep even better. Outside, Luo Wuming and the ancestral elders were staking out. Based on Luo Wuming's days of observations, Yifeng always seemed to take out some extravagant items to splurge every morning. Back at Star Soul sect, early in the morning, he'd fed his dog with underworld sword and tent fragments. Later, on the way to Star Extreme sect, he casually threw away a high-quality spiritual stone. And then, there was yesterday's incident with the purple thunder mad lion, which also happened in the morning. Luo Wuming seriously suspected that if this prodigal didn't indulge in luxury every morning, his mood would be off for the whole day. The ancestral elders unanimously agreed. Sounds about right. Suddenly, Luo Wuming caught a whiff of a fragrance. For a split second, he was entranced. The next moment, the great ancestral elder dashed forward, recognizing the aroma as that of the mind-calming incense, and not the ordinary kind. With a loud bang, Yifeng's door was obliterated yet again. As the incense burned beside him, a bewildered Yifeng regained his senses and shouted, do you all have a vendetta against doors? The great ancestral elder took a deep breath of the mind-calming incense, and, with an I knew it expression, looked content. Surrounded by the 5 ancestral elders and his master's father, Yifeng was utterly confused. What's the meaning of this? Luo Qianxing inquired. Yifeng, what kind of spiritual wood is this mind-calming incense made from? Yifeng casually responded, it's from the 10,000-year dark god black tree. Luo Qianxing feigned calm, replying, ah, the 10,000-year dark god black tree. Not bad, really quite good. But inside, he had already lost his mind. After all, it was 10,000 years old. Yifeng looked at him with resignation. Are you sure it's just not bad? By that measure, the 10,000-year dark god black tree doesn't seem all that special. It doesn't even compare to the other luxurious items I had earlier. Seems like it's being looked down upon by the ancestral elders. Little did he know, Luo Qianxing was just feigning indifference. This tree was incredibly precious. Watching Yifeng light it stick by stick, Luo Qianxing felt his heart shatter. Frustrated by the slow burn, Yifeng even brought out a fire tray to burn them faster. Luo Wuming whispered, there are 100 of them. Luo Qianxing and the other ancestral elders were crestfallen. This was mind-calming incense, and he was wasting it. The anxiety and heartbreak drove them crazy. Everyone was devastated. After using the fire tray to burn all 100 sticks, Yifeng peacefully went to sleep. Luo Qianxing maintained a cheery facade, but inside, he was raging. Such a wasteful boy. He burned 100 mind-calming incense sticks just to sleep. Does he want to infuriate us to death? off, the exasperated ancestral elders could only leave, venting their frustrations outside Yifeng's courtyard. You can imagine the 100 words of complaints. After venting, Luo Qianqing finally sighed in relief. The second ancestral elder lamented, "Forget the 10,000-year dark god black tree. I've never even seen a tree over 5,000 years old in the heavenly Dao battlefield." Luo Qianqing added, "Moreover, I suspect those incenses were made from the tree's core. It's not merely about its age, but after all, it's Yifeng's possession. Out of sight, out of mind. I won't be coming back. I can't fathom where this kid gets all these treasures, making us all so envious. Let's leave. While it's a boon for the sect to have Yifeng, his wasteful habits are beyond words." With that, the ancestral elders resolved never to return. Seeing this, Luo Wuming tried to placate them. "There's no need for such reactions. If we can't change it, why not just close our eyes and enjoy the ambience?" Xu Yunshan immediately agreed. "You're right." In an instant, the same ancestral elders who had vowed not to return all gave Luo Wuming a thumbs up, saying, "Great idea." And just like that, despite their earlier words, several ancestral elders sat outside Yifeng's courtyard, immersing themselves in meditation. Yifeng woke up an hour later, incredibly excited. "I had such a good sleep, and I've used up all the mind-calming incense." Perfect. With that, after completing his daily wasteful task, Yifeng received another reward, 200 sticks of mind-calming incense made from the 10,000-year dark god black tree, which boasted intense fragrance. Yifeng was dumbfounded. "Is this damned system trying to play tricks on me? Can't I get another reward?" He was infuriated that the system had given him another 200 sticks of the mind-calming incense. Believing that even the great ancestral elders didn't value it, he felt the incense was undermining his reputation as a lavish spender. "I might as well throw them away," he muttered, heading out to dispose of the incense. But when he saw the ancestral elders congregated outside his door, he was taken aback. "What are you all doing here?" Luo Qianqing explained. "True cultivators practice anywhere and everywhere. The highest state of cultivation is to follow one's heart." Luo Wuming discreetly gave him a thumbs up, impressed by the great ancestral elders' wisdom. Seizing the opportunity, Yifeng decided to get the ancestral elders to deal with the mind-calming incense for him. In front of the great ancestral elder, he casually dropped the incense and retreated to his room. The ancestral elders were stunned, staring at the incense scattered on the ground. Luo Qianqing even felt as if he had been reduced to a beggar. This kid just dropped 200 sticks of mind-calming incense without a word. What's he trying to say? At this point, Luo Wuming seemed to realize the reason. "Great ancestral elder, do you remember what you said in front of Yifeng earlier? You mentioned that these mind-calming incenses were just not bad," and his expression changed right after that. Upon hearing this, Luo Qianqing recalled the incident. Indeed, that's what happened. Suddenly, a thought struck him. "Could it be that?" Luo Wuming explained. "He might have felt that your assessment of the incense was too low. After hearing your words, he dismissed it as worthless junk. That's why he threw it at us, to deal with as we saw fit." Luo Qianqing, wanting to clarify the situation, knocked on Yifeng's door, asking if they should handle the mind-calming incense for him. As expected, Yifeng's voice responded, "Thank you, great ancestral elder. Please get rid of that junk for me. Using it will only devalue me." Receiving the confirmation, Luo Qianqing's face broke into a mysterious smile and exclaimed, "Guys, let's go." Later, back in the cave dwelling on the back mountain, he began distributing the mind-calming incense to the other ancestral elders, with each receiving 20 sticks. Luo Wuming looked smug, hinting, "What about me? Where's my share?" He expected to be rewarded. However, Luo Qianqing calmly looked at him and said, "You get nothing." He then decisively threw Luo Wuming out. Luo Wuming was dumbfounded, thinking, "We were all begging together, so why am I excluded? Even 10 sticks would do." Inside the dwelling, Xu Yunshan pulled out a beggar's outfit, suggesting, "Brother, why don't we become beggars? Every morning, we can stake out Yifeng's place. No matter what treasures he brings out, we'll claim they're mediocre." The word begging might sound odd, but if it means getting treasures like this every day, I'd happily be a beggar. The other ancestral elders agreed. Begging does seem like a quick path to riches. Luo Qianqing knew these guys too well. They might talk about becoming beggars, but in reality, they were just concerned about Yifeng squandering valuable items. Luo Qianqing soon approached Luo Wuming outside the window, reminding him that Yifeng would be heading to the heavenly Dao battlefield the next day. "You must ensure Yifeng's safety," he instructed. Luo Wuming acknowledged the order. "Understood. I will personally escort Yifeng to the heavenly Dao teleportation tower." The following day, Yifeng woke up in high spirits and checked his system window, eager to see his newest acquisitions. He noticed a 10,000 set of second-class 9th rank Earth prisoner talisman, which could trap enemies in an earthen prison. To Yifeng, this seemed intriguing, definitely more so than yesterday's mind-calming incense. He decided not to flaunt it just yet. It might come in handy in the heavenly Dao battlefield. Meanwhile, Luo Qianqing stealthily approached Yifeng's residence. "Today, the kid is off to the heavenly Dao battlefield. I wonder if I can scrounge some benefits," he mused. This time, Luo Qianqing deliberately didn't inform the other ancestral elders. Begging, after all, was an embarrassing act, so as the eldest, he felt he should bear that shame alone. Unexpectedly, he bumped into the second ancestral elder, who even brought along a begging bowl. Luo Qianqing was dumbfounded. "Old second, you're taking this a bit too far, aren't you? Why didn't I think of bringing a bowl?" The second ancestral elder proposed. "Big brother, how about this? If we get something today, we'll split it between the two of us." Luo Qianqing nodded in agreement. "You truly are a good brother." Just then, he spotted another figure in the distance. "Isn't that old third?" he wondered. The third ancestral elder stepped forward awkwardly, holding a cracked bowl. "Big brother, second brother, I hope you don't mind if I join in." The three looked at each other, embarrassment evident on their faces. They hadn't expected to all have the same idea, but just as they were reconciling with this situation, a slender, elegant leg emerged from behind a screen, causing the trio to blush deeply. What kind of tactic is this? Their previous understandings shattered. To their astonishment, it was the fourth ancestral elder, who, in an effort to beg for treasures, had even employed the seductive tactic of dressing up in a tantalizing manner. The appearance of the fourth ancestral elder in such a manner left the other elders in shock. "Old fourth, please don't do this. We're terrified." The fourth ancestral elder appeared just as surprised, saying, "I hadn't expected all my elder brothers to be here too. Taking in the situation, Luo Chanqing scanned the surroundings, commenting, since old fourth is here, surely old fifth is around as well? The fourth ancestral elder responded, didn't he come early? From behind the courtyard, the fifth ancestral elder, Chuyunchan, had been waiting for a while. He was even more professionally equipped for begging. Not only was he holding a broken bowl, but he was also dressed in tattered clothes. Upon seeing this, Luo Chanqing exclaimed, old fifth, why are you going to such lengths? It's just begging. After all, at this point, Luo Wuming also stealthily approached, thinking, Yifeng always oversleeps. Today, I need to ensure he wakes up early. But as he entered the courtyard, Luo Wuming was completely baffled by the sight of the ancestral elders in such a state. The fourth ancestral elder greeted him coyly. Little Luo has arrived too. Chuyunchan even suggested, do you want a bowl as well? Luo Wuming felt like he was losing his mind. Are these really the ancestral elders I know? He quickly retreated, pretending he saw nothing. Moments later, Yifeng emerged, and upon seeing the spectacle, a loud what the hell escaped his lips. He was startled by the bizarre behavior of the ancestral elders. Observing their broken bowls, a myriad of expressions crossed his face. What on earth are the ancestral elders up to? Are they trying to test their emotional resilience? And in my courtyard, of all places, do they want me to judge who's the best beggar? As Yifeng's gaze moved from the youthful fourth ancestral elder to the beggar-styled fifth ancestral elder, and then to the calm and composed great ancestral elder, he finally settled on Chuyunchan. In front of him, he placed 10 drops of great demon fairy blood in his bowl. Yifeng was so moved by his own generosity that tears welled up in his eyes. I even helped in choosing the best beggar, and now I've even donated from my own pocket. Where can you find such a generous disciple like me? Soon after, he went looking for his master's father. On the other hand, Chuyunchan was extremely pleased with himself and burst into triumphant laughter. I knew this method would work. However, just then, a large hand grabbed him. The other ancestral elders, with mischievous grins, stared at him. Old fifth, we share both the good times and the bad. We beg together, so you can't just run off with the loot. Chuyunchan sighed in frustration. If he had known this would happen, he would have made his escape earlier. At this moment, Yifeng arrived at the main hall of the sect. Seeing him, Luo Wuming asked if he had encountered the ancestral elders. Yifeng innocently replied, I did see them. True to their stature as powerful beings, they are cultivating their minds and spirits by enduring the trials of a beggar's life. They didn't say anything, but I understood their intentions. That's why I gave the most pitiful-looking fifth ancestral elder 10 drops of great demon fairy blood. Upon hearing this, Luo Wuming almost choked on his own spit. Cultivating their minds by pretending to be beggars? They were actually begging from you. Who told you to have so many treasures? By indulging them this way, you'll only encourage their eccentricities even more. He sighed deeply but chose not to reveal the truth to Yifeng. He no longer cared about the direction things were taking. After all, it was all in good fun. Yifeng impatiently then asked, Master, are the other disciples ready? Where are we heading? To the Heavenly Dao Battlefield's teleportation tower. Luo Wuming, upon hearing this, drew out his flying sword and declared, it's just the two of us. Let's set out now. With that, he and Yifeng soared away on the sword. The ancestral elders, seeing this, felt a pang of regret. The kid's only been here for a few days, but we'll miss him. He probably won't return to the Star Extreme sect, and will go directly to the Star Soul sect instead. The fourth ancestral elder then proposed, should we also head to the Star Soul sect? After all, the Star Extreme sect now has a constantly active protective formation. Luo Chanqing was utterly exasperated by the elders. Have you no shame? Not only did you beg, but now you want to chase after him to the Star Soul sect? Look at old fifth, how pragmatic he is. However, Chuyunchan was even more audacious, having already packed up and ready to depart for the Star Soul sect immediately. Elder brother, I leave the Star Extreme sect in your hands. I'm truly grateful. This act finally pushed Luo Chanqing over the edge. Releasing a terrifying aura, he roared, all of you, stay right here in our sect. None of you are going to the Star Soul sect. Those who defy me will bear the consequences. Seeing this outburst, the ancestral elders were genuinely startled. It seemed they had taken their games a bit too far. While flying, Yifeng expressed his confusion. It seems rather quiet along the way. I haven't seen any other cultivators or beasts. It's very different from what I've seen in the Star Soul sect. Luo Wuming explained, it's possible that the nearby cultivators have killed them all for practice. After all, the beasts of the Heavenly Dao battlefield are several times stronger than regular ones. A beast from the Heavenly Dao battlefield can easily defeat several normal beasts, and the same goes for cultivators. As for not encountering any cultivators, it's possible given the vastness of the Xiantian continent. However, just as he finished speaking, they were confronted by a stunning red-haired beauty blocking their path. Could the two of you entertain me for a bit? She flirtatiously asked. Luo Wuming's face turned serious. She's a powerful demon. I'll hold her off. Yifeng, you run. The next moment, the alluring demoness voice chimed in. Don't go. Stay and keep me company. She then launched an attack on the two of them. The demoness swiftly restrained both men. Luo Wuming, looking grave, remarked, as expected, she possesses the power of the 9th layer of the Tribulation Crossing realm. The demoness then proposed, how about a fun trade? If you present something that piques my interest, I'll let you both go. Not trusting the promises of demons, Luo Wuming braced himself to fight back. However, just as he was about to act, countless drops of great demon fairy blood flew from behind him, courtesy of Yifeng. The sight of the scattered great demon fairy blood left the demoness stunned. Furious, Luo Wuming turned to Yifeng. Have you lost your mind? This is merely a trick she's using to play with us. By showing such a treasure, she's even less likely to let us go. Yifeng, unfazed, replied with a smirk. It would be best if she tries to deceive us. I will cut her down myself then. It's just a beast. No need to worry. Luo Wuming looked at Yifeng incredulously. Do you have a trump card up your sleeve? The demoness, in the meantime, appeared utterly perplexed. If she wasn't mistaken, this blood belonged to a powerful demon that had survived 9 Heavenly Dao Thunder tribulations. She had only survived 2 such tribulations herself. How could these 2 seemingly insignificant figures possess such treasures? They must have a powerful backing. Realizing she was outmatched, the demoness accepted the blood and, true to her word, let them go. Luo Wuming quickly prepared to leave with Yifeng, but Yifeng hesitated. We finally encounter a powerful beast. How can we leave without witnessing the might of a great demon? Luo Wuming was on the verge of exploding. Would you please stop provoking her? Yifeng then took out 50 drops of great demon fairy blood, threatening, if you kill me, these will be yours. Luo Wuming felt utterly disheartened, thinking, what on earth is he thinking? What Yifeng was thinking was, I've never faced real danger, so I haven't had a chance to summon my system's godly wealthy guard squad. Now that we've encountered this demoness, it's the perfect opportunity. He continued to tempt the demoness. This is great demon fairy blood. Aren't you tempted? The demoness was getting increasingly nervous. Facing such a formidable creature, yet still being this calm, meant that this young man was no ordinary person. There must be a terrifying power protecting him nearby. She realized that if she took action, she would be doomed. With that thought, she immediately transformed, revealing her true form, a mantis demon. Seeing this, Yifeng was amazed. This creature looks so cool. Luo Wuming explained, this is the bloodthirsty mantis. It grows stronger with a constant supply of potent blood. It's a very formidable and tricky creature to handle. Having shown her true form, the demoness promptly fled, disregarding Yifeng's intentions completely. Once at a safe distance, looking at the great demon fairy blood in her grasp, she pondered, was I too cautious? What if they just happened to stumble upon the great demon fairy blood? After all, it seems unlikely they could handle a demon of this level. Shrugging off her concerns, she placed the great demon fairy blood into her chest, thinking, at least I came out ahead this time, no point in dwelling on it. However, just then, Yifeng, riding on Luo Wuming, came chasing after her. Seeing this, the demoness was dumbfounded. Yifeng urged his master's father to speed up, even taking out a spiritual stone without hesitation to recharge him. Luo Wuming was equally enthusiastic, restoring his energy and speeding up once more. The demoness was now on the verge of tears, exclaiming, are you both out of your minds? I already let you go. Why are you chasing me again? Yifeng shouted angrily, monster, don't run. Let's have a real fight. If I lose, you can do as you wish with me. But if you lose, you'll become my battle pet. The demoness was terrified and immediately tried to flee faster, not bothering about Yifeng's challenge. She even threw back the great demon fairy blood, hoping to get him to stop chasing her. At this moment, Luo Wuming said, I can't catch up to her. Let's just let it go. However, Yifeng wasn't willing to give up so easily and asked his master's father to throw him towards the demoness. Reluctantly, Luo Wuming agreed and, with a powerful toss, sent Yifeng flying forward. At this speed, in a blink of an eye, Yifeng was right behind the demoness. The demoness was startled again and began to swing her scythe in desperation, asking Yifeng to stay away. However, the system judged Yifeng to be in a life-threatening situation. The next moment, the sky seemed to tear apart, leaving both Luo Wuming and the demoness staring in shock. From the crack, a figure emerged, tearing through the space. A powerful and robust man stepped out, commenting, this place sure is noisy. At this moment, the imposing godly wealthy guard squad finally made their appearance. Upon arrival, he reported to Yifeng, Master, I apologize for the delay. Please forgive me. Yifeng, who was holding on to the demoness, said, it's alright. You came just in time. The guard then stabilized the surrounding space, allowing Yifeng to stand securely in the air. Yifeng asked, are you a member of the godly wealthy guard squad? Is it just you? The guard respectfully explained, for the current threat, I alone am sufficient. The guard squad consists of thousands, and the number dispatched varies based on the danger you're in. The guard then glared menacingly at the demoness and asked, Master, do you wish for me to eliminate this threat? The demoness hastily begged for mercy, saying, Boss, I was wrong. Upon seeing the situation, Yifeng chose not to harm the demoness. After witnessing the guard's capabilities, he dismissed him, saying, if she harbors any intent to kill, please come again. The guard bowed respectfully, replying, it's an honor to serve you, Master. Before departing, with a smirk, Yifeng turned to the demoness and said, now, you have two choices, become my battle pet or die. Without hesitation, the demoness knelt down, proclaiming, Master, I will obey your every command. At that moment, a contract materialized. Yifeng couldn't understand a single word written in its arcane script. Luo Wuming explained, this is the Heavenly Dao Blood Pact. If you drop your blood on it, you'll gain complete control over the demon. Looking at the pitiful and blushing demoness, Yifeng decisively bit his finger and let his blood drop onto the contract. He thought, trading a drop of blood for a battle pet is such a great deal. The Heavenly Dao Blood Pact resonated greatly after absorbing the blood. The demoness felt as if she were on fire, her body trembling uncontrollably. After enduring this torment, she was successfully subdued by Yifeng. Approaching her with concern, Yifeng said, from now on, I am your master. My name is Yifeng. The demoness blushed even deeper at this. Now, Luo Wuming no longer needed to be the driver. As the two mounted the demoness mount, Luo Wuming asked Yifeng, I know you come from the higher realms, but who exactly are you? Unsure of how to explain, Yifeng said, all you need to know, Master's father, is that I am the direct disciple of the Supreme Master. Hearing this, Luo Wuming didn't press further and burst into laughter, exclaiming that Luo Chenxue indeed had an excellent disciple. Yifeng, witnessing this reaction, felt mixed emotions, realizing that his master's father didn't mind his true identity after all. As the sun set, Yifeng and his group arrived at the Heavenly Dao Battlefield Teleportation Tower. The place was packed with people. Luo Wuming explained that even though the Heavenly Dao Battlefield was dangerous, each realm was an independent space, which reassured many. Because of this, countless individuals flocked to the battlefield in search of opportunities and resources. Hearing this, Yifeng figured that given his ability to take on 200 of his senior brothers, he must be considered quite outstanding here. To ensure his safety, he inquired if the godly wealthy guard squad could appear within the Heavenly Dao Battlefield. The system assured him they could, as the guard squad wasn't bound by the battlefield's rules. Reassured, Yifeng smirked, thinking, this system is truly impressive. Now I can explore freely. Soon after, Yifeng decided to enter the battlefield alone, leaving his newly subdued little blood to escort his master's father back to the sect. At this, Luo Wuming was ecstatic. He was eager to report to the elders that a demon who had withstood 2 Heavenly Dao Thunder tribulations had joined their sect. Surely, the Star Extreme sect would rise in prominence now. Before long, Yifeng entered the Heavenly Dao Battlefield. However, the desolation in front of him differed from his expectations. Suddenly, he heard a voice from a nearby tree. "Brother, is this your first time in the Heavenly Dao battlefield?" Yifeng responded, "Yes, it's my first time." A chubby individual named Li Fei then jumped down and asked about Yifeng's capabilities, offering to guide him as he was familiar with the battlefield. Yifeng calmly replied that he was at the peak of the Qi activation realm's 9th stage. The two stared at each other for a moment and then, as if they were old friends, decided to team up. Li Fei mused to himself, "Are you naive or just simple? You answer everything so directly. You must have a trump card to be so fearless." Yifeng was well aware that this fellow, Li Fei, was trying to take advantage of him. However, with the guard squad at his beck and call, he wasn't the least bit concerned about his safety and was in the mood for some fun. Though, thinking about it, Yifeng realized that since his transmigration, he hadn't killed anyone, which felt quite uncharacteristic for a typical transmigrator. Li Fei, buzzing with excitement, proposed, "How about this? I'll lead the way, and whatever resources we find, we'll split 50-50. Yifeng, equally thrilled, agreed immediately. Li Fei thought to himself, "I need to test his strength. If he's strong, we can team up. If he's weak, well, he can't blame me for what happens next." Li Fei then led Yifeng to a pack of ironback rats to test his strength. There were about 300 of these rats, and their strength ranged from the 5th to the 8th stage of the Qi activation realm. "Let's see what you've got," Li Fei challenged. With a sly grin, Yifeng pulled out his Earth Prisoner talisman, a major splurge on his part. The sky full of talismans dumbfounded Li Fei. "What the hell? Why do you have so many talismans? And they're all 2nd grade, 9th rank." Yifeng looked back, puzzled. "Why? To make things easier, of course." This move left Li Fei in a daze. At that moment, the iron-backed rats were in the middle of what seemed like a concert. The next second, they were bombarded by a rain of talismans, specifically Yifeng's Earth Prisoner talismans. In an instant, the rats were immobilized. Yifeng then delivered the finishing blow, wiping them out one by one as if playing a game of whack-a-mole. The scene left Li Fei utterly baffled. "Is this for real? You used 300 expensive talismans just to kill iron-backed rats. Are you hunting monsters or just squandering money?" After clearing out the rats, Yifeng turned to Li Fei. "So, brotherly, what do you think of my strength now?" Li Fei was utterly flabbergasted. Ignoring Yifeng's power for a moment, just the Earth Prisoner talisman alone was something he couldn't break without exerting his full strength. "Are you here to show off? Why the excessive display of wealth?" Li Fei muttered. As Yifeng prepared to leave, Li Fei pointed to the demon cores scattered on the ground. "Aren't you taking these cores? Even though they're from low-tier monsters, they're still valuable." Yifeng looked surprised. "Brotherly, do you really lack money that much? In that case, I'll leave these for you." Li Fei was dumbstruck. He was convinced Yifeng was just putting on an act. "You come to the Heavenly Dao battlefield, and you don't want resources? I want to see how long you'll keep up the charade." Just then, a figure zoomed towards them. "You two brats, hand over the iron-backed rat corpses if you don't want to die." Yifeng retorted nonchalantly, "Which gang do you hail from? Daring to mess with me? Finally, someone trying to rob me. I'll deal with you, punk." Yifeng then unleashed another barrage of Earth Prisoner talismans. The robber was bewildered. "Didn't you just use hundreds? How do you still have so many?" But before he could react, he was trapped. After a struggle, the robber managed to break the last talisman, but as soon as he did, he saw Yifeng clutching dozens more, smiling menacingly at him. Before he knew it, he was trapped once again. Li Fei felt a wave of relief wash over him, glad that he hadn't provoked Yifeng. Otherwise, he'd be the one trapped now. Eventually, the robber broke free again, yelling, "Relying on external tools is no measure of skill. If you're a real man, let me out, and we'll fight on equal terms." Yet, in response, Yifeng thrust a sword right at him. "You, a mere lowlife, are not worthy of facing me," Yifeng said with unabashed arrogance. Seeing Yifeng's suave demeanor, Li Fei was truly shaken. "Damn, this guy's ruthless. I was fooled by him earlier. I thought he was an innocent and kind person, but this was all a facade." The realization made Li Fei's heart race in fear. At that moment, Yifeng was incredibly hospitable, even handing over a bunch of Earth Prisoner talismans to Li Fei, telling him to use them whenever he ran into trouble. Looking at the talismans in his hand, Li Fei finally understood that Yifeng wasn't just pretending to be rich, he was genuinely wealthy. It was no wonder he didn't value monster corpses. The guy just didn't care about money. Yifeng remembered that the new day was only 5 hours away, but he still had over 9,000 talismans left. He had to use them all up quickly. Consequently, under their thoughtless throwing of talismans, they finally exhausted all of them, earning Yifeng 1,000 points and 100 enlightenment pills. Exhausted, Yifeng collapsed to the ground. It's so tiring to spend so freely. At that moment, Li Fei was smiling from ear to ear. He was truly grateful for Yifeng's talismans. The profit he made in just one night wasn't even 1/20th of what he got from using the talismans. Li Fei surmised that Yifeng must be a core disciple of a major sect and had mentally classified him as someone not to mess with. Regaining his composure, Yifeng said, "Little Fei, I won't let you work for free. Take this enlightenment pill and consume it. I'll protect you while you meditate." Li Fei looked at the pill in his hand, a dubious expression on his face. "Is this a poisonous pill? But if I don't consume it, would this lavish guy attack me with a treasure?" After some consideration, Li Fei decided to swallow the pill. After all, there was no benefit for Yifeng to harm him, and if Yifeng wanted him dead, he wouldn't need to be so elaborate. Clearly, Li Fei was no match for Yifeng. The moment he swallowed the pill, Li Fei froze. A clear, insightful feeling washed over him, prompting him to immediately sit cross-legged and begin the process of enlightenment. Yifeng protected him, ensuring no harm came his way. Truthfully, had Yifeng not received so many enlightenment pills as a reward, he wouldn't have given Li Fei one. After all, he had plans to save some for his pet dog. If the dog knew of his intentions, it would surely decline the offer, not wanting the pill. After 20 minutes, Li Fei's enlightenment came to an end. Li Fei was a bit frustrated, annoyed at himself for wasting the first 2 minutes in a daze. He then promptly knelt down and expressed his gratitude to Yifeng, promising to remember this favor and help out if Yifeng ever needed anything in the future. Curious, Yifeng asked, "Which world do you come from?" Li Fei replied that he hailed from the Heavenly Fire Realm. Yifeng was taken aback. He had never heard of the Heavenly Fire Realm. He shared that he came from the mysterious Heaven Realm. Li Fei gave an embarrassed smile. "It seems our Heavenly Fire Realm isn't that well known." He had initially initially hoped that maybe they came from the same place, making it easier to bond. But, as life would have it, there weren't so many coincidences. After some time, the duo's attention was captured by some shimmering objects in the vicinity. Li Fei, who had seen much of the world, immediately took out his pickaxe, exclaiming excitedly, "Brother Yi, we're in luck. These are low-grade spiritual crystals. Looks like there are about 200 here." Li Fei enthusiastically started mining. Yi Feng looked puzzled. That's it. He decided to give all the crystals to Li Fei. Li Fei, with a confused expression, asked, "Brother Yi, you don't want anything? Then why did you come to the Heavenly Dao battlefield?" With a nonchalant gesture, Yi Feng replied, "Just for fun and to splurge. I have lots of precious items. The Heavenly Dao battlefield doesn't really attract me." Seeing Yi Feng's casual demeanor, Li Fei had the urge to give him a good punch. Suddenly, an idea struck him. "Brother Yi, if you're looking to splurge, why not go to the Heavenly Dao City?" Yi Feng, looking intrigued, asked, "What's the Heavenly Dao City?" Li Fei began explaining. Heavenly Dao City is the most unique place in the Heavenly Dao battlefield. It's filled with countless treasures, resources, and cultivation techniques. If you have the money, you can buy anything there. It's truly a paradise for spendthrifts. And the city is governed by the laws of the Heavenly Dao, ensuring that there are no conflicts or robberies. However, to enter the Heavenly Dao City, one needed a Heavenly Dao token. I happen to have one, but it only grants access to the city for a day. Curious, Yi Feng inquired, "How did you obtain it?" Li Fei explained, "I found it by chance in some ruins. Even though I want to go, everything in Heavenly Dao City is too expensive. I'd simply be wasting my limited resources there. Since you've given me the enlightenment pill, and I don't know if we'll meet again, I'd like to offer this Heavenly Dao token as a token of my gratitude." Yi Feng asked him to wait a moment, saying, "I'm not someone who takes without giving. Here's a bottle of enlightenment pills for you." This unexpected boon left Li Fei ecstatic. He showered Yi Feng with praise. Subsequently, Yi Feng dripped his blood onto the token. Suddenly, a cloud of smoke enveloped him, taking him by surprise. With a loud pop, he vanished. Li Fei, looking quite pleased with himself, thought about how he traded a token, which was useless to him, for 13 enlightenment pills. What a great deal! Elsewhere, Yi Feng appeared out of thin air. When he took in his surroundings, he was astounded. The so-called Heavenly Dao City resembled a modern city. If not for the ancient-style clothing of the people around, Yi Feng would have thought he'd returned to his ancestral planet. He felt elated, as this modern-looking Heavenly Dao City felt like home. However, his Qi activation realm cultivation seemed to be looked down upon by the practitioners around him. They wondered what use a Qi activation realm cultivator would have in such a place. Suddenly, Yi Feng heard an argument nearby. Turning, he saw two practitioners who looked strikingly like super scions from another world bickering. Yi Feng was confused. Wasn't the Heavenly Dao City supposed to be free from conflicts? A nearby man explained, "They aren't actually fighting. They're just having a heated argument." Looking at the man, who leaned against a sedan, Yi Feng asked, "Who might you be?" The man grinned. "Need a ride? Starting at 5 Heavenly Dao points." Yi Feng realized, "So you're a cab driver?" Yi Feng, perplexed, inquired, "What are these Heavenly Dao points?" The driver looked exasperated. "You don't know what Heavenly Dao points are? Are you new here? What a waste of my time." With that, he drove off. Annoyed, Yi Feng muttered, "Was just asking a simple question. Why so temperamental?" He then headed to the Heavenly Dao Bank, assuming it's where he could exchange for Heavenly Dao points. Upon entering, he was warmly greeted. Yi Feng asked if they had Heavenly Dao points. A staff member named Money Tiger instantly recognized Yi Feng as a newcomer but didn't look down on him. He patiently explained that in Heavenly Dao City, one top-grade spiritual crystal can be exchanged for a Heavenly Dao point, and all expenses in the city require these points. Yi Feng was surprised. "That's cheap. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Noticing Money Tiger's name tag, he saw that the attendant was from the water spirit realm and was a powerful practitioner of the Tribulation Crossing realm. Money Tiger felt a bit awkward. A cultivator of the Tribulation Crossing realm serving a Qi activation realm newcomer might be laughable to others. However, working here allowed him to earn Heavenly Dao points, and working hours didn't count against the duration of his Heavenly Dao token, making it acceptable. Yi Feng, puzzled, remarked, "Aren't you wasting your time here then?" Money Tiger looked distressed. "Do you even know how to speak properly?" Unaware of the offense his words may have caused, Yi Feng prodded further, "Don't you need to cultivate, and are spiritual crystals hard to obtain in the Heavenly Dao battlefield?" His words felt like 3 consecutive blows, leaving Money Tiger speechless. Although irritated, Money Tiger suppressed his anger, intending to send Yi Feng away as soon as possible. However, Yi Feng halted him. "Wait a moment." Money Tiger braced himself, expecting trouble. To his astonishment, Yi Feng pulled out a ring containing a staggering 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals, asking him to exchange them all for Heavenly Dao points. Money Tiger's eyes widened in disbelief and greed. Instantly, his demeanor changed, and he eagerly began the exchange process. Yi Feng mused, "This world is getting more and more interesting. I should get a few more Heavenly Dao tokens next time and bring my beautiful master here to enjoy the city." Imagining the pairing of handsome men and beautiful women, he envisioned a delightful scene. Just then, Money Tiger zipped over in a flash, holding a processed card in his hand. The speed stunned Yi Feng, trying to leave a lasting impression on Yi Feng, whom he perceived as a god of wealth. Money Tiger offered to answer any questions Yi Feng might have. However, Yi Feng, uninterested, responded, "No need. I see you're busy, so I won't bother you." Money Tiger was filled with regret, internally crying out, "Don't leave, god of wealth." Afterwards, Yi Feng headed to an entertainment spot. The modern architecture around him seamlessly blended with the surroundings. He felt that Heavenly Dao City might have been the work of a traveler or someone from another world, given its modern vibe. Coming across a machine that promised merchandise of a popular idol upon participation, Yi Feng was tempted, but the moment he decided to participate, a rift suddenly opened behind him, sucking him in. The only thing left in his spot was a piece of merchandise on the ground. It turned out that Yi Feng's Heavenly Dao token had expired, sending him back to his original location in the Heavenly Dao battlefield. Feeling annoyed, Yi Feng exclaimed, "It was supposed to last a day. Li Fei, you deceiving bastard. Why did it only last half a day? Damn it, I didn't even get my merchandise." Recalling Li Fei's mention that the token was found in some ruins, Yi Feng deduced that such tokens could probably only be found there. there. He resolved to settle the score with Li Fei if they ever met again. Meanwhile, at another location, Li Fei sneezed, completely unaware he was being cursed by Yifeng. At the entrance of the Star Extreme sect, an elder dressed in a red robe stood, gazing at the activated 9-star sword formation with amazement. He couldn't understand why the Star Extreme sect had its sect protecting formation activated in broad daylight. Before long, Luo Qianqing approached. Seeing the red-robed elder, he laughed. "You old fellow, what brings you here?" Hearing Luo Qianqing's query, the red-robed elder sighed deeply, struggling to find the words to answer. For 30 full years, he had been in the Heavenly Dao battlefield and had unexpectedly obtained a Heavenly Dao token. After using it, he worked in the Heavenly Dao city for those 30 years. Through extreme thriftiness, he finally purchased 2 defensive artifacts capable of withstanding the Heavenly Dao Thunder Tribulation. However, upon returning to the Heavenly Dao battlefield, he found that only a second had passed in the outside world. He had come to explain this unbelievable occurrence to his old friend, but the story was so bizarre, he wasn't sure how to begin. Luo Qianqing gestured for him to enter, saying, "Come in, stop dawdling outside." As they were entering, Bai Gang seemed to sense something and asked Luo Qianqing, "The spiritual crystals your sect uses to maintain its protective array, are they top-grade spiritual crystals?" Seeing the astonishment on Bai Gang's face, Luo Qianqing wore a smug expression. "Correct, we use top-grade spiritual crystals to sustain the sect's protective formation. I bet you've never seen any. I'll give you a few later." Bai Gang, enraged, landed a punch on Luo Qianqing. "Have you gone mad? We've been in the Heavenly Dao battlefield for so many years. Have you ever come across a top-grade spiritual crystal? Even low-quality spiritual crystals are sufficient. How could you waste the top-grade ones? Do you even know their true value?" Luo Qianqing, rubbing his swelling cheek, replied defensively, "Was it necessary to be so aggressive?" Bai Gang then revealed the 2 defensive treasures. These 2 mini towers are incredibly powerful defensive artifacts. Each one can withstand a Heavenly Dao Thunder Tribulation. With them, I can endure up to the 7th Heavenly Dao Thunder Tribulation. This powerful treasure cost me over 3 million top-grade spiritual crystals. However, Luo Qianqing, familiar with Xiantian continent, dismissed his claims. Where in the world is there an artifact that can withstand the Heavenly Dao Thunder Tribulation? That's pure nonsense. Hearing this, Bai Gang slapped Luo Qianqing again. "What do you know? Do you even know that in the Heavenly Dao battlefield, there's an item called the Heavenly Dao token? With it, you can enter the mysterious Heavenly Dao city. There, as long as you have top-grade spiritual crystals, you're king. Even those on the verge of ascension have to bow and scrape before you." Luo Qianqing, somewhat in disbelief, replied, having spent numerous years in the Heavenly Dao battlefield himself. "So, in Heavenly Dao city, top-grade spiritual crystals are the common currency?" Bai Gang confirmed. "That's right. If you don't have top-grade spiritual crystals, you can work there. I worked in that city for a full 30 years to earn just over 3 million top-grade spiritual crystals, and when I returned, only a second had passed in the outside world." Thinking of his hard labor days in the Heavenly Dao city, Bai Gang couldn't help but shed tears. Hearing the certain tone of his old friend, Luo Qianqing immediately packed up the remaining 90 million plus top-grade spiritual crystals from his sect and asked Bai Gang to accompany him, intending to splurge in Heavenly Dao city. But Bai Gang said, "It's not possible. You need the Heavenly Dao token to enter." Luo Qianqing hadn't expected this twist, lamenting, "So much money and nowhere to spend. What a loss. What should I do with these 90 million spiritual crystals?" Upon hearing this, Bai Gang exclaimed, "What the hell? Where did you get so many top-grade spiritual crystals from?" Meanwhile, in the Heavenly Dao battlefield, Li Fei was strolling along. For some reason, he felt like he was hearing things. Why did it sound like Yifeng's voice? Just then, a loud call of Li Fei echoed, confirming to Li Fei that it was Yifeng calling out to him. Turning around, he saw Yifeng rushing towards him. Li Fei greeted with a big smile. "Brother Yi, I've missed you so much." However, Yifeng's expression was filled with anger. "Good, stand right there and wait for me." Li Fei was puzzled. "What's going on? I don't think I've offended Brother Yi." Unaware of the impending danger, Li Fei greeted Yifeng with joy, only to be met with a thrusting sword. Thanks to his agility despite his size, he managed to dodge it. Confused, he asked, "Why are you doing this? Weren't we sworn brothers who've been through life and death together?" Yifeng, seething with rage, shouted, "You fatso, I've been looking for you for ages. How dare you deceive me? The Heavenly Dao token only lasted for half a day." As Li Fei dodged and evaded, he tried to explain to Yifeng, "I really didn't know it would only last half a day. When I found the ancient ruins, there were dead bodies everywhere. Only one severely wounded man was still alive, and he was tightly holding the Heavenly Dao token." Li Fei paused, a hint of embarrassment on his face. "I used some unsavory methods to extract information about Heavenly Dao city from him and took the Heavenly Dao token. Either he lied to me or he believed all Heavenly Dao tokens last a day." Hearing Li Fei's thorough explanation, Yifeng finally halted his attack. "Fine, I'll trust you this once, you chubby rascal." Curious, Li Fei inquired, "Brother Yi, what did you do during that half day? What kind of place is Heavenly Dao city?" Instead of answering immediately, Yifeng posed another question. "Does your realm have technology?" Scratching his head, Li Fei was completely baffled by the term. "Since you don't know what technology is, it's hard for me to explain certain things to you. But remember this, if you ever want to go to Heavenly Dao city, keep your top-grade spiritual crystals. They are extremely important there, and it must be top-grade." Just then, Yifeng noticed that today's luxury items had been refreshed. It was Death Sword Intent Fragment, 10,000 pieces. Another Sword Intent Fragment? If only Doggy were here. As he mused, Yifeng suddenly turned to Li Fei, casually asking, "Are you a sword cultivator?" Li Fei denied, "I don't want to be a sword cultivator. They have it tough, practicing with their swords all day long." Hearing this, Yifeng broke into a grin. "You don't like sword cultivation, huh?" Seeing the odd glint in Yifeng's eyes and his airy smile, Li Fei felt a wave of unease and swallowed hard. Recognizing the fragments in Yifeng's hand, he deduced his intentions, leading to a comical chase. "Don't run!" Yifeng shouted, and the scene felt oddly familiar. "Brother Yi, please don't do this. I really don't want to be a sword cultivator," Li Fei protested. But Yifeng persistently fed Li Fei one Death Sword Intent Fragment after another. Li Fei felt numb. He really didn't want to be a sword cultivator, but he didn't dare to resist. persist, letting Yifeng continue the feeding. Finally, after the last fragment was assimilated, Yifeng has spent all his extravagant purchases for today. He had accumulated over 5,800 spendthrift points. Sweating profusely, Li Fei said, "Brother Yi, giving me all these sword intent fragments, isn't it a waste? I'm really not cut out for sword cultivation." To prove his point, he swung his hand, unintentionally wiping out a flock of innocent grazing sheep with a loud boom. Stunned, Li Fei was speechless. He was far stronger than he imagined. Realizing the implications of this newfound strength, he grew anxious about returning to his sect. If his master discovered his power, he'd be forced into sword cultivation, ending his carefree lifestyle. Yifeng chuckled. "Don't thank me, brother Li Fei. This is all part of your destiny. Your sword intent has reached its peak, and you could break through to the sword heart realm at any moment." Recalling how his sect leader, renowned for having the strongest comprehension skills in centuries, took hundreds of years to achieve the sword heart realm, Li Fei nearly broke into tears. If his leader discovered his current capabilities, he'd surely be dissected for study. Though bitter inside, Li Fei could only nod and thank Yifeng, but he remained puzzled. "Why didn't you use them for yourself, brother Yi?" Yifeng replied with confidence, "I'm not a sword cultivator. Why would I need it?" Stunned, Li Fei retorted, "If you don't need it because you're not a sword cultivator, then neither do I. I'm not one either." Yifeng then instructed Li Fei to unleash his sword intent. "From now on, let's move freely across the second layer of the heavenly Dao battlefield," he declared, promptly conjuring 10 huge 9 Radiance Thunder Lotuses. Witnessing the appearance of the 9 Radiance Thunder Lotuses, Li Fei exclaimed in surprise, "This is the exclusive martial art technique of my Thunderclap sect. How do you know it, brother Yi?" Yifeng, looking puzzled, responded, "So you're familiar with this technique?" Li Fei remembered it very clearly. Having both lightning and fire spiritual roots, he had struggled for a month trying to learn this technique without success. Yifeng pondered for a moment. "No one in the Star Extreme sect knows of this technique. They assumed it was a high-ranked art I created myself. It seems that the system's skill database doesn't just have techniques from the Xiantian continent, but from other worlds too." Excited by this revelation, Yifeng felt even more motivated. He then decided to hunt peak-level beasts of the Qi activation realm to complete the system's task of killing 100 beasts. Together, Yifeng and Li Fei began to sweep through the second layer of the heavenly Dao battlefield, collecting numerous resources along the way. Any cultivator they encountered, sensing Li Fei's sword intent and the 9 Radiance Thunder Lotuses trailing Yifeng, avoided them entirely. No one dared challenge them, fearing they'd be obliterated with a mere gesture. Seeing the fearful expressions of other cultivators around them gave Li Fei an exhilarating feeling. Although he had been to the heavenly Dao battlefield many times before, none of those experiences had ever been this thrilling. "Anyone who dares to disrespect me will face consequences," Li Fei thought. "Brother Yi, where are you coming back to the heavenly Dao battlefield? We should plan to meet up. Maybe we'll run into each other again." Yifeng responded, "Sure, but the next time I come, I'll be heading to the third battlefield." Hearing this, Li Fei was taken aback. "Brother Yi, does that mean you're showing signs of breaking through? Are you planning to directly advance to the merging spirit realm once you're back?" "Signs of breaking through? What's that?" Yifeng replied smugly. "Either I don't break through, or I shoot straight to the peak of the merging spirit realm's 9th level." Changing the topic, let's not dwell on that. The 5 beasts of the Qi activation realm's 9th peak level ahead are mine. You can take the rest. Without waiting for a response, Yifeng directed his 9 Radiance Thunder Lotuses towards the beasts. His spiritual energy was unleashed like an unending barrage, bombarding the creatures one after another like a long-range bomber. The beasts were defeated without even seeing their attacker. Stunned, Li Fei remarked, "Brother Yi, at this rate, I won't even get a chance to act." And when he saw Yifeng conjure another 10 Thunder Lotuses, his astonishment grew. "Brother Yi, just how vast is your spiritual sea?" Onlookers, noticing that Li Fei didn't use his sword intent or even hold a sword, were baffled. Some speculated that the beasts weren't worthy of his swordplay, thinking, "Who would have thought this chubby guy was so arrogant? One really can't judge a book by its cover." Exasperated, Li Fei exclaimed, "I'm not a sword cultivator. I only have sword intent." 2 days later, Yifeng had successfully slain 100 beasts of the Qi activation realm's 9th peak level and earned 5,000 splurge points, bringing his total to just over 10,000. Excitedly, Yifeng remarked, "Finally broke 10,000. System, you see how this chubby guy has been running around for me these past 2 days? I think it's only appropriate to reward him. Giving him 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones isn't too much, right?" Wanting to splurge since it had been a while, Yifeng was eager to test it out. The system responded that considering the individual possesses the extreme death sword intent, the host's proposed amount was reasonable. At this moment, Li Fei spoke with a hint of reluctance. "Brother Yi, I've been in the heavenly Dao battlefield for almost 2 months. According to the rules of my sect, I must return to the heavenly fire realm. Your sect has such regulations about time?" Yifeng was somewhat puzzled by this. Li Fei explained, "If someone doesn't return after 2 months, the sect assumes they've died outside. Most sects in various realms have similar rules." Understanding this, Yifeng didn't insist on Li Fei staying. He then handed over 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones to him. "You've worked hard these past few days. Take these spiritual stones. We'll meet again if fate allows." With that, he waved goodbye. Watching Yifeng's departing figure, Li Fei made a fist salute, his expression filled with gratitude. "Brother Yi, you are my savior, until our paths cross again." Yifeng felt a pang of emotion. After spending time together, he was now alone again. Due to his successful splurging, the system rewarded him with 10,000 fragments of death sword intent. "Why are you giving me these now that the chubby guy has left?" Yifeng lamented. "Even if I were to splurge with these system rewards, I won't earn any splurge points. I guess I'll have to use them myself." With that thought, he began integrating the fragments. However, not far from Yifeng, about a few hundred meters away, a group of cultivators had gathered. Seeing that the chubby sword cultivator was gone, they started to harbor ill intentions towards Yifeng. Coupled with the fact that Yifeng hadn't been seen replenishing his spiritual energy for days, they assumed that he was out of energy. A young man with light hair, displaying a sinister expression, proposed to the gathered cultivators, regardless of which realm's genius he hails from, "Many of us are ordinary cultivators. Now we have a golden opportunity opportunity to slay such a genius. Would you truly want to miss it? The gathered crowd felt a jolt of excitement. An opportunity to kill a prodigy like Yifeng was tempting. Denying any interest would be a lie. In a decisive tone, the white-haired young man questioned, to kill or not to kill? This opportunity won't present itself again. When the crowd heard the words of the white-haired youth, excitement was evident on their faces as they made their decision. As hundreds of cultivators charged toward him, Yifeng wasn't surprised. On the contrary, he felt they took their time. By now, he had already integrated all the sword intent fragments. It was a perfect time to demonstrate the ultimate sword intent. Yifeng began stretching, puzzling the attackers. But in the next instant, an overwhelming sword intent emanated from Yifeng, with the terrifying aura of death sweeping around. As this suffocating death aura enveloped them, fear painted every face. They realized he had sword intent. Everyone wanted to flee, but the oppressive aura paralyzed them, leaving them without the will to fight back. The white-haired youth was dumbfounded and began to regret his decision. Do you wish to kill me? Yifeng's voice, cold and detached, pierced the silence. Behind him, a series of 9 radiance thunder lotus flowers began forming. Although the white-haired youth attempted to rally his troops, he was met with scorn from his allies. Soon, hundreds of thunder lotus flowers gathered around Yifeng. It's too late to run now, said Yifeng with a chilling tone. Then, under the fearful gazes of the attackers, the thunder lotus flowers struck. In that moment, Yifeng was like a god, an unstoppable force. Looking at the bodies strewn across the ground, he didn't show much emotion. This was the fantastical world he knew. He might be a spendthrift, but he certainly wasn't a saint. If they were enemies, then death was their fate. Dragon Fist, are you from the mysterious heaven realm? As Yifeng was about to leave, a youthful voice halted him. Turning, he asked who she was. A cute-looking little girl came into view. My name is Luo Yao Yao from the 10,000 Flower Valley. You seem to have a hard fight just now. The little girl giggled. Yeah, Yifeng's response was simply, never heard of it. Luo Yao Yao huffed. Are you really from the mysterious heaven realm? Which insignificant sect do you belong to? And you didn't even mention your name, whereas I told you mine. Yifeng didn't feel like entertaining her antics. Why should I tell you anything? He retorted, then turned to leave. However, Luo Yao Yao seemed determined to follow him, bombarding him with questions. Could it be that you're an independent cultivator without a sect? What are you looking for in the heavenly Dao battlefield? You can ask me. I might know something. She kept chattering. In warning, Yifeng snapped. If you don't leave, I'll have to kill you. Yet Luo Yao Yao remained undeterred and brimming with confidence. I am at the peak of the original spirit realm's 9th level, but I've suppressed my cultivation using a secret treasure. If you lay a hand on me, dear average brother, you'll die. Yifeng was taken aback by her claim. He discreetly inquired from his system, is what this little girl saying true? Is there really a treasure that can deceive the heavenly Dao battlefield? The system swiftly replied, confirming her statement and pointing out the treasure as the purple hairpin on her head. Yifeng's surprise was evident. How old is she? To have the cultivation of the original spirit realm's 9th level peak at her age. She's as strong as my master, Luo Qianxue. After pondering for a while, he introduced himself. I'm Yifeng from the Star Soul sect. Now that you know what you wanted, stop bothering me. Luo Yao Yao giggled in response. Never heard of it. What kind of average sect is that? But your name does sound nice. Actually, I was just trying to scare you earlier. I don't really have the original spirit realm's 9th level peak cultivation. Yifeng felt exasperated. Not again, he thought. Looking back at her, he challenged. If you're telling the truth, throw away the hairpin. Upon hearing Yifeng's words, Luo Yao Yao's expression changed. How did he figure out about the hairpin? It never slipped off, nor did it leak any spiritual energy. Perhaps I've underestimated him, she thought. I've never heard of the Star Soul sect you mentioned, so it must be some minor sect. I was actually interested in your talent and wanted you to join the Star Extreme sect. You've heard of Star Extreme sect, right? Yifeng paused upon hearing this. As Luo Yao Yao continued to make her proposition, she said, if you switch to Star Extreme sect, I can assure you'll become a core disciple. She had her own calculations. The man in front of her had a 4-element spiritual root, an incredibly vast spiritual sea within him, high comprehension skills, and was on the verge of breaking into the Sword Heart realm. In the future, he might even rank in the top 3 of a hidden dragon list. She believed he was too valuable a talent to let go. Yifeng, connecting some dots, suddenly asked, do you know Luo Qianxue? At this, Luo Yao Yao looked surprised. You know my sister? Meanwhile, far away at Star Soul sect, Luo Qianxue sneezed. Why do I feel like someone's talking about me today? Both Yifeng and Luo Yao Yao were taken aback by the sudden revelation. An exasperated oh my god escaped Yifeng's lips. If Luo Qianxue is my master, then doesn't that make you my junior master? You're my sister's disciple. So, Star Soul sect is a sect founded by my sister? Not just Yifeng, but even Luo Yao Yao was flabbergasted. 10 minutes later, after Yifeng explained the situation, Luo Yao Yao was astounded once more. How can someone be my sister's personal core disciple, and also a core disciple, an honorary elder of Star Extreme sect? Should I call you Junior or Elder Yi? Yifeng chuckled mischievously. Let's stick to our own terms. I'll call you Junior Master, and you call me Elder. I don't want to, protested Luo Yao Yao. Ignoring her protest, Yifeng cheekily advanced and said, Junior Master, let this elder pinch your cheeks. Seeing the fiery look in her eyes, Yifeng felt quite satisfied. He pondered over what to gift his junior master on their first meeting. Giving spiritual stones seemed too plain, while the enlightenment pill was an option. It felt too casual, like giving candy. Should he gift the golden silkworm star shining stone, or the 9-leaf soul returning herb, or perhaps the essence blood of the purple thunder mad lion? Recalling the treasures he possessed, Yifeng looked at Luo Yao Yao and asked directly, Junior Master, are you a body cultivator? Yes, I am. How did you find out? Surprised. It seemed to her that Yifeng had a knack for uncovering her secrets. Just wait, she threatened. I'll tell my sister about this and get justice. However, her words trailed off when she saw the beast essence blood in Yifeng's hand, emitting a powerful aura. Her eyes, usually lively as if they could speak, were now fixated on the essence blood. Yifeng explained that it was the essence blood of the purple thunder mad lion great demon fairy, which had endured 9 heavenly Dao thunder tribulations. He originally intended to give her a drop in exchange for pinching her cheek, but seeing her reluctance, he decided against it. Before he could finish his words, Luo Yao Yao dashed over over to him at top speed, grabbed his hand, and placed it on her cheek herself. Yifeng couldn't help but laugh at her adorable expression. He handed over the great demon fairy blood to her. He then started pondering again. If his junior master is a body cultivator, could she also be a refining master? This quirky junior master might be a handful. If he didn't handle her properly now, he might find himself in big trouble in the future. Upon thinking, Yifeng clumsily dropped a golden silkworm star shining stone on the ground, just as he anticipated. This action caught Luo Yaoyao's attention. Her astonishment was evident when she saw the star shining stone. Recognizing her familiarity, Yifeng asked, "Junior master, do you recognize this?" She quickly nodded, affirming her knowledge. Sensing an opportunity, Yifeng teased, "Do you want it?" Luo Yaoyao's head bobbed up and down rapidly, showing her keen interest. However, in a playful manner, Yifeng swiftly stashed the star shining stone back into his system space and cheekily grinned, saying, "I'm not giving it to you." With feigned indignation, she started pounding on his chest, but Yifeng overlooked a critical point. This little girl was a body cultivator. Those seemingly playful punches soon left him coughing up blood, looking as if he had lost the will to live. Baffled, Luo Yaoyao asked, "How did someone with your mediocre strength become my sister's direct disciple? And how did you get to be an honorary elder?" Putting on an ostentatious display, Yifeng replied, "Because I'm rich. I paid 500,000 high-quality spiritual stones to your sister for the title of her direct disciple, and I spent 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals plus the secret manual of the 9-star sword formation to buy the title of honorary elder from the sect." Hearing this, Luo Yaoyao wondered if her ears were playing tricks on her. "You can buy these titles?" Just as they were talking, a disdainful voice rang out from nearby. "Ridiculous. Have you ever even seen a top-grade spiritual crystal? You speak of 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals so casually. Do you even comprehend the gravity of such a number?" It was Huayuman, the valley master of 10,000 Flower Valley. Seeing Yifeng's flippant demeanor, she threw out a contract, challenging, "If you can produce 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals right now, this valley master will take you as her master on the spot. How about adding another esteemed title to your name?" Witnessing the tense situation, Luo Yaoyao quickly stepped in to clarify, "Elder Yi, my master dislikes people who exaggerate. Don't take it personally. She means no harm. And master, why are you bringing out the contract again? Stop causing a scene." Huayuman retorted, "I just can't stand his bragging." And Luo Yaoyao, "Open your eyes wide. Don't let these jerks fool you." Caught in a bind, Luo Yaoyao tried to mediate. "Master, he is the honorary elder of my Star Extreme sect. Please don't berate him any further." Ignoring her plea, Huamanyu persisted, "What if he's an honorary elder? I still need to keep him in check." Yifeng's expression grew increasingly stern under Huayuman's relentless assault. Turning to Luo Yaoyao, he said, "Junior master, your master is being exceedingly overbearing. I cannot take this disrespect." With that, he produced a spatial ring filled with 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals and threw it at Huayuman. With a cold smirk, he added, "Good disciple, consider these 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals as a gift for our first meeting." With a scoff, Huayuman retorted, "I'd like to see how you're going to pretend." She began examining the contents of the spatial ring. At the same time, Yifeng's face-slapping maneuver was deemed successful, earning him rewards: 10 golden silkworm star shining stones, 100 drops of purple thunder mad lion essence blood, and 5 sword heart advancement fragments. Yifeng was somewhat taken aback. "So there are rewards for showing off and face-slapping? It seems the system has many hidden features I haven't discovered." As Huamanyu inspected the spatial ring and saw the vast number of top-grade spiritual crystals, she was left dumbfounded. However, Yifeng wasn't done showing off yet. "Don't think I only have those measly spiritual crystals." After that, Yifeng took out the star shining stone, great demon fairy blood, 9-leaf soul returning herb, sword heart advancement fragment, and more, leaving the master-disciple pair completely stunned. Furthermore, Yifeng started utilizing them right away. This item is called sword heart advancement fragment. If your sword intent comprehension reaches its peak, by absorbing the power within, you can break through directly to the sword heart realm. Saying this, he merged the fragment into his body. In an instant, an overwhelming sword intent erupted, signifying the formation of the sword heart realm. Witnessing this, disbelief filled Huayuman's eyes. Eventually, she admitted defeat and became Yifeng's disciple. However, she clarified that this only represented her personally and didn't involve the 10,000 Flower Valley. Luo Yaoyao was utterly baffled by now. How did my master get connected with Yifeng? If Yifeng becomes my master's master, wouldn't that make him my grandmaster? Huamanyu promptly offered the contract and respectfully greeted Yifeng as her new master. At this point, Yifeng received system rewards for gaining a new disciple: 100 strands of ghost enchantment grass, 100 branches of withered soul twig, 100 blooms of 5 poisons fragrance flower, and 100 portions of soul burning bamboo water. Soon after, the system reminded him, "You should pass down the excellent tradition of spending lavishly to your disciples. Based on how much your disciples splurge, the system will grant rewards." Seeing this, Yifeng smirked, "I didn't expect there to be rewards for taking in disciples. And there are even rewards when the disciples spend lavishly? Then I should gather more disciples in the future to benefit from their spendings." Indeed, the system has many hidden features. The prodigal master has a unique way of teaching his apprentice. Faced with his apprentice's frugality, he is determined to teach the essence of being a spendthrift to his apprentice. At this moment, Yifeng has doubts about the recent reward. Why does the name sound like something highly poisonous? Is 10,000 Flower Valley a faction that studies poison? Do you guys recognize this? Saying this, Yifeng takes out a ghost bewitching grass from the system space. When Huayuman and Luo Yaoyao see the poisonous spiritual herb appearing in Yifeng's hand, they both exclaim in surprise. They had seen this item in their secret texts. They didn't expect to see it here. With ghost bewitching grass, their bodies of myriad poisons will level up. Huayuman, today you become my first disciple, which means you will be the future senior sister. You should know our sect rules. Saying this, Yifeng takes out all the remaining 99 ghost bewitching grass. Huayuman is stunned. How do you have so much ghost bewitching grass? You should know that in 10,000 Flower Valley, apart from the third valley master from tens of thousands of years ago, no one has seen it. Elder Yi, have you been to other sects sex as well? Luo Yaoyao asks, looking utterly confused. Yifeng says, consider it my personal rules, but I don't plan to establish a sect. In the future, my prodigal sect's disciples will be spread across the entire mystical heaven continent and even across thousands of lower realms. Just then, the system appears. Due to Yifeng successfully creating prodigal sect, he receives 100,000 prodigal points, activating sect-wide telepathic communication and teleportation features. I've worked hard to save just over 10,000 and didn't expect that creating a sect would grant me 100,000 points. The system begins to explain the telepathic communication feature. Any disciple of the host can communicate telepathically with the host, no matter their location. The host can also issue commands to the disciples. As for the teleportation feature, the host can directly teleport to the disciple's side. Each disciple can be teleported to once a day, with a maintenance time of 1 hour. Afterward, they will automatically be teleported back to the original location. Suddenly, Yifeng thinks of a key point. If the disciples I take on are from other realms, does that mean I can go to other realms as well? Upon hearing Yifeng's words, Hua Yuman shows an extremely awkward expression. She doesn't even dare to mention the name of this second sect. Prodigal sect? Saying that name out loud would be a joke. Yet, Yifeng looks at Hua Yuman very seriously. Hua Yuman, as the senior sister of the sect, you must fully understand the sect's rules. I ask you, what do you plan to do with this ghost bewitching grass after I give it to you? Hua Yuman looks confused. Is this even a question? Apart from what Luo Yaoyao and I need for cultivation, the remaining ghost bewitching grass will definitely not be used in 10,000 Flower Valley without Master's permission. I will certainly keep them safe for Master. However, upon hearing this, Yifeng shouts out in frustration, calling her foolish. What do you mean keep them safe? We are the prodigal sect. How do you not even understand the essence of the name? These things are meant to be used. What's the point of hiding them? At this moment, Yifeng is utterly exasperated and blurting out a big what the hell. At this point, Hua Yuman feels utterly despondent. She is the Valley Master of 10,000 Flower Valley, and yet she's being scolded by this young guy. Yifeng then approaches with the ghost bewitching grass, asking if she's afraid of its poison. Hua Yuman says that she and Yao Yao are cultivating bodies that can handle all kinds of poison, so the toxicity of the ghost bewitching grass is actually beneficial for them. However, Yao Yao is young and can't absorb too much at once. Yet, Yifeng isn't asking them to absorb it, but suggests they use it to soak their feet before going to sleep. If they're tired and weary, shouldn't they use a few to take a bath? If cultivation feels dull and frustrating, shouldn't they tear up a few to vent their emotions? It looks like you're not qualified to be a senior sister yet. I'll have to put in extra effort to teach you. Hua Yuman asks in confusion. If we do as you say, Master, 100 ghost bewitching grass wouldn't last for more than a few days. Yet again, she is reprimanded by Yifeng. If you run out, then you'll just use something else. What's the point of these useless trinkets? Both the master and disciple are stunned by the rare items. You call these useless trinkets? Yao Yao incredulously asks Hua Yuman. She remembers only reading about these items, which are all rare poisonous spiritual herbs and poisonous spiritual water. Hua Yuman is also dumbfounded. The books say they exist in the heavenly Dao battlefield. Even 10,000 Flower Valley doesn't have any in stock. At this moment, Yifeng proudly declares, these are for you to squander as you see fit. If there are good things next time, I'll continue to give them to you to squander. Also, the 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals I gave you before, make sure you spend them. Increase the treatment for the disciples of 10,000 Flower Valley by tenfold, by whatever resources you lack, and remember not to haggle. We, the prodigal sect, can't afford to lose face, but squandering doesn't mean being a fool. Do you understand? Hua Yuman is encountering this kind of situation for the first time, and she's been confused throughout the whole process. Yifeng truly has an expression that says, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. He then grants her the sect's transmission and teleportation abilities. After that, Yifeng communicates with her through his divine consciousness. This shocks Hua Yuman even more, as she thinks of the transmission ability as a divine technique. At this point, Hua Yuman starts to get it. I have to squander money. Go all out and squander money. Find all ways to squander money. Damn it, I can't hold back anymore. Seeing this, Yifeng's eyes light up. Yes, that's the spirit. Finally, you get it. Hua Yuman seriously tells Yifeng, Master, rest assured, I will definitely uphold the sect's principles and carry forward the spirit of extravagance. Actually, it's not that Hua Yuman has just come to understand, but rather she has always wanted to live lavishly. She was just constrained by her lack of strength before. Luo Yaoyao is left speechless by these two. How did the once penny-pinching miser suddenly become so agreeable? Have they both gone crazy? What should I do? Should I go along with them? At this moment, Yifeng is extremely excited. He seems to see an extravagant future without limit. In the future, extravagance needs not be many, but should be refined. And as for Li Fei, he can only wait for destiny to bring them together again, and then he will recruit him into the prodigal sect. Yifeng then grins mischievously at Luo Yaoyao. The meaning is quite clear. Now, my status is higher than yours. Luo Yaoyao absolutely refuses. She won't call Yifeng her grandmaster. To win over Luo Yaoyao, Yifeng directly takes out 100 million high-quality spiritual stones for her, letting her squander them as she wishes. If she uses them up, he will give her 10 drops of great demon fairy blood. Hua Yuman also tells her to accept it. So, Luo Yaoyao reluctantly accepts the spiritual stones, stubbornly declaring that it doesn't mean Yifeng has won. Yifeng smiles knowingly. Little junior sister-in-law is really easy to handle. At this point, Hua Yuman says they have to leave the battlefield, as the secret treasure can only suppress their cultivation for 10 days, and today is the last day. Blushing, Yao Yao tells Yifeng to wait for her at the Star Extreme sect, as she will go to find him soon. Seeing this, Yifeng says goodbye to them. However, at this point, Yifeng also prepares to leave. There's nothing left for him to do here. He realizes that his status is becoming increasingly chaotic. His little junior sister-in-law sometimes calls him big brother, sometimes elder, or sometimes nephew. What should his master call him in the future? Before leaving, Yao Yao makes a face at Yifeng. Yifeng can only awkwardly take it. Now with 100,000 prodigal points, Yifeng decides to return and first raise his strength to the merging spirit realm. Soon, Yifeng returns to the outside world, but he doesn't know where he has emerged. Meanwhile, 3,000 kilometers away is the location location of the Star Soul sect. Inside the main hall of the Star Soul sect, Luo Qianxue is incredibly surprised. Uncle Luo, why have you come? Luo Kai immediately plays the family card. Qianxue, when you were young and needed anything, didn't I get it for you? I've been good to you, haven't I? Luo Qianxue nods in agreement. Luo Kai then awkwardly says, look, your uncle is old now and doesn't want to wander alone anymore. Could you arrange for me to become an elder in your sect? Luo Qianxue internally rolls her eyes. Who is the one saying they love the freedom of a solitary life? Old Xia also steps up. If you're looking for a home, why come to the sect master? Her newly established sect already has more elders than disciples. Luo Qianxue helplessly says, Uncle Luo, you're a fourth-layer tribulation crossing realm expert. Coming to my sect might be beneath you. Luo Kai thick-skinnedly responds, I don't mind. Just then, a great demonic aura arrives. Everyone's face turns serious, thinking a demon is causing trouble. However, they find out that it's a group of familiar people. Luo Qianxue looks at them speechlessly. Why have you all come here? And who is that terrifying demon? It turns out to be several core disciples from the Star Extreme sect. They say they've come under orders and will be staying at the Star Soul sect from now on. Luo Qianxue is somewhat bewildered. Why have you all also come to the Star Soul sect? Faced with the arrival of the core disciples, Luo Qianxue decisively rejects them. You all are the future of the Star Extreme sect. It's too risky for you to stay here. If something happens to the core disciples, what will the Star Extreme sect do? You should hurry back to the Star Extreme sect. However, upon saying this, the room falls silent. Chen Haoyu states, it's not up to us. The sect master has told us, wherever the junior brother is, we will be too. Luo Qianxue pauses. Who is this junior brother? I wasn't aware of a new member joining. It's Yifeng. They reply, Saintus, you might not know, but the junior brother fought alone against 200 disciples of the same realm and Star Extreme sect. The 5 ancestral elders have named him the sect's 6th core disciple. The mantis woman steps forward, assuring Luo Qianxue that no one would dare cause trouble with her around. Confused, Luo Qianxue asks, and who are you? Though she doesn't know why the woman blushes, Chen Haoyu explains, she is the bloodthirsty mantis, an entity that has already crossed 2 heavenly Dao thunder tribulations. She's at the peak of the 9th layer in the tribulation crossing realm. Junior brother Yifeng caught her casually on the way here. With her around, we can ensure our safety. Upon hearing this, Luo Qianxue can already imagine the situation. She then turns to Luo Kai. Uncle Luo, you didn't also come because of my prodigal disciple, did you? Luo Kai stammers, unsure of how to respond. Seeing his reaction, Luo Qianxue understands. What on earth has my good disciple been up to? First, old Xia from the Tianyu auction house arrived. Then Uncle Luo shows up, and now he's even managed to bring along the 5 prodigies from the Star Extreme sect. He even tamed a peak 9th layer tribulation crossing realm demon. What else is he planning to bring? Just then, Chen Haoyu discreetly pulls Luo Qianxue aside, informing her that she can't blame the junior brother. Although he is your personally taught chief disciple, he has now been given the title of honorary elder by the ancestors. Even if your father sees him, he'll have to address him as Elder Yi. Luo Qianxue is shocked. When did the Star Extreme sect create this position, and how did Yifeng get it? Chen Haoyu asks her to keep her voice down. The sect master said that it's Elder Yi who bought the position, but we don't know how much he paid, and the sect master insisted on keeping it confidential. Luo Qianxue feels numb, wondering how prodigal her disciple could be. Just then, her jade pendant for mental communication rings. She knows it's her sister calling. Why do you have time to chat with your sister? A voice comes through the pendant. Sister, what do you call the master of my master? Grandmaster, right? Luo Qianxue's puzzled voice reaches Yao Yao. You haven't contacted me for months, and you're asking me this? If he's your grandmaster, he's naturally mine too. Luo Yao Yao grins. Well, sorry then, sister. Your chief disciple is now my grandmaster. I'm giving you a heads up in advance. He probably hasn't returned yet, so don't blame him. Luo Yao Yao seems quite pleased with herself, and upon hearing this, Luo Qianxue breaks her jade pendant in frustration. But Yao Yao's voice continues. By the way, my master, Hua Yuman, has also become his disciple. He's established his own prodigal sect and took my master as his chief disciple. I'll be visiting with my master to see grandmaster soon. Please prepare some delicious food for me. Upon hearing these last words, Luo Qianxue can no longer hold back, and a powerful aura bursts forth. She completely fails to understand how the valley master of the prestigious 10,000 Flower Valley could become the disciple of someone still in the Qi activation realm. My good disciple, what on earth have you done? At this point, Luo Qianxue has no choice but to accept the situation, allowing Luo Kai and several core disciples to stay. However, she makes it clear that she won't provide any resources or assistance. Seeing the infuriated Saintess, Chen Haoyu quickly assures her that they don't need any resources, just to remain alive. Upon hearing this, Luo Qianxue instructs old Xia to arrange for them. After everyone disperses, old Bai inquires about what exactly is going on. With a resigned expression, Luo Qianxue replies, I don't know, the whole sect is in chaos. Let's wait until Yifeng returns. Old Bai decides it's best to help his young mistress calm down, thinking, after all this help, Yifeng, you'd better give me a 9-leaf soul returning herb. Meanwhile, in a small town, Yifeng walks along, shivering inexplicably. What's strange about this? Why is it so cold in broad daylight? He has inquired about the distance. It's more than 300 kilometers to Star Extreme sect. If only I knew how to fly on a sword. It'll take more than 20 days just to reach Star Extreme sect, let alone Star Soul sect. I need to find a solution. Just then, he notices a fortune teller, an old man claiming to be the best seer under heaven. Most people, even Yifeng, assume the man is a scam artist. What they don't know is that the old man's actual identity is Elder Zhou Tong of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Though skeptical, Yifeng decides to have his fortune read to pass the time. Zhou Tong agrees, but insists that Yifeng treat him to a meal first. They go to an inn where Yifeng treats the old man to a hearty meal. After eating for half an hour, Zhou Tong is fully satisfied and ready to tell Yifeng's fortune, requesting a drop of fresh blood from him. Upon hearing this, Yifeng becomes even more convinced that the man is a charlatan, but he complies and gives him a drop of fresh blood. Zhou Tong takes it and begins his divination. A mysterious aura envelopes him, and after a moment, an alert appears on Yifeng's system. Special force trying to access host's fate. Antivirus function activated. activated. Suddenly, a bolt of heavenly thunder strikes Zhou Tong, numbing him. Yifeng is utterly astonished. This guy isn't a fraud after all. He even triggered the system's antivirus function. Impressive. Zhou Tong, now with a bald head due to the shock, looks at Yifeng in terror, not knowing what to say. Yifeng also feels extremely awkward, having accidentally scorched the man's hair off. I apologize, senior. It's due to some special circumstances of mine that your soul was severely damaged. Zhou Tong reflects on what just happened, puzzled by the overwhelming force that nearly destroyed his soul. He only intended to use the heavenly mystery secret art to see Yifeng's fortunes and misfortunes for the coming month. Yifeng also feels uneasy. He can't disclose the system, so he just attributes it to his special circumstances. Stay away. Let me recover first, says Zhou Tong. Seeing this, Yifeng pulls out a 9-leaf soul-returning herb. Senior, I happen to have this spiritual herb, which should help you recover. Upon seeing the 9-leaf soul-returning herb, Zhou Tong is deeply shocked, but declines Yifeng's offer. This is too precious for me. Better to sell it to a 9th-grade alchemist. He then earnestly warns Yifeng, if you don't have the power to protect yourself, carrying this precious spiritual herb could attract fatal trouble. Yifeng hadn't expected this. Not only does this old charlatan have skills, but he's also a pretty decent person. Since that's the case, I'll give him one as a token of my gratitude. Yifeng then hands over the 9-leaf soul-returning herb to Zhou Tong, assuring him that he knows the value of the spiritual herb and that he should just use it without worry. Otherwise, I'll just use it to soak my feet. At this point, Zhou Tong accepts the herb and chomps it down in front of Yifeng, much like an old cow grazing. Just then, Yifeng's system rewards him. Due to the host uncovering 2 hidden features, you are specially awarded 10,000 prodigal points, 100 9-leaf soul-returning herbs, and 100 heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pills. Yifeng is astonished. These rewards for uncovering hidden features are quite generous. I wonder what other functionalities will yield. And this heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pill sounds extraordinary. Definitely not the same as the generic enlightenment pills I've encountered before. An hour passes before Zhou Tong finishes gnawing down the soul-returning herb, and by now, he's recovered about 90% of his health. If those old guys knew that I ate such a legendary spiritual herb raw, they'd probably beat me to death, he muses. Hearing about the 90% recovery, Yifeng wonders if one soul-returning herb wasn't enough. He then lays out 5 more soul-returning herbs for Zhou Tong. Senior, if your soul isn't fully healed yet, please continue eating. Don't be polite. If you don't eat them, I'll just use them to soak my feet. Zhou Tong is again shocked by this. You'd actually use such precious items to soak your feet? That's absolutely insane. However, a moment later, the two of them embark on a foot-soaking journey. Yifeng opines, in one's life, if there's enjoyment to be had, one should fully indulge. Zhou Tong completely agrees with Yifeng's philosophy at this point. You're absolutely right. This is how life should be lived. However, he still feels a bit guilty inside. Eating the soul-returning herb is one thing, but using it to soak our feet is almost sinful. My smelly feet don't deserve this. Yifeng then asks about Zhou Tong's identity. Are you really an elder of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion? Why would someone like you almost starve on the streets? Zhou Tong confirms, yes, I am. I came to Maple Leaf City on a secret mission. You know how it is. Seeing that Zhou Tong doesn't want to elaborate, Yifeng turns to his system to check if he can uncover Zhou Tong's secret mission. Activating a new feature called Peering into the Heavenly Secrets, he realizes that the criteria for activation are met because Zhou Tong had just tried to peer into his destiny. Yifeng is overjoyed. I didn't expect to unlock another feature just like that. Old Zhou, you're my lucky star. To show his appreciation for Zhou Tong's inadvertent help, Yifeng hands him 5 Heavenly Mysteries secret art enlightenment pills. Zhou Tong looks stunned. You gifted me 9-leaf soul-returning herbs to heal, and even invited me to soak my feet. Shouldn't I be the one thanking you? Yifeng grins. Well, I can't exactly say you helped me unlock system features, can I? Suddenly, Zhou Tong appears shocked as if he's just realized something. What did you call that pill just now? Yifeng explains that the pill is called Heavenly Mystery Secret Art Enlightenment Pill, but laments, unfortunately, it can only facilitate insights into the Heavenly Mystery Secret Art. This frustrates Zhou Tong. You call that unfortunate? Do you have any idea how profound and difficult to comprehend the Heavenly Mystery Secret Art is? You won't even find one practitioner in tens of billions of people. Seeing Zhou Tong's reaction, Yifeng offers him one of the pills. Old Zhou, would you like to try one? Zhou Tong replies that if he says he doesn't want to, it would definitely be a lie. He then takes the pill and swallows it. Observing this, Yifeng grins and activates his Peering into the Heavenly Secrets feature to inquire about Old Zhou's secret mission. A second later, the system reveals that Zhou Tong was assigned by the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion to find the future Heavenly Secrets Pavilion Saintess. Yifeng is quite surprised. This is indeed a hefty mission. Should I help Old Zhou? As soon as he thinks this, the system releases a new mission, instructing him to recruit the Saintess into the Prodigal Sect as a disciple before Zhou Tong can. Yifeng didn't expect the system to have a knack for stealing people away. Sorry, Old Zhou, he mutters, as he asks the system to locate the whereabouts of the Saintess. 20 minutes later, a fully enlightened Zhou Tong wakes up and looks at Yifeng expectantly. Young friend, how many more of these pills do you have? I can represent the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion and purchase all of them. However, Yifeng declines. Although I still have some, I can't sell them to you. Puzzled, Zhou Tong asks, why not? Yifeng quietly responds, I'm saving them for Yi Lingxue. Hearing this, Zhou Tong is shocked. How do you know the name of the Saintess? Yifeng proposes, let Yi Lingxue become a disciple to both of us. The Heavenly Secrets Pavilion can handle her training, and I'll provide the resources. Zhou Tong immediately dismisses the idea. It's not possible. A Heavenly Secrets Pavilion Saintess cannot join other factions. Realizing that Yifeng has intentions of recruiting her, Zhou Tong secretly decides to find the Saintess before Yifeng does. Yifeng is secretly delighted at this moment. Old Zhou has fallen into my trap, but he's kind of pitiful too. The Heavenly Secrets Pavilion didn't calculate the timing right. Yi Lingxue hasn't even arrived here yet. Old Zhou can only waste his time. Subsequently, Yifeng arrives alone at the location calculated by the system, waiting for Yi Lingxue's arrival. It would be nice nice if Li Fei were here. I could get a back massage, he thinks, as Yifeng wonders what his second disciple in the prodigal sect will be like. Yi Lingxue appears in front of him, a beautiful young woman with an enduring elegance. Immediately, Yifeng is certain that she is going to be his second disciple. He can't help but feel sorry for Li Fei. It looks like the future disciples of my prodigal sect will all be beautiful women. Li Fei is destined to be the junior forever. Yifeng then approaches Yi Lingxue with a rose in hand and starts introducing himself. My name is Yifeng, and I am the sect master of the prodigal sect. Fate has brought us together today, and I wish to take you as my disciple. Would you be willing? Upon hearing the name prodigal sect, Yi Lingxue tries to suppress her laughter but ultimately bursts out laughing, making Yifeng a bit awkward. Yifeng continues regardless. What's the matter? Are you deeply impressed? Yi Lingxue laughs again. Indeed, I am. I never thought someone would give such a childish name to their sect. Also, Sect Master Yi, it seems you're only at the Qi activation realm, right? Although strength isn't a hard requirement for creating a sect, I have to ask, what makes you think you can take me as your disciple? You should know that I'm already at the 8th level of the foundation realm. Unexpectedly, Yifeng feels her cultivation is rather low upon hearing this, leaving Yi Lingxue stunned. Yifeng explains, your senior sister is at the 9th level of the tribulation crossing realm. The gap is indeed a bit large, but don't feel too inferior. Our sect doesn't emphasize strength. However, Yi Lingxue just thinks Yifeng is a fool. You, at the Qi activation realm, are looking down on me, and you even made up a senior sister at the 9th level of the tribulation crossing realm? Do you think I'm stupid? If it weren't for your good looks, I wouldn't even be chatting with you. Seeing her ignoring him, Yifeng continues to elaborate on the prodigal sect's tenets. If you join our sect, all your cultivation expenses will be covered by me. Why are you ignoring me? Is this some kind of push-pull strategy? Yi Lingxue is somewhat speechless. Push-pull strategy? What is there about you, a big fool, that's worth my pushing and pulling? Of course, you're good-looking, but it's just because of your handsome face that I'm willing to listen to your nonsense. Otherwise, I'd have squashed you already. Seeing Yifeng boasting, Yi Lingxue decides to trick him a little. Since you claim to have unlimited resources, if you can provide 100 million top-grade spiritual stones, I will acknowledge you as my master. If you can't, well, I won't be polite. This scene is oddly similar to when Luo Qianxue took her disciple. If Luo Qianxue learns about this price, would she be furious? After all, their starting prices are all over 100 million. Yifeng responds, your scope is too small. You really fall short compared to your senior sister. Saying this, he also sneaks a glance at a certain part of her. Yifeng then proceeds to give her what she asked for. Consider this a meeting gift. Yi Lingxue is speechless. Small? How is my scope small? However, after examining the storage ring he provided, she is, as expected, astonished. It is filled with top-grade spiritual stones. Yi Lingxue ponders, what should I do? Should I really join the prodigal sect? But this master is so weak, it's embarrassing. Maybe I should just take the spiritual stones and run. But then, I'd develop a mental demon. That's not worth it. Just then, she remembers what Yifeng had said earlier. Could there really be a senior sister at the peak of the 9th level of the tribulation crossing realm? If such a high-level expert is willing to stoop so low, what am I fussing about? She then asks Yifeng, since you say the scope is very different, how much did senior sister ask for initially? Yifeng replies, the same, 100 million. Yi Lingxue pouts, well, that's not much different, but your senior sister asked for top-grade spiritual crystals. Yifeng adds. Yi Lingxue is stunned by the asking price. No wonder the scope is so different. To her astonishment, the senior sister had asked for 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals. Surprisingly, Yifeng felt that 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals were too few. Seeing this, Yi Lingxue approaches, Master Yi, your words aren't backed by evidence. Show me a similar amount then. Yifeng is not put off. He even finds her quite clever, much better than Hua Yuman. He then takes out a storage ring containing 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals for her. After confirming its contents, Yi Lingxue directly kneels down, respectfully hands the storage ring back to Yifeng, and acknowledges him as her master, deciding to join the prodigal sect. At the same time, the system's mission is also completed, earning 30,000 prodigal points, along with 10,000 heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pills, and 1 karma Dao pattern. The system helpfully explains that after fusing with the karma Dao patterns, one can to a certain extent offset the karma added to oneself due to peering into the heavenly secrets. Yifeng is thrilled. This is really good stuff. Yi Lingxue is somewhat puzzled. Why is this master always so goofy? Snapping back to reality, Yifeng begins to instruct Yi Lingxue. Even though you've joined the prodigal sect, the sect doesn't have a physical location. You just need to remember your identity. Also, people from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion are looking for you. You are their destined saintess. I won't stop you from joining them, as you genuinely have the talent for it. He then gifts the Karma Dao patterns to Yi Lingxue, explaining their effects and advising her to be careful when peering into the heavenly secrets. Of course, the chest is not the only place to integrate them. It's just that he liked to take advantages. He then gives her 10,000 heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pills, telling her to consume them when she reaches a bottleneck in her cultivation. Come find me after you've consumed them. I can't promise anything else, but the prodigal sect will definitely provide you with enough resources. Yi Lingxue is stunned. Why is master being so generous to me? He's letting me be the saintess, providing enlightenment pills and karma Dao patterns. She can't help but speculate about Yifeng's identity. Could he be a mysterious power orchestrating a grand scheme across the continent? However, she doesn't dwell on it and immediately assures Yifeng that she will take control of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion and make it a subordinate force to the prodigal sect. Yifeng looks confused. What do you mean take control of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion? What kind of logic is that? I never told you to do that. Just as Yifeng is about to clear up the misunderstanding, Yi Lingxue interrupts him and asks, is senior sister holding a high position in some organization? Yifeng reluctantly nods. Yes. Yi Lingxue assumes I knew it expression, then asks Yifeng to tell her the whereabouts of the people from Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. She plans to stage a coincidental meeting and infiltrate the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion to become the saintess and recruit them. Yifeng is flustered. Can you let me explain? This is really a misunderstanding. Yi Lingxue gives Yifeng a knowing look Look, master, you don't have to explain. I know what to do. Please trust me. Yifeng is flabbergasted. Can you please stop embellishing the situation? What the heck do you understand? I'm taking a disciple, not recruiting an actor for a spy thriller. Do I owe you an Oscar or something? Meanwhile, on the streets of the town, Zhou Tong continues his charlatan act. Yifeng takes Yi Lingxue there and points him out. Do you see that old fraud over there? He's an elder of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Upon hearing this, Yi Lingxue becomes extremely excited. Is he the world's greatest diviner? Master, I'll go consult him right away and make him realize who I am. With that, she rushes over. Before she leaves, she assures Yifeng that she won't let him down. Yifeng sighs in resignation. Fine, let her do whatever she wants. It's the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion that will have to deal with the headache, not me. Yi Lingxue approaches Zhou Tong and greets him. In just a moment, Zhou Tong is laughing as he leads Yi Lingxue away. Baffles Yifeng is why the old charlatan is in such a rush. Yifeng suddenly realizes he forgot to activate the sex communication and teleportation features for Yi Lingxue. But by then, they are already far away, so he decides to sort it out later. Meanwhile, Zhou Tong is gleefully escaping the town with Yi Lingxue. You think you can snatch our destined saintess away from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion? Found her first. What Zhou Tong probably never expected is that Yi Lingxue has already become Yifeng's disciple. Later on, Yifeng continues his journey and decides to rest in a forest. He conveniently finds a cave to rest in. Not long after, an old man and a young man arrive. The young, unattractive man is named Zhang Hang, the young master of Mirror Moon Mansion. Beside him is his protector, Old Peng. Old Peng is barely tolerating this arrogant and domineering young master. If it wasn't for the mansion lord's orders, he wouldn't be serving as his protector. Coincidentally, they also decide to rest in the same cave as Yifeng. Zhang Hang exclaims that they have to kill some magical beasts or else people will think he's worthless. Hearing this, Old Peng can't help but feel disdain. Zhang Hang is only at the Spirit Sea realm level. He can't possibly defeat any magical beasts. Old Peng wants to slap some sense into Zhang Hang, but knows he can't. As they approach the cave, they see something that surprises them. Yifeng has made a bed out of spiritual stones. Zhang Hang is actually impressed and wishes he had thought of that. Old Peng, on the other hand, is frustrated. He thinks, of all the things to emulate, why choose wastefulness? Zhang Hang then orders Old Peng to kill Yifeng, as he wants to sleep on that top-grade spiritual stone bed. Old Peng feels that Yifeng seems extraordinary and may have a powerful protector, so he tries to dissuade Zhang Hang, but the latter is adamant about taking the bed and insists that Old Peng make a move. Left with no choice, Old Peng launches a massive palm strike at the sleeping Yifeng. Just as the palm strike is about to land, several beams of golden light slice through it and not only destroy the attack, but also instantly kill both Zhang Hang and Old Peng. It turns out that the one who acted was Divine Tycoon's guard number 1, who was annoyed that these two almost disturbed his master's rest. At this moment, he notices a small insect. Upon closer inspection, it turns out to be a mother and child bug, an insect that can mark its target through death. This piques his interest. Instead of crushing the bug, he lets it mark Yifeng. He figures that if it causes some trouble for his master, he'll have more opportunities to step out and get some fresh air. The next morning, Yifeng wakes up. Though he finds the spiritual stone bed luxurious, it's also quite hard. He thinks about requesting a blanket from the system. Looking at his system interface, he finds that today's extravagant item is 10,000 6th grade, 9th order Heavenly Thunder talismans, each equivalent to a full strength attack from someone at the 9th level of the Purple Mansion realm. His prodigal points have also accumulated to over 140,000. Deciding it's time for a power-up, Yifeng uses 99,000 prodigal points to break through to the peak of the Foundation realm's 9th level. As the breakthrough progresses, countless spiritual energies are absorbed into his cave. It's as if his body becomes a black hole, frenziedly drawing in the natural energies. Upon introspection, he sees a 9-petaled lotus platform forming from condensed spiritual energy. When the lotus fully unfolds, a breakthrough aura erupts from within Yifeng. At this moment, he reaches the peak of the Foundation realm's 9th level. Yifeng is elated by the rapid succession of breaking through 2 major realms, reaching the peak of the Foundation realm's 9th level. However, it irks him that such an earth-shattering breakthrough happened without any witnesses. Just as he steps out of the cave, he stumbles upon the dead bodies of Zhang Hang and Old Peng, which frightens him. What's going on here? I just took a nap and now there are 2 dead bodies? He realizes there were witnesses to his breakthrough, albeit dead ones, which unsettles him. After examining the bodies and finding evidence of an instant kill, Yifeng wonders if Divine Tycoon's guard acted. However, he is puzzled by the presence of a strange insect. Deciding not to think too much about it, Yifeng gathers his belongings and continues his journey. Meanwhile, in Star Soul Sect, Luo Qianxue dreams of holding a wedding with Yifeng. In the dream, Yifeng places a 99-carat diamond ring on Luo Qianxue's finger. Master, I entrust everything to you. Will you marry me? Luo Qianxue looks at Yifeng tenderly and says, I accept your proposal. Luo Wuming, standing to the side, tears up. They even start discussing having enough children to form a soccer team. Startling Luo Qianxue awake with a loud shout. I don't agree. However, just as she's sighing that it was all a dream, she finds Yifeng and her sister next to her. Yifeng asks, wife, what's wrong? And Luo Yaoyao also inquires what she's shouting about. Confused, she falls back asleep only to wake up again, her face full of question marks. Soon after, a massive explosion comes from her living quarters. Moments later, Luo Qianxue arrives at the place where the core disciples stay. The core disciples, upon seeing the saintess looking so disheveled, ask what happened and inquire about the explosion. Turns out, the explosion was part of Luo Qianxue's inner demon's illusion. She says it's nothing and decides to sleep at their place for the next couple of days, asking them to make room for her. Both women are baffled, but since the saintess has spoken, they don't question it. Meanwhile, Yifeng is so tired from his journey that he wishes for a carriage. As if on cue, a merchant's carriage happens to pass by. Yifeng quickly approaches to greet them. The leader, Meng Tongyu, asks who he is and why he is blocking their path. Yifeng says he wants to join their merchant caravan, but is cut off by Meng Tongyu. Do you think I would let someone whose background I don't know join the caravan? Meng Tangyu says, preparing to continue on their way. Yifeng is somewhat frustrated. Why didn't he think of forming his own merchant caravan? Watching the caravan move away, Yifeng doesn't react much. After all, if he were in their shoes, he wouldn't let a stranger join either. However, he resolves that after reaching the next town, he'll form his own caravan. He plans to get a batch of carriages and hire people to serve him. But just moments later, Tangyu comes back and asks if Yifeng wants to join the caravan after all. It turns out that his young master has decided to give Yifeng a chance. If Yifeng can beat him, he can join the caravan. Soon after, a young guy walks over. He is Wang Xiaofei, the young master of the Shanghai Commerce Association. After greeting Yifeng, he even introduces himself as being at the peak of the divine repository realm. Yifeng internally mocks him, thinking this young guy doesn't seem fit to be the young master of a commerce association. However, he remains polite on the surface, introducing himself and mentioning his cultivation level. At the peak of the foundation realm, Wang Xiaofei becomes incredibly arrogant, proclaiming that he will allow Yifeng 3 moves. Any moves. Irritated, Yifeng thinks, this young punk is even more of a show-off than me. Ha, fine, I'll show you no mercy. Not teaching you a lesson would be a disservice to my protagonist status. With that, he takes out his extravagant product, a batch of 6th rank, 9th stage Heavenly Thunder talismans. Upon seeing this, Tangyu quickly moves in front of his young master, blocking him. His eyes are filled with murderous intent as he looks at Yifeng. This is just a friendly spar, and regardless of the outcome, our young master would have let you join the caravan. But you, taking out such a talisman, isn't that going too far? Seeing the misunderstanding, Yifeng explains that he was just looking to have some fun and didn't intend to harm anyone. He then activates a function to see if the other side would really let him join the caravan regardless of winning or losing. The system confirms it's true. Yifeng is taken aback and thinks maybe he was the one who was narrow-minded this time. Tangyu, however, doesn't believe him. These talismans are probably your trump cards. Who would believe that you're just playing around? Yifeng sighs and says, if you don't believe me, then let me give you some fireworks as an apology. He casually throws the talismans into the sky, where they explode. Consider it performance art. Tangyu is dumbstruck. What the heck? Are you serious? Wang Xiaofei, on the other hand, is incredibly impressed. That's so cool. Yifeng's fireworks stun all the bystanders. Seeing Yifeng act so nonchalantly, Tangyu starts to believe him. Yifeng then proceeds to distribute a pile of talismans to everyone in the caravan, asking them to help use them up. Tangyu can't quite believe it. Each of these talismans is worth 100 million low-grade spiritual stones, and now they're in our hands like this. Yifeng also asks them to help him complete his performance art, suggesting a Heavenly Thunder feast. With so many people here, you can help me waste money, and I'll give you something nice in return later. I'm a true genius at wasting money. Seeing Yifeng being so generous, Tangyu begins to speculate about Yifeng's background, guessing that he must be even more powerful than their young master. Just as Tangyu is about to say that they shouldn't waste the talismans, Wang Xiaofei leans in and asks Yifeng if it's really okay to throw them around. Yifeng gives an okay hand signal. Just throw them. Under Yifeng's direction, everyone throws their talismans. For a moment, the area is filled with a tremendously loud explosion, nearly deafening any birds that happen to be passing by. A moment later, a massive, dark pit appears on the spot where the talismans exploded. Everyone is still a bit in disbelief that they've just squandered talismans worth billions. Wang Xiaofei also complains, asking Tangyu to explain to his father so that he won't be scolded for being wasteful in the future. You must testify for me. My behavior doesn't even qualify as being wasteful, Wang Xiaofei says. After squandering all the talismans, Yifeng gains 1,000 prodigal points and a mystical power called Good and Evil Buddha. Yifeng didn't expect to receive such a reward and thinks that it was only possible to deplete the talismans so quickly thanks to everyone's help. He consults the system about giving each of them 100 million spiritual stones, but the system strongly rebukes him. A maximum of 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones. No more. Yifeng concedes, thinking that little by little, it'll add up. So Yifeng gives each person 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones, explaining as he does so that this is their reward for throwing the talismans. Don't look down on these few top-grade spiritual stones, he says. Everyone checks their rewards and is overjoyed. 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones are more than they'd earn in a lifetime of work. Tangyu's mouth twitches a little when he sees this. That's 108 people, which makes 1,080,000 top-grade spiritual stones, he calculates. Wang Xiaofei starts complaining again, saying that everyone who called him wasteful in the past should see this. When I get back, I must tell my father about this so he knows how wrong I've been all these years. Tangyu is speechless and retorts, what are you trying to do, young master? Do you want to learn how to be wasteful too? At such a young age, you should be learning good habits instead of bad ones. Seeing this exchange, Yifeng misunderstands and thinks the two are flirting. He almost shatters his own worldview because of it. Tangyu grabs Wang Xiaofei's cheeks, scolding him for his bad habits. Just then, many people call out to Tangyu. It turns out that many members of the Merchant Association no longer want to continue with their jobs. After receiving 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones, they've decided to quit and retire. Tangyu doesn't know what to say. Moments later, only the three of them and a carriage remain. Yifeng starts to feel a bit guilty. He had good intentions, but now he's unintentionally dissolved the merchant team. He thinks to himself that he should not have given out the 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones. Just then, the system appears and informs him that he has successfully gained an additional 200 prodigal points and a recipe for a blood ginseng pill. I've really caused a mess, Yifeng thinks. Yifeng then awkwardly apologizes to Tangyu, saying he really didn't expect this outcome and that these people are ungrateful. He originally planned to give them 100 million top-grade spiritual stones, and now feels relieved that he only gave out 10,000. Hearing Yifeng talk about giving 100 million, Tangyu is almost furious. If you had given them 100 million, is there still a need to open the business association? Seeing Tangyu practically coughing up blood from anger, Yifeng doesn't know what to do next. He asks Tangyu what kind of rare and valuable materials he would need to heal, and then proceeds to display various treasures he possesses. However, However, it seems that none of them can heal the injury. Seeing this spectacle, Meng Tangyu is shocked to his core, leaving both master and servant speechless. These are 9-leaf soul-returning herb, golden silkworm star shining stone, great demon fairy blood, enlightenment pill, sword heart advancement fragment, and even the heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pill. Huang Xiaofei recognizes these as treasures only mentioned in ancient texts. Meng Tangyu starts to seriously suspect that Yifeng is just showing off his wealth. At this point, Yifeng is somewhat frustrated. After searching for a while, it seems that none of the treasures he possesses can help. At a critical moment like this, he has nothing that can make a difference. Both Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu don't know what to say. They're convinced that Yifeng is just showing off. Yifeng then asks Meng Tangyu what kind of pill he would need to recover, promising to take full responsibility for his condition. Meng Tangyu suggests that an 8th grade blood ginseng pill with at least 5 patterns would suffice for healing. Yifeng is taken aback. He recalls that he just got the recipe for a blood ginseng pill. He instructs the system to start opening jars until an 8th grade blood ginseng pill appears. After 80 attempts, he finally obtains 10 9-pattern 8th grade blood ginseng pills. Yifeng celebrates, but upon seeing that this cost him 8,000 prodigal points, he wonders what happened to the other items that he didn't get from the failed attempts. The system acts a bit evasive and claims it doesn't know. Huang Xiaofei feels that Meng Tangyu is being a bit unreasonable. After all, Yifeng just likes to show off a bit. There's no need to make things difficult for him. Meng Tangyu thinks about it and decides to let it go. Meanwhile, Yifeng is arguing with the system. You scoundrel of a system, are you secretly consuming my rewards? No wonder last time, when I crafted a high-level martial technique, there were no additional treasures as rewards. The system tells him to stop arguing as someone is approaching him. Meng Tangyu walks over and says, young man, it's alright if you don't have a blood ginseng pill. I was only joking. After all, blood ginseng pills have long been lost to history. However, Yifeng pulls out the freshly crafted blood ginseng pills and says, no worries, Meng Tangyu, I found it. Meng Tangyu is entirely speechless. What's going on here? How do you have a blood ginseng pill? And those patterns, they look like they're 9-pattern pills. Yifeng innocently hands the pill to Meng Tangyu. Don't just stand there, hurry up and take it. Meng Tangyu hesitates, feeling that even if he sold himself, he couldn't afford such a precious pill. He explains that his injuries are not severe and declines the valuable pill. Yifeng scoffs, you call this crappy pill precious? Seriously? Both Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei are stunned. This is a legendary 9-pattern pill. Are you sure it's crappy? Huang Xiaofei thinks Yifeng has a point. A pill is good, but its value depends on who holds it. In Yifeng's hands, it indeed seems like a worthless pill. Seeing that Meng Tangyu doesn't want it, Yifeng feeds the pill to his horse. The horse is ecstatic and clearly pleased it didn't quit its job. The sight leaves Meng Tangyu distressed, his face a mask of regret. After giving the pill to the horse, Yifeng earns another 3,000 prodigal points. With a mischievous grin, Yifeng thinks to himself, even though he spent 8,000 prodigal points, he's making a profit. Each pill earned him 3,000 prodigal points back. He continues to feed the horse, leaving both his companions dumbfounded. Could you stop being so wasteful? But Yifeng ignores them, indulging in his spendthrift ways. Finally, he offers the last pill to Meng Tangyu. Do you still want this blood ginseng pill? Meng Tangyu is moved to tears by this extravagance and blurts out, stop wasting them. I'll take it now. After taking the pill, he realizes it actually tastes quite good. Huang Xiaofei leans in and whispers, Meng Tangyu, you've become the kind of person you once despised. Yet again, Yifeng successfully wastes resources, earning another 3,000 prodigal points and 1,009 pattern blood ginseng pills. Yifeng realizes that Meng Tangyu's injuries weren't severe, which is why his actions counted as wasteful. But what to do with these 1,000 pills? After glancing at the two men, Yifeng has an idea. He moves closer to Huang Xiaofei and asks if he's also craving for these pills, revealing a pile of blood ginseng pills in his hand. Huang Xiaofei is utterly astonished. At this point, Yifeng assures Huang Xiaofei to eat without worry. He has plenty of these worthless pills, so they all climb into the carriage and start consuming the pills. At this moment, Huang Xiaofei fully acknowledges Yifeng as his big brother and vows to do anything he asks in the future. Yifeng is quite happy to accept a little brother and agrees. Meng Tangyu also promises Huang Xiaofei that he will explain everything to Huang Xiaofei's father when they return. Watching this, Yifeng wonders if something special is going to happen, but then both of them start crying. Meng Tangyu lamented, Huang Xiaofei, you really haven't been wasteful enough. You've had it tough these past 10 or so years. It's because the Commerce Association president's perspective is too narrow. Yifeng is speechless. I thought you guys were about to confess something. Later, Yifeng asks what makes the blood ginseng pill so valuable. Meng Tangyu explains that the pill is famous for its healing properties. The ingredients and process are not difficult, but the formula has been lost, making each existing pill incredibly precious. Yifeng confusedly pulls out a crumpled piece of paper. You mean this formula? I have it. He hands it over and leaves Meng Tangyu stunned. Though Meng Tangyu can't understand the formula since he's not an alchemist, his trust in Yifeng has grown. Huang Xiaofei also asks if the formula is genuine. Yifeng confidently responds, of course, I can hand this formula over to your guild. Huang Xiaofei is thrilled. Thank you so much, big brother Yi. Just one thing, I want 10% of the profits from selling blood ginseng pills sent to my sect. Huang Xiaofei agrees without hesitation on behalf of his father. Yifeng imagines the abundant income he's securing for his sect, Star Soul Sect, which is still in its infancy. He's been working hard for the sect's development. After their agreement, Yifeng prepares to take both of them to visit his sect. By the way, how much for all these goods? Just get rid of them. I'll buy it all. Keeping them is just a waste of time. And with that, they set off on Meng Tangyu's flying sword. At this point, Huang Xiaofei is quite curious about what Yifeng's sect will be like. They later arrive at a town to rest, and Yifeng finally has a bed to sleep in. Despite Meng Tangyu's ability to fly on his sword, it will still take them 3 days to reach the Star Soul Sect. Meanwhile, in another room, Huang Xiaofei has just finished talking with his father, the chairman of the Shanghai Commerce Association. Meng Tangyu anxiously asks how it went, only to receive bad news. Huang Xiaofei's father father doesn't believe him and thinks they've been deceived by this young Master Yi. At this moment, inside the headquarters of the Shanghai Commerce Association, after listening to his son's report, Chairman Huang Dehai could only think that they had gone mad. They actually trusted someone called young Master Yi. He immediately ordered Old Meng, also known as Meng Haifeng, to bring the young master and the others back. Old Meng assures the chairman that he will do just that. The next day, Yifeng's newest acquisition was also updated. It was 10,000 battle holy body fragments, a type of extremely powerful battle physique. The more severe the injuries received, the stronger the power that could be unleashed. Yifeng was stunned. Is this thing really that powerful? System, can we negotiate something? Can I use these fragments for myself just once? But was strongly rejected by the system. Even though the battle holy body is strong, it's still not worthy of you. Don't concern yourself with such a trashy physique. Yifeng was dumbfounded. How can this be called a trashy physique? Who should I give this to then? He then went to where Huang Xiaofei and another person were. Breakfast was already prepared. The warm hospitality reminded Yifeng of Li Fei. Suddenly he thought, since I gave the sword and tent fragments to Li Fei, then giving the battle holy body to Huang Xiaofei should be okay too. With that thought, Yifeng started to smirk, then sat down and asked Huang Xiaofei, what do you think of cultivators who take the lead in battle? Huang Xiaofei responded that even though he's a bit of a playboy and doesn't focus on cultivation, he still respects such cultivators. Meng Tangyu explained that it's not that the young master doesn't work hard, it's just that his talent and bone structure are really not good. It can't be helped. Yifeng then asked the system, does the battle holy body have any requirements for talent or bone structure? The system said no. As long as one keeps fighting life or death battles, one's power could continuously soar, and also comprehend extremely strong martial techniques in battle. Yifeng couldn't help but comment in his mind, you say it's a trashy physique, but the description says it's so amazing. Then he smiled and asked Huang Xiaofei, would you be willing to be a cultivator who takes the lead in battle? Huang Xiaofei was totally stunned upon hearing this. Bro Yi, you must be joking. All jokes aside, don't play with my life. I'm not bragging. I may not be good in battle, but I'm first rate at running away. Yifeng was a bit skeptical. Are you telling the truth? For some reason, Huang Xiaofei felt uneasy under Yifeng's gaze. Yifeng then told them his story with Li Fei. Once upon a time, a handsome guy had 10,000 sword and tent fragments and didn't use them for himself. Instead, he found a fat guy who extremely despised sword cultivators and let him integrate the sword and tent fragments. The second story was about the battle holy body, and this physique was also in the hands of the handsome guy, but he also didn't use it for himself. He wanted to give it to someone who can't fight, but is first rate at running away. Huang Xiaofei was numb. Just say my name directly. At this point, he really wanted to run away. He didn't want anything to do with the battle holy body. He didn't want anything to do with life or death battles. Yifeng knew that talking to Huang Xiaofei was pointless, so he turned to Meng Tangyu and left the decision up to him. Meng Tangyu didn't hesitate at all and promptly accepted on behalf of Huang Xiaofei. Seeing this, Huang Xiaofei took off. If his father knew he had this physique, he would definitely force him to go to the battlefield. However, Meng Tangyu didn't care. This is a rare opportunity for you to change, young master. Huang Xiaofei was extremely resistant. He didn't want anything to do with the battle holy body. Meng Tangyu then tied him up and smacked him hard on the buttocks several times. Young master, you really don't know what's good for you. How could you refuse such an opportunity? Seeing this, Yifeng told Meng Tangyu to hold him down. Meng Tangyu said, no problem. Then Yifeng put on a professional suit. The atmosphere didn't look like he was feeding fragments, but rather like he was delivering a baby. Meng Tangyu told the young master to bear with it. You must grasp this tremendous opportunity. Then Yifeng started to take out the battle holy body fragments and press them into Huang Xiaofei's head. After 10,000 integrations, Huang Xiaofei completely fainted. Meng Tangyu became a bit nervous. Is this symptom normal, Dr. Yi? Yifeng said it's going smoothly. Let's observe for now. Just then, the sky outside turned blood red, and Huang Xiaofei's body underwent massive changes. His whole body looked as if it had been painted gold, and he became a little golden man. This strange phenomenon startled both of them. Is this the terror of the battle holy body? Meng Tangyu was a bit worried that the young master might waste this physique, considering the young master was naturally lazy when it came to cultivation and fighting. At this point, Yifeng's spendthrift products for the day were also used up, gaining him 1,000 prodigal points, as well as 3 9th order yin-yang maze-array banners. Yifeng got angry. You call this physique trash, you miserly system? This phenomenon is mind-blowingly awesome. He then looked at the introduction of the maze-array banner. Releasing spiritual power could activate it, and it could trap someone at the peak of the tribulation crossing realm in a maze for up to 10 hours. It was a one-time use item. Seeing this reward, Yifeng was elated again. It will take 3 more days to get to the Star Soul Sect. With this array at hand, I can have a good night's sleep. A moment later, Huang Xiaofei woke up. Is it done, brother Yi? Why don't I feel anything? You really wasted this physique on me. Before Yifeng could open his mouth, Meng Tangyu spoke first. It won't be wasted, young master. After we send young master Yi back to his sect, I will personally request to instruct you from the president. From now on, our duels will only be life or death duels. If you dare to slack off or cut corners, I won't hold back either. If you happen to die, I'll go with you. Meng Tangyu is really breaking his heart over Huang Xiaofei. Upon seeing this, Yifeng let out a silent condolence. Huang Xiaofei, you're on your own now. At this time, Yifeng and Meng Tangyu continued on their journey. As it was getting late, it was time to find a place to rest. Puzzled Yifeng was, why has Huang Xiaofei been silent the entire way? Ever since Meng Tangyu said something to him yesterday, Huang Xiaofei had been in a state of self-imposed isolation for a day. They eventually arrived at an open meadow, deciding to rest there for the night. At this moment, the withdrawn Huang Xiaofei tearfully said, Manager Meng, start instructing me now. Hearing this, even Yifeng was a bit stunned. What's going on? Isn't Huang Xiaofei afraid of dying? Meng Tangyu expressed, you've finally come to your senses. Oh well, Yifeng couldn't be bothered to deal with the two of them. If Huang Xiaofei has decided to do this, he must have his own reasons. Let's see what this maze array can do. As Yifeng set up the maze array banner, a golden light barrier rose around them. He then looked at the master and servant duo who were training. Yifeng told them to fight freely. With the array barrier up, no one will disturb them. He even left them 100 blood Jin ginseng pills to heal their injuries. Meng Tangyu was very grateful to Yifeng. At this point, Huang Xiaofei seemed like a different person, actually thoroughly enjoying the process of fighting. The two engaged in full-force combat, back and forth. However, Huang Xiaofei was still young and was easily disciplined by Meng Tangyu. After all, Meng Tangyu did have some real skills. Just then, old Meng arrived nearby. He heard the sounds of his son Meng Tangyu and the young master, but what he saw next left him utterly shocked. Why are my son and the young master fighting? He noticed that the style of their battle had turned into hand-to-hand combat. Upon seeing this, old Meng thought they had gone mad. Could it be that they were being mind-controlled by this young master Yi? No, he had to stop this. However, just as he tried to rush in, he was blocked by the maze array. Old Meng was dumbfounded. What's going on? Hearing the young master's screams from inside the array, old Meng became even more anxious. At this moment, old Meng began to doubt life itself. What the hell? Why is there an array banner here? He had no understanding of arrays, and this looked like an advanced one at that. This is just absurd. At this moment, old Meng noticed Yifeng, who was asleep. That must be the young master Yi that the clan leader talked about, being able to use an advanced array banner. He must be no ordinary person. Just then, old Meng noticed that the two brawlers had stopped. He thought his son and the young master had finally had enough. However, moments later, Huang Xiaofei drew out his sword. Old Meng felt numb all over. They escalated from hand-to-hand combat to armed combat. He saw that Meng Tangyu was still going back and forth with Huang Xiaofei. Old Meng was fuming, shouting and hitting the array. He tried to get them to stop. Unfortunately, the array blocked everything, not just the physical barriers, but even the sound couldn't get through. Finally, 5 minutes later, both of them stopped. Old Meng's heart, which had been hanging by a thread, also fell. If anything happened to the young master, he would be held responsible. However, just as old Meng thought it was over, Huang Xiaofei stood up. Old Meng looked on in disbelief. Is this really the Huang Xiaofei he had known since childhood? And what's the deal with those blood ginseng pills? Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei were happily munching on blood ginseng pills, discussing each other's performance just now. Thus, another 5 minutes passed. Revitalized by the blood ginseng pills, the two were full of life and vigor again. Then they resumed their training. Meanwhile, old Meng outside had collapsed on the ground. Today's events made him question life itself. These two wastrels had really gone mad. If you're healing, don't use something as precious as blood ginseng pills. Then, the next day came. Yifeng got up, still feeling drowsy. What's going on? These two are still fighting. Did they do it all night? Suddenly, he noticed old Meng outside. At this moment, old Meng was glaring at Yifeng. The look in his eyes seemed to say, "You wait for me." Seeing the old man's hostility, Yifeng assumed he was looking for trouble. He felt fortunate for having used the maze array last night. Just as the first maze array was about to fail, he hurriedly replaced it with a second one, trapping him for another 10 hours. At this point, old Meng was filled with rage. No wonder his son and the young master couldn't see him. It turns out they were blocked by this young master Yi. He must be the puppet master. Just as he was about to give Yifeng a piece of his mind, he was once again blocked by the maze array. Seeing this, Yifeng ignored the old man, hastily called Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei, and they set off. Then, under the furious gaze of old Meng, he left very stylishly. Yifeng even looked back and gave him an international friendly gesture, muttering "idiot" under his breath. Old Meng was genuinely infuriated. The image of Yifeng's disdainful face was stuck in his mind. On the other side, Yifeng thought to himself, if it weren't for his high vigilance in blocking their enemies, they probably would have been killed by their enemies last night. Indeed, business people have many enemies. At this moment, today's wasteful products refreshed. It was 10,000 9-stripe blood ginseng pills. Yifeng was stunned. More elixirs? How the hell are we supposed to eat all of these? Suddenly, Yifeng thought of an idea. Why do we have to eat them? What if, like the spiritual stones, we just toss them? Then he asked the system, these 9-stripe blood ginseng pills are lost arts in medicine. Would it be considered wasteful to just throw them on the road? If they're eaten by small monsters or picked up by people, that should still count as wasteful, right? The system confirmed that it would count. Yifeng was very pleased with this. He then looked at Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei. Let's eat breakfast first. He took out a piece of cloth and spread it on a rock. Then he took out a bunch of wasteful products, the blood ginseng pills. This is today's breakfast. Feel free to eat. The two were dumbfounded at this scene. Yifeng gave a sly grin. What are you waiting for? Eat. Would you not give me face if you didn't eat? The two had grown sick of the blood ginseng pills after their previous experience, but they couldn't disrespect Yifeng either. So, they gorged themselves on blood ginseng pills for an hour until they were utterly stuffed. Yifeng was satisfied. That's enough. Since you're full, it's time for some exercise. I still have over 9,000 of these pills. Housekeeper Meng, you continue guiding us with your sword. Huang Xiaofei, help me toss these blood ginseng pills one by one. Huang Xiaofei was shocked at hearing this. Brother Yi, is this really okay? If someone picks them up, it could affect our association's blood ginseng pill sales. Plus, these are 9-stripe elixirs. Yifeng sighed. Huang Xiaofei, for being a young master of a business association, you really lack business acumen. Although these are 9-stripe elixirs, there are just over 9,000 of them. With Mystical Heaven continent being so big, how could it affect the market? It's not that I'm looking down on your business association. Given the recipe, can your alchemists even make 9-stripe blood ginseng pills? And even if they could, how many people could afford them? The big sellers are still the 5, 6, and 7 stripes. Moreover, the more blood ginseng pills we throw out, the bigger the advertisement, the more people will want them, and our sales will increase. Plus, if we just control the quantity, we can create scarcity and drive up demand, making more money with fewer pills. Huang Xiaofei immediately knelt down. Brother Yi, you're amazing. At this point, Yifeng and his group had traveled for another day. Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu were gearing up for another all-nighter. However, Yifeng was somewhat displeased. After spending all the elixirs today, he only received a few prodigal points, no additional rewards. Then he looked at the two who were at it again. Yifeng decided to go all out as a good guy. He would keep watch for them tonight. The system kindly reminded him, you can sleep peacefully. If there's danger, the prodigal Divine Tycoon's guard will come to protect you. Guard 1 was extremely excited. Another chance to get out and about? Yifeng didn't want to do it that way. He's not useless. If he relied on the Divine Tycoon's guard for everything, he'd feel completely worthless. Also, I could have have infinitely farmed prodigal points using those jars long ago, but I didn't do it. I don't want to be a heartless, wasteful machine. Once this topic came up, Yifeng couldn't help but recall his past life. Worked overtime for a year, finally got rewarded with a day off to game all night. But when he woke up, he was in this world. If it was just about farming prodigal points, that would be boring. He didn't want it to be like collecting a salary. In this life, he wants to enjoy life while earning prodigal points. Meanwhile, Old Meng finally sensed that the array flags had disappeared. Luckily, he had a blood spirit jade that could sense the location of his son and young master. As he was on his way, he found 9 striped blood ginseng pills on the road. He picked them up and carefully examined them. They were real. Not only that, there were blood ginseng pills glowing with golden light all along the way. Old Meng was dumbfounded. Which prodigal did this? These are priceless treasures. As Old Meng continued to pick up more, his anger kept surging. By now, he had picked up over 500 pills, but over 2,000 were broken. He really wanted to kill that prodigal. After picking up 2,000, Old Meng felt he had nothing more to live for. Let them be destroyed. To the universe, these blood ginseng pills are just so-so. He really didn't want to pick up anymore. The next morning, Yifeng, who was supposed to be keeping watch, ultimately couldn't resist falling asleep. When he woke up in a daze, he saw an extremely jarring scene. Huang Xiaofei was hugging Meng Tanyu, and Meng Tanyu seemed to be enjoying it. It really made Yifeng's eyes burn. Thankfully, that old guy hasn't arrived yet. Otherwise, it would interrupt Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tanyu's passion. But just as he finished that thought, Old Meng appeared behind him. Now the two had switched positions. Meng Tanyu is at the back, Huang Xiaofei is at the front. Old Meng was truly in tears at this point, finally caught up with them. Just then, Old Meng and Yifeng locked eyes. Seeing this, Yifeng didn't hesitate and cast another maze array, trapping Old Meng on the spot once again. Then he started mocking Old Meng. "You old turtle, if you dare, keep chasing us." Old Meng was really speechless. "You little rascal, remember this. No matter where you run, I will kill you." He was gritting his teeth with rage. At this point, Huang Xiaofei reported on the progress of merging with the saintly battle body. After these 2 nights of training, he had merged 1% with the saintly battle body. Once completely merged, it will display its true power. Yifeng praised him for doing a good job. "Let's continue on our way. We won't rest tonight. If all goes well, we should arrive at the Star Soul sect by tomorrow morning." Huang Xiaofei was puzzled. "Brother Yi, don't you usually pay a lot of attention to the quality of sleep?" Meng Tanyu said that since young Master Yi had made a decision, he must have his reasons. Then they continued on their way. Along the way, Yifeng opened the system to check. Today's prodigal item is a heavenly tier high-level skill book called Demon Suppressing Treasure Record. Yifeng was a bit surprised. This is the first time he's seen a heavenly tier high-level skill book. It must be among the top skills on the mystical heaven continent. How should he squander it? Is he going to throw it away again? But that would be too unoriginal. Or should he just rip it up? That doesn't seem very creative either. With a ding, Yifeng came up with a good idea. Then he looked at Huang Xiaofei with a mischievous smile. "You probably haven't had a bowel movement in a few days, right?" Meng Tanyu explained. "As cultivators, the impurities produced by eating can be purified using spiritual power, so there's no need to go to the restroom like ordinary people." Huang Xiaofei nodded. "That's right, Brother Yi. Although I'm not very strong, I do have that ability." Yifeng was puzzled. What kind of paper-thin setting is this? Then he started threatening Huang Xiaofei. "No, you don't have that ability." This scared Huang Xiaofei, making him clench up. Could it be that Brother Yi is into that sort of thing? Such a weird request. Should I agree to it? Oh well, Brother Yi has been so good to me. What's a little discomfort? After intense mental struggle, Huang Xiaofei decided to accept Yifeng's peculiar preference, stating that he now had a stomachache. Seeing this, Yifeng let out a sinister chuckle, further confirming Huang Xiaofei's suspicions. However, the next moment Huang Xiaofei was dumbfounded. Yifeng handed him a skill book, telling him to use it as toilet paper when he had a bowel movement. So, after all that fuss, it really was about going to the restroom. Then they found a place, and Huang Xiaofei had a bowel movement as per Yifeng's request. It's been years since he's done this. During the lull, Huang Xiaofei looked at the skill book, and then he was utterly shocked. It seemed like he entered a state of enlightenment. The next second, a golden light shot up into the sky, startling Meng Tanyu. "What's going on? Is this the state of enlightenment? When did my little fool become so strong? Actually entering the legendary state of enlightenment?" Then he looked puzzled at Yifeng. "Young Master Yi, what exactly is the book you gave to the young master?" Yifeng said, "Don't make a big fuss. It's just a heavenly tier high-level skill book. I thought it would be toilet paper for Huang Xiaofei." Upon hearing this, Meng Tanyu immediately kneeled and thanked Yifeng, saying their gratitude was beyond words, and they would remember this kindness. Yifeng was a bit puzzled. What's going on? Why is he suddenly kneeling? Just then, his prodigal points started to rapidly decrease. Yifeng was confused. What's happening now? Can someone explain? At this moment, an excited Huang Xiaofei ran over holding the skill book. "Brother Yi, I've finished going to the restroom." Yifeng's face turned dark, and he immediately crushed the skill book. The system also appeared, saying that he had failed to squander today's prodigal item, and deducted 50,000 prodigal points. At this point, the word pain could be seen in Yifeng's eyes. He originally had just over 60,000 prodigal points left, and now he was directly deducted by 50,000. All the effort in the past few days was wasted. Thinking of this, Yifeng started to cry, feeling utterly exhausted. He even wanted to run into a tree and end it all. Huang Xiaofei was very confused about what was going on, but he realized he must have caused trouble. He promptly kneeled down to apologize to Yifeng. However, Yifeng was a bit puzzled. "Where did you go wrong?" Then Huang Xiaofei said, "Brother Yi, you said that the holy battle body doesn't require any skill books, and one can comprehend it just by fighting, but I lack self-control and got lost in the skill book just now. I didn't even fully comprehend it. This must be a test you set up for me, and I've disappointed you." Meng Tanyu was shocked. "So that's how young Master Yi thinks. How silly of me. I was even upset with young Master Yi earlier, thinking he ruined the young master's opportunity. It was me who was short-sighted." Immediately, Meng Tanyu also kneeled down to apologize, asking Yifeng to punish him as he sees fit. Yifeng didn't know what to say for a moment. "What the heck? Why are you all so imaginative? I'm just being prodigal. And what does this have to do with you, Manager Meng? Why add drama to your own role?" Yifeng couldn't be bothered to deal with them, and continued to wallow in his regrets. rats. They, however, continued to imagine that they had disappointed young Master Yi. After venting for a bit, Yi Feng then urged them to get moving. Stop daydreaming all the time. Huang Xiaofei thought this meant Yi Feng had forgiven them, and immediately vowed never to disappoint Yi Feng again, promising to become a sharp weapon in his hand one day, clearing all his future enemies. Yi Feng felt like even if he wasn't angry, he would get irritated by them. Get lost. I just want to slack off. Don't disturb my peaceful life. However, Huang Xiaofei insisted, whether you need me or not, brother Yi, I'll practice hard. Yi Feng was annoyed, picked up a rock and threw it at him. Enough with the chit-chat. At this time, on Old Meng's end, who was trapped, after another 10 hours of consumption, the formation flag finally ran out of energy, and Old Meng caught up again. Meanwhile, Yi Feng was still sound asleep, and Meng Tangyu was flying on her sword, amazed. Not far from the Star Soul sect now, he felt an incredibly strong pressure. It seems the Star Soul sect has quite a few powerful figures. Huang Xiaofei was extremely excited, finally getting to see the grandeur of Star Soul sect. However, the next day after arriving at the Star Soul sect, seeing the cobweb-covered gates of the Star Soul sect, both master and servant felt their hearts go cold. Where is the promised grandiosity? Huang Xiaofei also had a look of disbelief. What's going on? As Yi Feng opened the main gate, he was met with a murderous aura. It was his long-unseen beautiful master, Luo Qianxue, who directly pulled out her long sword and pointed it at Yi Feng's neck. Yi Feng gave an awkward smile. Master, I've returned. Luo Qianxue questioned him. You finally remembered to come back. Ha! Seeing master in this state, Yi Feng became a little panicked. What did he do to provoke her? He quickly called for help from the system. I'm in danger. Where is the Divine Tycoon's guard? However, the system playfully magnified a minor scratch. This is an extremely serious scrape. If it wasn't magnified, it wouldn't be clear. So host, please calm down. Try to win her over this time. The Divine Tycoon's guard won't intervene this time. At this time, Luo Kai and others rushed over in a hurry. Sacred lady, please show mercy. This left Yi Feng completely dumbfounded. Why are these guys here? Luo Qianxue was furious. How dare you say that? Do you have any idea what you did at the Star Extreme sect? Yi Feng, you truly are a good disciple of mine. You went out and not only brought back the Star Extreme sect's 5 core disciples and an elder, you even managed to deceive a tribulation crossing realm demonic beast into coming here. Then Luo Qianxue noticed the 2 people behind her. She asked, and who are these people? Don't tell me they also want to join the sect. Before Yi Feng could speak, Meng Tangyu and the others hurriedly denied it. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue finally spared Yi Feng. Thank goodness they're not joining. Since there are outsiders here, I'll spare your life. Seeing the sect master's anger dissipate, Old Bai and Old Xia, who hadn't been seen in a long time, came out to be in the spotlight. Both of them were concerned about whether Yi Feng was injured or not, both trying to curry favor with Yi Feng. The two then started to argue among themselves. When they saw Old Xia, Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei were stunned. Why is this big shot also here? Old Xia looked puzzledly at Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei. Do you know me? Meng Tangyu was speechless. How could we not know you? The owner behind the prestigious Tianyu auction house. Why would you be in this small sect? Huang Xiaofei also found it strange. At this time, Yi Feng began to introduce the two. They are from the Shanghai Commerce Association. Young Master Huang Xiaofei and Chief Steward Meng Tangyu. The main reason they came back with me is to discuss some business matters with you, Master. Luo Qianxue thought they were here to sell goods, so she explained clearly to them. The Star Soul sect has only been established for less than a month. We simply do not have the financial resources to purchase large amounts of cultivation resources. I think we can forget about any collaboration. However, upon hearing about the lack of financial resources, Meng Tangyu and the others were almost speechless. You call this lacking financial resources? Are you not aware of your disciples' extravagant spending habits? At this time, Huang Xiaofei explained that they were not here to sell products. He then took out the recipe for the blood ginseng pill. After a few minutes of explanation, Luo Qianxue understood why Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu were here. The thought of having exclusive rights to sell the long-lost blood ginseng pill excited her to no end, but she also felt conflicted. After all, she didn't establish the sect just for money. It seemed to be moving further away from her initial intentions. At this point, Yi Feng stepped in. Master, when I saw junior brother Wufeng crying in his chair because he had no money, I decided to do something about this situation. If I could find a business association to cooperate with, I would certainly collaborate. And now, here is the Shanghai Commerce Association. So please, Master, don't refuse. It's our duty to restore the glory of Star Soul sect. Praise me, Master. However, Luo Qianxue was almost furious. Anything that has to do with this wasteful disciple of mine is definitely not good. How many years will it take for me to reach the tribulation crossing realm and ascend to take revenge? Just then, the system notified him. Old Meng will arrive at Star Soul sect in 3 minutes. Yi Feng felt extremely pleased. Thank goodness I set up a cosmic alert feature in advance. As expected, the old man is coming after me. He then instructed Little Blood, who was at the tribulation crossing realm. As soon as you see an old man in a gray robe, go and stop him. But don't kill him. Just give him a good beating. Little Blood understood, then started to show off in front of the core disciples. Yi Feng was a bit speechless. Meanwhile, not far from the Star Soul sect, Old Meng had also arrived. That kid definitely doesn't have any high-level formation flags left. I must kill him this time. Otherwise, my name isn't Meng Haifeng. This is definitely the most miserable tribulation crossing realm expert in history. Trapped by a junior for 3 days is one thing, but now he's also getting beaten up by that junior's minion. At this point, Old Meng is almost driven mad from being trapped. He's been confined by Yi Feng for a full 3 days. Just then, Little Blood quietly approaches Old Meng from behind, moving extremely fast. Old Meng is utterly astonished, sensing that the other has murderous intent. Old Meng warns her to back off, saying that he doesn't want to kill. But who is Little Blood to be threatened by him? Daring to hunt down my master even though you're only at the 4th level of tribulation crossing realm. You're really overestimating yourself. Old Meng is startled. Master, what kind of monster are you? But Little Blood ignores him and proceeds to beat up Old Meng, making him howl in pain. Little Blood sneers disdainfully. After all, I've passed 2 heavenly Dao Thunder tribulations. If I can't even handle you, my master would be angry. But my master doesn't plan to kill you. After I discipline you some more, I'll take you to meet my master. Then she proceeds to beat up old Meng fiercely. At this moment, little blood feels extremely gratified, finally getting a chance to take action. The master said, "I can beat you until even your mom doesn't recognize you." Then, the screams of old Meng can be heard. Meanwhile, Huang Xiaofei is in contact with his father, learning that old Meng came looking for them. Huang Xiaofei is puzzled, saying that he hasn't seen old Meng at all, especially after learning from his father that old Meng has been chasing for 3 days, and that old Meng just sent out a distress call and is now about to get killed. Huang Xiaofei is even more shocked. What's going on? On the other side, Yifeng and Meng Tongyu are discussing a possible collaboration. Huang Xiaofei rushes over hurriedly. Huang Xiaofei quickly asks Yifeng, "Have you seen an old man in a gray robe these past few days?" Yifeng replies, "Of course. Isn't he the enemy who's been chasing you? You guys need to learn to hide your tracks. If it weren't for me trapping him, you would have been killed by that old man. You don't need to thank me." Hearing this, Huang Xiaofei becomes frantic. "Brother Yi, that's a misunderstanding. Please call back the person you sent out. The old man in the gray robe is Meng Tonyu's father, not an enemy." Yifeng is shocked upon hearing this, letting out a big "oh crap." Meng Tonyu is also confused. What's going on? Just then, a figure descends from the sky, and when the smoke clears, it's old Meng who has been beaten up. He weakly calls out for help, feeling like he's about to breathe his last. At this moment, a barely alive old Meng is stepped on once more as he lands by little blood. "Master, I brought the person back. Did I do well this time?" Seeing this scene, Yifeng and the others are utterly stunned, not knowing what to say. Regaining his senses, Meng Tongyu quickly rushes towards his father, yelling, "Father, are you alright?" His expression is one of utter grief. Old Meng can only mumble incomprehensibly, and after a moment, his head tilts as if he has breathed his last. This makes Meng Tongyu even more heartbroken. "I never thought I'd send off my gray-haired parents so soon." Seeing this, Huang Xiaofei also feels like his head is about to explode. Yifeng doesn't know what to say, and little blood looks slightly red, clearly embarrassed, as if she's done something wrong. However, old Meng is not seriously injured, and after recuperating for a few hours, Huang Xiaofei explained the misunderstanding of this incident clearly to old Meng. At this point, Yifeng walks over to old Meng, who is in a wheelchair, and sincerely apologizes to him. He says he had thought old Meng was an enemy seeking revenge because he had been watching Huang Xiaofei and muttering to himself. Old Meng sighs, acknowledging that he also had a part to play in the misunderstanding. He says he didn't expect that young Master Yi was actually protecting his son and the young master. At this moment, old Xia walks out. "Old Meng, long time no see. I hope you've been well." Old Meng is startled. "Boss Xia, why are you here?" Old Xia says, "Don't call me boss anymore. I'm not involved in running the auction house. Now I'm an elder in the Star Soul sect, just looking for a place to retire after a lifetime of hard work." Hearing this, old Meng is surprised. The former head of a top-tier auction house is now an elder. Old Xia plays the role of mediator at this time. "If your business association wants to collaborate with our Star Soul sect, let me introduce you. Behind me is the sect master of Star Soul sect, Luo Qianxue, who is also the darling daughter of the sect master of Star Extreme sect, Luo Wuming. The others are core disciples of the Star Extreme sect. You should know what they represent." The core disciples also warmly greet old Meng and others, then go on to introduce by Tianhong, Luo Kai, and Little Blood, who is a great demon. Meng Tongyu is speechless. All of these individuals are heavyweights. At this point, everyone in the guest room starts to make small talk, but they seem to have forgotten something. The Star Soul sect has one more disciple. Wufeng, who is eavesdropping outside, feels a bit heartbroken. "I was the third disciple to join the sect. How come no one remembers me?" Hearing old Xia's detailed introductions, old Meng is incredibly shocked. He hadn't thought that such an inconspicuous small sect would have so many big names. Their backing must be more than just the Star Extreme sect. Just then, a figure carrying a tremendous sword aura appears. Old Meng is startled once more. There's yet another exceptionally talented sword cultivator. Meng Tongyu and Huang Xiaofei are also astounded. Who could this person be? Is it another heavyweight or one of Yifeng's fellow disciples? However, upon seeing this golden yellow figure, Meng Tongyu and Huang Xiaofei are completely dumbfounded. It's actually a little yellow dog. They can't believe what they're seeing. Little Yellow jumps into Yifeng's arms, furiously licking Yifeng's cheeks. Yifeng is also very happy, finally seeing his dog again. Old Bai and Luo Kai are left feeling helpless, wondering why all the good stuff always goes to the dog. They comment that it would be great if they were not human. At this moment, Yifeng starts to feed Little Yellow again, and in just a moment, a red sword aura bursts into the sky. Yes, Little Yellow has reached a realm that many sword cultivators can only dream of. The Sword Heart realm, the Sword Embryo Protoform. Old Meng starts to question his life. Even a dog has achieved so much, making them feel inferior to a dog. Huang Xiaofei secretly praises himself for his guess. Indeed, there is nothing ordinary in Brother Ye's possession. After all, Yifeng had given him the battle holy body. Luo Qianxue is also very annoyed at this time, but she can only hold it in, telling herself not to get angry. This originally belonged to the prodigal disciple. If he wants to squander it, so be it. But if the great ancestral elder were to see this, he would definitely lose his temper. Luo Kai feels like he made the right choice coming here. He had thought that Yifeng sharing the great demon's body was already the height of extravagance, but he never thought that Yifeng would also possess something that can break through to the Sword Heart realm. At this moment, core disciple Chen Haoyu steps forward, explaining to old Meng and others that this is just basic behavior for their junior disciple. Soon, old Meng and the others decide it's time to leave. Luo Qianxue wanted to invite them to stay overnight, but they declined, saying they have to go back and report to the chairman that they're safe. On the way back to the association, old Meng questions his son and the young master, asking what kind of deal they struck with Star Soul sect. To be honest, he's still somewhat skeptical about the authenticity of the blood ginseng pill formula. He also questions their trust in Yifeng, wondering if it's solely based on the formula. Upon hearing this, Meng Tongyu decides to demonstrate, giving Huang Xiaofei a knowing look. Then Huang Xiaofei unleashes the power of the battle holy body, indicating that it's due to this that they trust Yifeng. Old Meng is once again shocked, wondering if this could be that particular physique. If Brother Yi has even this, how could the formula be fake? Meng Tongyu confirms that he's correct, and points out that the young master has only partially fused with the battle holy body, but has already undergone a massive change in his comprehension abilities. Even heavenly tier high-level cultivation techniques can be understood with just one glance. Old Meng's attention is immediately shifted. He hurriedly asks where these heavenly tier high-level techniques are. Huang Xiaofei laughs, saying he used them as toilet paper while going to the bathroom. He too indulged in a rare act of extravagance. Old Meng is infuriated, calling it an act of prodigality. He then quickly takes the two away, planning to negotiate with the chairman. Believing that Yifeng's extravagant actions must indicate a significant background, he thinks offering a mere 10% profit is too low. They should give at least 20 to 30%. Meanwhile, in Luo Qinshua's study, Yifeng sits down and asks what the matter is. Luo Qinshua confronts him, saying she has underestimated him. In just a few days away from the sect, he's assumed multiple identities: core disciple, honorary elder, founded his own sect, and even taken the Valley Master of 10,000 Flower Valley as his disciple. So, what should she, as his master, call him? Luo Qinshua looks at Yifeng with disapproval. Yifeng quickly assures her that he will not require her to call him by those titles, saying that in life and death, he is her disciple, and he will always be her disciple. Upon saying this, he suddenly bursts into tears. The scene is truly touching. Yifeng thinks to himself that as long as he helps his master strengthen their sect, he will eventually win her over. Luo Qinshua is also moved by his words, though it's been somewhat chaotic. Yifeng is, after all, her only direct disciple in both lifetimes. Yifeng then starts to explain, saying the Valley Master of 10,000 Flower Valley only became his disciple because of a lost bet, and his honorary elder title was more for fun, accepted only due to the arrangements made by the 5 ancestral elders. Luo Qinshua says she won't delve into this matter anymore. The great ancestral elder contacted her, warning him not to squander the top-grade spiritual crystals in his possession, as they will be of great use in the future. Do you know that there's a mysterious place in the Heavenly Dao battlefield? Upon hearing this, Yifeng immediately knows she's talking about Heavenly Dao City. Luo Qinshua is startled, asking how he knows. Yifeng says he's already been there, but unfortunately, the Heavenly Dao token he had was only good for half a day. Luo Qinshua is flustered. She had planned to tease Yifeng a bit, but now the tables have turned. Yifeng then tells her about the interesting aspects of Heavenly Dao City, promising that the next time he goes to the Heavenly Dao battlefield, he will bring back more Heavenly Dao tokens, so they can both enjoy the city. He even plans to have powerful experts in the Tribulation Crossing realm serve her tea and water. Luo Qinshua is once again moved, thinking that although her disciple is quite extravagant, he is also considerate of her. She feels quite fortunate. Yifeng, upon seeing this softer side of his beautiful master, can't help but feel his heart stir. So, master does have this beautiful aspect to her. Moments later, both of them feel incredibly awkward. Luo Qinshua tells him to leave, and that she will inform the great ancestral elder about the situation with Heavenly Dao City. After leaving, Yifeng is deep in thought, feeling that his relationship with his master has deepened, but he can't rush things. He has to take it slow. Just then, Luo Kai silently appears behind him, giving Yifeng a start. It's been a while, Elder Luo. What brings you here? Luo Kai whispers, saying that he's heard Old Bai and Old Xia have been feeling unwell lately, so as a body cultivator, he offers his help, telling Yifeng to come to him if there's anything that needs doing, as Old Bai and Old Xia are getting on in years. Yifeng is speechless. So, you're here to curry favor with me? Just then, Old Bai suddenly appears on the rooftop. Luo Kai, I knew you were up to no good. At the same time, Old Xia also emerges from some nearby bushes, looking none too pleased. Luo Kai, you look shifty. Clearly, you're not up to anything good. Caught off guard, Luo Kai blurts, how long have you two been hiding? Both elders move behind Luo Kai. So you're saying we're not fit? Old Xia chimes in. When I was running the company single-handedly, you were still sucking on a bottle, leaving Luo Kai trembling with fear. Yifeng tells them to knock it off. There's no heavy lifting to be done today. Instead, he promises that any future manual labor will be split between the three of them. Seeing this, Old Bai and Old Xia decide not to bother Yifeng any longer, but they're not letting Luo Kai off the hook. They each grab an arm and drag him away. Luo Kai cries out, Yifeng, save me. Yifeng can only shrug. You're on your own, Elder Luo. Afterward, Yifeng returns to his dormitory for some much-needed rest, but he hears familiar voices. Oh, senior brothers and sisters, you're staying in his courtyard too? It's several core disciples, who warmly greet Yifeng. They even compliment him for reaching the peak of the Foundation realm after just a few days away. As everyone is chatting, Wu Feng, who is not too far away, is watching them. He thinks to himself that he needs to make an appearance, or his senior brother might forget about him. So he walks over, greets Yifeng, and inquires about how many minutes it took for him to break through. He even wonders if Yifeng jumped straight from the Qi activation realm to the Foundation realm. This earns him the skepticism of the core disciples. Brother Wu Feng, did you fry your brain while alchemy practicing? Even if junior brother Yifeng is strong, it's impossible to leap across two major realms in one go. It's not just about leaping realms. Even breaking through two minor realms would be tough. After all, the Foundation realm involves creating a spiritual lotus. However, Yifeng surprises them. Finally, someone who understands me. Wu Feng, you really get me. You have no idea how agonizing it was that no one witnessed the groundbreaking scene when I broke through. If only those two bystanders hadn't died. Wu Feng is stunned, then thinks to himself that he really does understand his senior brother best. The core disciples look at Yifeng incredulously. What do you mean, junior brother Yifeng? Is what Wu Feng saying actually true? Are you really that formidable? The core disciples surround Yifeng, asking him how he managed to achieve such consecutive breakthroughs, and if possible, could he teach them too? To change the subject, Yifeng turns to Wu Feng. Weren't you the one who once consumed 2,000 clear mysterious pills? Why haven't you tried breaking through to the Foundation realm yet? Speaking of this, Wu Feng is very grateful to Yifeng. Thankfully, the clear mysterious pills also worked for him at the merging spirit realm, allowing him to attain a pure constitution. He then explains why he hasn't tried breaking through. He initially intended to attempt reaching the Foundation realm, but his master said to wait until senior brother returned, since building the spiritual lotus is crucial for cultivators. Upon hearing this, Yifeng says, I see. I don't have anything that can help you yet, so just wait for a bit. Hearing their conversation, the core disciples are filled with envy. Why couldn't we have met junior brother before reaching the foundation realm? Then we could also have a pure constitution. Suddenly, Xia Tiantian says, we're all at the 9th level of the Purple Mansion realm, yet we haven't refined our lotuses to ascend to the original spirit realm. Xiao Tianming also agrees. We still have one chance at the original spirit realm. Thinking of this, they feel it's better to not rush their breakthroughs. Just then, a new system task is announced. Lead your fellow disciples to participate in the Sunlit Sect's Mystic Realm Grand Competition. You must get 2nd place. 1st place is not allowed. Success will reward you with spendthrift points, while failure will result in a deduction. Yifeng is somewhat surprised. What's this all about, and why must we get 2nd place? Although he's not sure what this grand competition involves, getting 2nd place and not allowing his fellow disciples to get 1st is tricky. What if the competitors forfeit and they accidentally get pushed to 1st place? That would be problematic. He then asks his senior brothers and sisters if they know about the Sunlit Sect's Mystic Realm Grand Competition. Jin Haoyu looks puzzled. How do you know about this, junior brother? Du Tianyu states that they did indeed receive an invitation from the Sunlit Sect a few days ago, but it was turned down by the Saintess after she learned about it. Hearing this, Yifeng decides to ask his beautiful master for more information. He then heads to Luo Qianshua's room. He directly inquires about the matter, asking if someone from the Sunlit Sect has sent an invitation. Luo Qianshua confirms and says, yes, the Sunlit Sect is the only first-class sect nearby. They have sent out invitations to dozens of surrounding sects for the Mystic Realm Grand Competition. However, any sect that agrees to participate must contribute certain resources to a secret realm. Although there is a limit to the number of participants each sect can send, each gets to keep whatever resources they acquire. It seems fair, but that secret realm is under the control of the Sunlit Sect. They are already extremely familiar with it, so other sects will surely be at a disadvantage. Upon hearing this, Yifeng says he is very interested in participating in this grand competition. However, Luo Qianshua turns down Yifeng's request, citing the sect's financial difficulties. Just after saying this, she regrets her words. After all, standing before her is a veritable god of wealth. How could he lack resources? Luo Qianshua is suddenly struck dumb. She completely forgot that this guy is a notorious spendthrift. Yifeng generously says, Master, are you lacking resources? I have some that I can contribute. Luo Qianshua's face turns a shade of awkward red, finding herself in the unusual situation of a disciple offering to provide resources to her. Yifeng immediately says that he can contribute 50 enlightenment pills, 50 9-leaf soul-returning herbs, 3 golden silkworm star shining stones, and 100 drops of great demon fairy blood. Luo Qianshua is stunned. Is this guy planning to squander all these assets? The total resources of other sects participating in the grand competition wouldn't even match the value of a single drop of great demon fairy blood. Yifeng cheekily asks, is this enough? When the other sects see these resources, they will surely go crazy, won't they? Luo Qianshua confirms that it's more than enough, but then says, you can't contribute these to the Mystic Realm Grand Competition. Since you're willing to squander resources, I'll just confiscate them all. As for the resources for the Mystic Realm Grand Competition, she says she'll provide them. However, Yifeng objects, stating that these items can't be contributed to the sect. Luo Qianshua is immediately annoyed, asking, what's your deal? Would you rather have other sects steal these items than give them to our own sect? Yifeng explains it's not that he's unwilling, but if these items were to be confiscated by the sect, he's sure that Master would treat these junky items like treasures and venerate them. That's a situation he absolutely can't allow. However, if you, Master, want to use them for something like soaking your feet, I'll gladly offer them up myself. Luo Qianshua indeed does want to treat them like treasures, but given that this prodigal disciple is intent on squandering them, she feels she has no choice. Better for him to waste them than for outsiders to get their hands on them. She decides to let Yifeng contribute as he wishes, following his conditions on how to squander the resources. Hearing this, Yifeng is ecstatic. If you're willing to follow my lead, there's no issue. You know, Master, you've always been frugal, but if you try squandering just once, you'll definitely get hooked. Once you start, you can't stop. Then, I'll use my status as a wealthy individual to win over your affection. Just then, a message from the system pops up. Host, weren't you planning to send these resources to the Mystic Realm Grand Competition? Yifeng responds, what's the Mystic Realm Grand Competition compared to my precious master? The system can't argue with that logic, conceding, fair point. You make a fair point. Yifeng then proceeds to hand over some of the resources to the Star Soul sect, considering them confiscated. Luo Qianshua asks, how should we squander the enlightenment pills? Yifeng suggests, Master, give 2 to each person and feed the rest to the dog. Hearing this, Luo Qianshua is annoyed but holds her tongue, then asks, and what about the soul-returning herbs? Yifeng continues, use them for foot soaks. As usual, give 2 stalks to each person and use the rest for the dog's bath. Luo Qianshua can't hold back anymore, a powerful aura disrupting the scene. Yifeng is taken aback, suggesting, Master, maybe we should just put these resources toward the Mystic Realm Grand Competition after all. It seems he overestimated his master's tolerance. Upon hearing this, Luo Qianshua goes back to being cheerful. No need, let's distribute it according to your plan. Now, what shall we do with the remaining 3 golden silkworm star shining stones? Yifeng wants to use them to forge some blades. Luo Qianshua is shocked. Has he turned a new leaf? Is he finally being proactive and wanting to create weapons? Just as she's about to let him forge some daggers, Yifeng blurts out that he wants to make knives and hoes, specifically to cultivate a field of spiritual grass for the sect. Luo Qianshua is furious, thinking he really can't change his old habits. Her blood pressure soaring, Luo Qianshua then asks about the 100 drops of great demon fairy blood. How should they be handled? Yifeng was about to suggest using them to water plants, but is startled by his master's aura. He quickly changes his tune. Let's give them to the sect as rewards for those who make significant advancements or contributions. What do you think, Master? Hearing this, Luo Qianshua finally cools down. Alright, let's do as you say. Yifeng thinks to himself that this is Master's first time squandering resources, and she's clearly not used to it yet. I'll have her spend more recklessly once she's accustomed to it. Better not provoke her today. Subsequently, Luo Qianshua notifies everyone to come to the main hall for a meeting. waiting. While waiting, she asks Yifeng, "You've known those two from the Shanghai Commerce Association for several days now, right? Tell me, how did you squander this time?" Yifeng says, "Nothing much. I just had them eat blood ginseng pills until they vomited." Luo Qianxue doesn't believe that's all and continues to press Yifeng for more. After some thought, Yifeng remembers, "Oh, in a heavenly tier high-level manual, I used it as toilet paper for Huang Xiaofei." Hearing this, Luo Qianxue feels like spitting blood but holds back. Although heavenly tier manuals are excellent, they're garbage in the upper realm. Yifeng then recalls that he also had some battle holy body fragments, and seeing that Huang Xiaofei seemed rather prodigal, he gave it to him. This sends Luo Qianxue's blood pressure through the roof. She can't believe there could be another battle holy body. She's seen someone with a battle holy body challenge her master before. That person wouldn't fall even with broken limbs and got stronger as the battle went on. Even though her master was a full realm above, she still lost. So, she carefully asks Yifeng about the details of this battle holy body. Yifeng thinks and says, "It seems you don't need to practice any techniques or martial skills. You just get stronger the more you fight, and the more severe the injuries, the more powerful you become." Hearing this, Luo Qianxue can't hold back anymore and spits up old blood. So it really is a battle holy body. But since it's already given to Huang Xiaofei, there's nothing I can do. You should just befriend him. The battle holy body is not as simple as you think, and its potential is beyond measure. However, Yifeng looks annoyed. Befriend him? I'd rather stay away from that kid. He keeps talking about diligently cultivating to create the top commerce association and becoming a weapon in my hands. So, master, don't you think he's a little off? At this point, Luo Qianxue is just numb. Did this disciple get his head caught in a door or something? Just then, Old Bai arrives with the others. They gather in front of the grand hall with puzzled looks. Old Bai asks Luo Qianxue, "Sect leader, why have you suddenly summoned us? Is something wrong?" Luo Qianxue looks frustrated. "No, it's just Yifeng here." She was about to let Yifeng announce the extravagances when Yifeng decisively slips away. "Master, I have to go to the bathroom. The rest is up to you." Luo Qianxue is dumbfounded. She's never been wasteful. Yifeng knows this, but believes that only when Master personally experiences it will she understand how gratifying it is to be wasteful. At this point, Luo Qianxue is frozen. She still thinks that such wasteful acts are merely disgraceful. If it weren't for the fact that Yifeng is her direct disciple, she would have taught him a lesson long ago. Her face then turns red with embarrassment as she officially begins the announcement. "The reason I've gathered everyone here today is for one thing, to be wasteful." Upon hearing this, everyone is incredulous. "Sect leader, you're actually going to be wasteful too." Even the dog barks twice, as if saying, "Sect leader, you're awesome." Seeing the dog, Luo Qianxue suddenly gets a jolt of inspiration. That's right, if Yifeng can be wasteful even on a dog, why should I worry? Besides, Yifeng will foot the bill in the end. With that, she begins to tap into her hidden nature, taking out all the resources, indicating these were all contributions from Yifeng. Seeing this, everyone cheers in unison, showering praises on the sect leader. Then Luo Qianxue begins to distribute the resources, enlightenment pills for everyone, 2 each, and 2 9-leaf soul-returning herbs each. At this point, core disciple Du Tianyu voices a question. "Doesn't that leave 28 of each remaining? How will those be allocated?" Luo Qianxue looks frustrated. "How else? They're all for the dog." Of course, the crowd is dumbfounded. They're even less important than a dog. Finally, Luo Qianxue also takes out the great demon fairy blood. This won't be wasted. You can earn it through hard cultivation or making great contributions. Any objections? Luo Kai is the first to agree. Absolutely no objections. Sect leader is wise. His primary reason for being here is for the great demon fairy blood, and he's pleased there's a way to acquire it so soon. If there are no objections, then this meeting is adjourned, says Luo Qianxue, handing the resources to Old Bai for distribution. Everyone is very satisfied with this meeting, some even wondering about year-end bonuses. Luo Qianxue then stares at the golden silkworm star shining stone, wondering how to craft it. She's never dealt with this before. Suddenly, she thinks of an acquaintance who could help. Inside Purple Phoenix City, a young girl is in the midst of crafting. Though she looks frail, she is indeed a blacksmith. She is Chu Xiao Xiao, Luo Qianxue's acquaintance and a freelance cultivator. At this moment, Luo Qianxue arrives. Chu Xiao Xiao looks up, surprised. "Sect leader Luo, what brings you here?" Luo Qianxue states that she has come to ask for some crafting help for her sect. Chu Xiao Xiao, however, immediately reaches out to pinch her cheek. "Long time no see. Let me feel you." "Ah, Luo Qianxue, you really need to work on your icy personality. Apart from my father and me, who's your close friend? Who else even likes you?" Feeling proud, Luo Qianxue replies, "My direct disciple can tolerate my personality." This immediately piques Chu Xiao Xiao's interest in gossip. "Direct disciple? Male or female? How old? What are their measurements? Last time you were with that Wu Feng, turns out he isn't your top disciple. You've been hiding this direct disciple from me, haven't you? Learning to keep a hidden gem." "Huh?" Pouting, Luo Qianxue retorts, "Well, you never asked. Enough about him. He's just a wastrel. Do you have time to help me craft some kitchen knives and hose?" Chu Xiao Xiao, though eager to hear more gossip, focuses on the task at hand. "Knives and hose are minor. They can wait a few days. My grandfather is currently preparing to craft an extraordinary weapon, so we're quite busy." Just then, a figure bursts forth. "We have time. It's Chu Xiao Xiao's grandfather, Chu Hongshan. That weapon I'm working on can wait. Help Luo Qianxue with her knives and hose first." Then he turns to Luo Qianxue, making small talk. "How are those 5 old codgers? Are they doing well?" Luo Qianxue politely responds that the 5 ancestral elders are in good health. Chu Hongshan then instructs Chu Xiao Xiao to go ahead and craft those mundane items for Luo Qianxue. Anyway, it won't take much time. However, Luo Qianxue states that it's not just about crafting ironware. She has a small additional request. "No problem. Go ahead," says Chu Hongshan with a jovial smile. Luo Qianxue then takes out the golden silkworm star shining stone. "I need Chu Xiao Xiao to help me infuse these spiritual ores into the ironware." Upon seeing the golden silkworm star shining stone, both grandfather and granddaughter are stunned, their eyes widening in surprise. "Is this from those 5 old codgers in your family?" Chu Hongshan asks, puzzled. Chu Xiao Xiao is downright angry. "You wastrel. You actually want want to infuse gold and silkworm star shining stones into ironware? Don't tell me you plan to use these exquisitely crafted items for mundane tasks like slaughtering chickens and ducks in the sex kitchen, or using the hose for tilling a spiritual grass garden. Keeping a stern face, Luo Qianxue replies, yes, that's exactly it. Although inside, she's chuckling. She finds it amusing how people look incredulous, and it gives her great joy. Is this the joy of wasteful spending? Frustrated, Chu Hongshan turns away and vents his anger by stomping on the ground. You're really killing me here. Meanwhile, on the other side of Purple Phoenix City, Yifeng is strolling around with Little Blood. I never thought the city would have such tasty grilled skewers. I know lots of fun places. I can take you there next time. Just then, they are startled by a massive explosion. Little Blood quickly shields Yifeng from the blast's impact. What just happened? Yifeng asks, puzzled. To find out what's going on, Yifeng decides to head towards the direction of the explosion. The two quickly make their way, one running and the other flying, and soon arrive at Chu Hongshan's location. Seeing Chu Hongshan wielding a large knife and glaring at his beautiful master, Yifeng initially thinks his master is in danger. However, Chu Hongshan is just furious about the wasteful use of the gold and silkworm star shining stone. He initially thinks it was the 5 old codgers who had given Luo Qianxue the stones for her wasteful plan, and is intent on confronting them at the Star Extreme sect. Do you know how rare these gold and silkworm star shining stones are? Even in the Heavenly Dao battlefield, there are only a few. People have shed rivers of blood to obtain them, and you want to use them in ironware? I've never seen such wastefulness in all my years. Chu Hongshan exclaims, getting ready to leave to confront the 5 elders. Luo Qianxue quickly starts explaining, this has nothing to do with the 5 ancestral elders. An honorary elder gave me the gold and silkworm star shining stones. Who is this honorary elder and where is he? Chu Hongshan presses. Just then, Yifeng and Little Blood burst onto the scene, exuding a powerful aura. An angry Yifeng approaches. Who dares to bully my master? Chu Hongshan looks bewildered. And who are you? Yifeng rushes to Luo Qianxue's side. Fear not, master, your disciple has come to rescue you. I am Yifeng, the direct disciple of Star Soul sect. Then he turns to Luo Qianxue. Master, can you please make my life a bit easier? It's good that I was wandering around here. Otherwise, what would I do if something happened to you? Upon hearing this, Luo Qianxue blushes and feels a bit sweet inside. Though Yifeng might be extravagant, he really does take care of her. Just as she is about to clarify the situation, Yifeng interrupts her and instructs Little Blood to escort her away. I don't want master to see blood, he says. Thus, Luo Qianxue, without having a chance to explain, is whisked away by Little Blood. The scene is now left with just Chu Hongshan, Chu Xiao, and Yifeng in a standoff. How dare you, you old geezer, try to steal from my master and even think about harming her? Who the hell gave you the courage? Chu Xiao is furious. How dare you insult my grandfather like that? She's about to make her move, but Chu Hongshan stops her. To be honest, he quite likes this guy. Chu Xiao doesn't understand. He insulted you, and you're still protecting him? Chu Hongshan replies, if you had a disciple who was as dedicated to protecting you, I would be very happy. At this moment, Little Blood returns to Yifeng's side, indicating that she has taken the sect leader to a safe location and isolated the area with a barrier. Yifeng praises her for doing a good job. Chu Hongshan then speaks, I admit your magical beast is strong, but have you ever considered what you would do if I were stronger than it? Yifeng says, would you like to bet? Chu Hongshan asks, bet on what? I bet you won't be able to hurt me, even if you attack with all your might. Chu Hongshan chuckles and then leaps into the air, his fist charged with tremendous power. Let's see how you handle my full strength. The next moment, there's a thunderous roar across the field. However, his punch doesn't land on Yifeng, but is blocked by a single finger instead. Moments later, a rather skinny figure appears behind Yifeng, tearing through the space. He's a new member of the Divine Tycoon's Guard. Smiling, he says, finally, it's my turn to come out. With just a slight flick, the new Divine Tycoon's Guard member sends Chu Hongshan flying through the air. At this point, a new character appears in front of them, a man with only one arm. My lord, shall I annihilate this entire city? The one-armed man asks. Yifeng is speechless. Are you here to protect me or destroy the city? The one-armed man then erupts with a terrifying aura. So you're the ones who wish to harm my lord? Don't worry, I won't kill you outright. I'll first slice the flesh off your bodies, creating perfect skeletons with only the head intact. Then, I'll make you eat the flesh of your kin piece by piece. These words make Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiao shudder in fear. Chu Xiao hurriedly clarifies, we're not enemies. I'm your master's best friend, and he's my grandfather. We haven't harmed your master. If you don't believe us, you can go ask her. Upon hearing this, Yifeng is stunned. He sends Little Blood to inquire from his master whether Chu Xiao's words are true, but specifically instructs that his master should not be brought back as he doesn't want to frighten her. A few minutes later, Little Blood returns with a voice recording stone, indicating that indeed, his master had referred to Chu Hongshan as Grandpa Chu. The one-armed man says, misunderstanding or not, he dared to raise his hand against you, my lord, and for that, he must die. Yifeng looks at this intensely murderous guard member. What exactly are you trying to do? Forgetting his place, the one-armed man suggests that Yifeng is too kind. He is met with a stern warning from Yifeng. Are you trying to tell me what to do? Yifeng then employs the system's powers to suppress the one-armed man. He discreetly queries the system about what to do if a member of the Divine Tycoon's Guard steps out of line. The system's response is unequivocal. No mercy. Sensing this, the suppression from the system intensifies. The one-armed man realizes the deadly intent of his master and begs, please, my lord, don't suppress me any further. I won't dare to do it again. Yifeng coldly speaks, I'll give you one chance to live. Come with me. He takes the one-armed man into the blacksmith shop and asks him to explain the specifics about the Divine Tycoon's Guard. The one-armed man respectfully states that including him, there are currently 10 official members of the Divine Tycoon's Guard. To become a member, one must go through rigorous selection processes with various assessments. Even after becoming a member, there are periodic reviews, and failing these assessments means expulsion. The sole duty of a member is to protect Yifeng, even at the cost of their own lives. They would never betray their master. After understanding the situation, Yifeng spares the one-armed man, instructing him to reflect on his actions actions. He warns that any future insubordination will result in his immediate death. Trembling, the one-armed man expresses gratitude for Yifeng's mercy before returning to the Divine Tycoon's guard. Yifeng then attempts to inquire from the system about the true nature of the Divine Tycoon's guard, but is met with a refusal. The system states that it can't explain the situation for now. Nevertheless, Yifeng has garnered some understanding. It appears that not all members of the Divine Tycoon's guard are as straightforward as the golden-armored strongman. Some are bloodthirsty like the one he encountered today. Yifeng finds this diversity intriguing and speculates that the other yet unseen members may have their unique quirks as well. Yifeng then exits and apologizes to Chu Hongshan and Chu Xiaoxiao, stating that the previous events were all misunderstandings. To make amends and request their silence about the Divine Tycoon's guard, he offers them 5 pieces of gold and silkworm star shining stones as compensation. Puzzled, Chu Xiaoxiao asks, "Who exactly are you? Why are you getting close to Luo Qianxue? If you don't explain, I will tell her." Chu Xiaoxiao threatens. Before she can say more, Chu Hongshan covers her mouth and assures Yifeng they will keep the secret. Relieved, Yifeng signals for Little Blood to bring in Master Luo Qianxue. "Why did you stop me, Grandpa?" Chu Xiaoxiao asks. Puzzled, Chu Hongshan advises her to worry less. "This guy won't harm Luo Qianxue. Let's mind our own business and go make some knives and hoes." Resigned, Chu Xiaoxiao agrees, but still worries about Luo Qianxue. She decides she will keep an eye on Yifeng when they visit Luo Qianxue's sect, vowing that Yifeng won't harm Luo Qianxue in any way. At that moment, Luo Qianxue walks over, puzzled. "What were you all doing?" "It's a misunderstanding." "All a misunderstanding," Yifeng says, blaming Little Blood for the confusion. "She said you were in danger, Master, so I came." Not daring to contradict, Little Blood takes the blame silently. Yifeng quickly takes his leave with Little Blood before Luo Qianxue can say more. Once Yifeng is gone, Chu Hongshan approaches Luo Qianxue. "Your disciple is quite something," he says. Returning to a previous topic, "You said earlier that the gold and silkworm star shining stone was given by an honorary elder, but where does Star Extreme Sect have an honorary elder?" Caught in an awkward position, Luo Qianxue doesn't know how to explain. Eventually, she admits, "The so-called honorary elder is actually my direct disciple. The gold and silkworm star shining stone was also given by him." Chu Hongshan is confused. What's so special about Yifeng that those 5 old guys would do something so ridiculous? Chu Xiaoxiao is also baffled. "Doesn't that mean you have to call Yifeng Elder Yi? How did he manage to do this?" Luo Qianxue explains, "Because he is rich." Yifeng contributed 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals, allowing Star Extreme Sect to spend freely. Hearing this, Chu Hongshan nearly chokes, but soon nods understandingly. "Ah, I see. 100 million top-grade spirit stones is indeed quite a sum. Seems like I misunderstood." Chu Xiaoxiao interrupts. "It's not spirit stones. It's 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals." Chu Hongshan feels dizzy. "Could you not speak? Can't you let me face a less harsh reality?" Just then, an idea occurs to Chu Hongshan, and he tries to curry favor with Luo Qianxue. "I treat you as if you were my own granddaughter. Why don't Chu Xiaoxiao and I join your sect?" Luo Qianxue is speechless. "Not this again. My Star Soul sect already has more elders than disciples. Am I running a retirement home?" Seeing Luo Qianxue hesitating, Chu Hongshan thinks of how to persuade her. "Look, your sect is newly established, and you don't have many powerful figures. I am a 9th grade refining master, and my connections over the years might be of some use." Luo Qianxue is indeed tempted. After all, a top-tier refining master with connections is something no sect would refuse. Seeing this, Luo Qianxue decides not to overthink it. "Well, Grandpa Chu, refining in the sect will rely on you guys from now on. Having one more elder doesn't really matter." Chu Hongshan chuckles mischievously. "So, it's a yes then?" Chu Xiaoxiao feels a bit confused throughout the process. Did I just get bundled and sold? Meanwhile, in Earthsealed City, the top warriors of Mirror Moon Manor have been mobilized. The bystanders are incredibly surprised, wondering who could have provoked Mirror Moon Manor. Rumor has it that its master, Zhang Shufeng, is a formidable figure who has crossed the first tribulation. It turns out they are seeking revenge for Zhang Hang, a young prodigal son killed by a member of Divine Tycoon's guard. Zhang Shufeng, being Zhang Hang's father, is leading a group of experts from the manor, tracking Yifeng's marker. At this moment, Yifeng and Little Blood are wandering around Purple Phoenix City, feeling restless without an opportunity to splurge. Little Blood is pondering, where can we spend a lot of money? Suddenly, she remembers something and suggests, there's a marketplace in the northern part of the city. Maybe we can find something interesting there. Yifeng's eyes sparkle at the suggestion. Why didn't you mention this earlier? Lead the way. Soon they arrive at the marketplace in the northern district. As they enter, they hear countless merchants hawking their goods. Many of the items are from the Heavenly Dao battlefield, and they range from martial arts techniques to all kinds of artifacts. There are even brothels. It's a place where you can find almost anything. However, Yifeng finds the excessive enthusiasm of the people a bit uncomfortable. As they wander around, Yifeng suddenly receives a system alert, informing him of the presence of a Heavenly Dao token. He is directed to buy an old token that contains the Heavenly Dao token. Yifeng quickly starts searching. Where's the Heavenly Dao token? This is extremely important to me. Soon after, he spots a worn-out token. The vendor, a guy named Li Xiaoming, secretly labels Yifeng as a sucker for showing interest in a shabby token. Li Xiaoming enthusiastically starts to pitch the token to Yifeng, describing it as incredibly valuable. He even claims that he almost died on the Heavenly Dao battlefield to obtain it. Enough with the nonsense. Just tell me how much it costs. Yifeng interrupts, caught off guard by Yifeng's straightforwardness. Li Xiaoming quickly quotes a price of 3 million low-grade spirit stones, but as soon as he says it, he wonders if he's asked for too much. After all, the token's market price is really only worth about 50, shipping included. To Li Xiaoming's surprise, Yifeng doesn't even haggle. He simply places a ring containing 3 million low-grade spirit stones into Li Xiaoming's hand, saying, "No need to negotiate. Let's go with the 3 million price." Li Xiaoming is stunned. Who buys something without even haggling over the price? Could it be that the token actually has some big secret? Wanting to know the truth, Li Xiaoming asks, "Can you tell me what the token is actually worth? I want to know how much I've lost missed out on. Yifeng responds, the value of this token depends on the individual. For me, it's extremely important, so even if it costs 3 million top-grade spirit stones, I would still buy it. Upon hearing this, Li Xiaoming is utterly flabbergasted. 3 million top-grade spirit stones? Did I just miss out big time? Thinking this, he becomes anxious and decides he can't let them go so easily. That's 3 million top-grade spirit stones we're talking about, thinks Li Xiaoming, feeling like he's suffered a terrible loss. A strong killing intent erupts from him. Little Blood senses it and informs Yifeng, that vendor from earlier seems to be targeting us. Yifeng is somewhat surprised. He actually dares to make a move. Then, in a cheerful mood, he finds a tavern and sits down, waiting for Li Xiaoming to attempt an ambush. Little Blood is speechless. Even though that vendor is weak, what's going on with my master? Why is he so happy about being targeted? Meanwhile, Li Xiaoming finds an accomplice, tells him about Yifeng, and suggests that the token might be worth more than 3 million top-grade spirit stones. He feels it's very valuable and can be sold for a high price. Plus, Yifeng must have a lot of money on him. A rogue cultivator named Tiger Boss agrees to help, but warns Li Xiaoming that if they don't gain anything from this, he will turn against him. The two then head to the tavern where Yifeng is staying. As they approach Yifeng's room, they hear Little Blood's voice saying, "Master, you can't do this, it's too much." Upon hearing this, the two men start imagining inappropriate scenes. Inside the room, Yifeng is arranging 2,000 low-grade spiritual crystals. Little Blood comments, "Isn't this too much? Giving robbers 2,000 spiritual crystals is like giving them 200,000 top-grade spirit stones. They'll make a fortune." Yifeng replies, "Who said anything about letting them leave alive? Keep a close watch. As soon as they pick up these spiritual crystals, you'll take them out. Remember, only act once they've taken all these spiritual crystals. This is a momentous occasion. Give them hope and then destroy everything they have." Little Blood makes a face. What kind of manipulative behavior is this? Just then, Tiger Boss and Li Xiaoming kick the door open. Yifeng, who has been waiting, greets them with a smile and offers the low-grade spiritual crystals. "Since you're willing to rob me, it means you value me. I hope you won't mind these 2,000 low-grade spiritual crystals." Tiger Boss and Li Xiaoming are stunned. What is this? All those spiritual crystals seem valuable. They're only worth 200,000 top-grade spirit stones. We came for 3 million top-grade spirit stones. Annoyed, Yifeng responds, "So you're saying it's not enough?" Li Xiaoming is infuriated. "Of course, didn't you say you wouldn't hesitate to pay 3 million top-grade spirit stones? Why are you offering just these few spiritual crystals?" Ignoring them, Yifeng turns to his system interface. "Look at this. Even robbers are looking down on me, the big spender." Tiger Boss and Li Xiaoming then demand, "Hand over the 3 million top-grade spirit stones, and we'll spare your lives." Yifeng tells them to shut up, clearly irritated. Before he can elaborate, the Divine Tycoon's guard acts. The golden armored strongman's large hand grips both of their heads and crushes them in an instant. The golden armored strongman appears behind him and snorts, "You pathetic losers are not even worthy of robbing my master." Yifeng is stunned. Why did the Divine Tycoon's guard appear before I was even in danger? The system explains, it's the first time the big spender has been robbed. Uncommon. These kinds of people don't deserve to be part of your extravagant history. Yifeng is speechless. "So, it's my fault that I was robbed by someone unworthy?" Feeling humiliated, Yifeng is approached by Little Blood. "What about these spiritual crystals? They haven't been taken yet." Just then, the system compensates Yifeng with 100,000 spendthrift points, 109 stage 1,000 feather sword array flags, and 19 dragons burning sky cauldron. The sword array can collect spiritual energy within its range to form thousands of feather-like swords that autonomously attack any living beings within the formation. The 9 dragons burning sky cauldron contains the souls of 9 demonic dragons and can refine countless spiritual grass, burn the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and produce supreme divine pills. Seeing these many rewards from the system, Yifeng instantly cheers up. Looks like this damn system still has some conscience. He then returns to the Star Soul sect. As he enters, he hears Old Bai and others talking. "Where are you tired from? For so many years, the intensity of the training has been the same. Think about whether it's your own problem. Are you not practicing well? Are you not putting in enough effort?" He sees Luo Kai and 2 others sitting there, instructing the disciples in training. Yifeng, watching secretly, is completely puzzled. What's going on here? He notices that the disciples have been trained to the point of exhaustion. As soon as they see Yifeng has returned, the core disciples and Len Wufeng start complaining. "You're finally back. Please save us. The 3 elders have gone crazy." The core disciples also swarm him. "Junior brother, you've got to help us. If you don't help us soon, we're going to die." Yifeng is left bewildered and at a loss for what to do. "First, let go of me," Yifeng says, trying to free himself. At the same time, the 3 elders also come over, their eyes twinkling. "Yifeng, you're finally back." Old Bai chuckles. "Yifeng, now that you're back, shall we arrange some training for you?" Yifeng feels overwhelmed. "Stay away. I don't want to train." However, the next moment leaves him bewildered. Old Bai and Old Xia start serving him tea and giving him massages, acting completely like sycophants. Luo Kai, still not getting the situation, asks, "Weren't you planning to have Yifeng join the training?" The 2 elders laugh and say, "You're still too naive. This guy is a god of wealth. How could we make him suffer? And you still want to take credit? Go play in the mud." Feeling played, Luo Kai says, "So that's how you want to play, huh?" He then disregards everything and picks Yifeng up. The core disciples rarely praise Luo Kai and think he's being fair, intending to also have Yifeng start training. However, after lifting Yifeng into the air, Luo Kai starts using his Vitra palm to blast the ground below. A moment later, Luo Kai says to Yifeng, "Here you go." Turns out, he's also eager to win Yifeng's favor. Disliking the simple mound of dirt, he turns it into a sparkling golden chair, saying, "Only this is fitting for a spendthrift tycoon like you." Yifeng is very pleased with this. "Elder Luo, you're quite considerate." Now, it's the core disciples' turn to be stunned. The core disciples look at Luo Kai with disdain. "So this is all you amount to, Elder Luo?" Not being polite to them anymore, Luo Kai orders, "Go intensify your training now." Upon hearing intensify training, Yifeng remembers a certain reward, the 100,000 feather sword array flags. He asks the system if their power can be adjusted. The system confirms confirms it can, with a duration of 10 hours. However, for non-host usage, others would need to mark the flags with their blood to control their power. Yifeng is elated. If it can be adjusted, then it's perfect, he says, confusing everyone. What's going on? Yifeng takes out the flags. Elders, it seems your training methods for our brothers aren't very effective. Why don't we use these 9th rank flags to train them? Their power can be adjusted. The core disciples are speechless. Junior brother, how could you do this to us? It's one thing not to save us, but now you're adding insult to injury? Even Luo Kai thinks this is a bit too much. We're just training them. It's not like we're trying to kill them. Dragging his injured body. Yifeng explains, Elder Luo, you're thinking too small. With a tone that implies he's considering the well-being of his senior brothers, Yifeng continues, as long as it makes them stronger, what's a little suffering? It breaks my heart to see them suffer too. Luo Kai is somewhat speechless. Yifeng, you're laying it on a bit thick, aren't you? Have some shame. Fine, it's just a flag. Let them suffer a bit. The core disciples feel like crying. Junior brother, are you trying to kill us? The core disciples are distressed, but take some comfort in the fact that there's only one flag. However, Yifeng awkwardly pulls out more flags, explaining that one flag can only last for 10 hours, so he prepared more. Seeing this, the core disciples feel like spitting blood and immediately seek help from Luo Wuming, thinking they'll be done for if he doesn't intervene. Just as Chen Haoyu is about to explain the situation, Yifeng stops him and quietly grants him a privilege to supervise others, under the condition that he won't tell their master. Chen Haoyu immediately hangs up the communicator and declares righteously, as the senior brother, it's my duty to guide junior brothers and sisters in this small matter. Meanwhile, in Star Extreme Sect, Luo Wuming is quite confused. What's the situation with this kid? First, he says he wants me to pick them up, and now he's hung up. Should I go or not? At this point, the great ancestral elder appears and asks what's going on. Luo Wuming explains that the core disciples want to come back. At this moment, the great ancestral elder and others are dressed like beggars, each holding a broken bowl, confusing Luo Wuming even more. What's going on with you all? Seizing the opportunity, the great ancestral elder says, my old friend Bai Gang has come to visit and hasn't met Yifeng yet. So, I thought, while the core disciples are occupied, I'd take my old friend to meet Yifeng. You all don't mind, do you? Bai Gang looks confused. When did I say I wanted to meet this Yifeng? The other ancestral elders are furious. You sly old fox. So that's why you invited Bai Gang and wouldn't let him leave, just waiting for an excuse to go see Yifeng. You're shameless. And so, the great ancestral elder gains the opportunity to leave the sect, traveling at a speed of 500 meters per 0.5 seconds. The great ancestral elder and Old Bai rush to their destination. However, Old Bai starts to feel carsick. The great ancestral elder stops to let him recover, and Old Bai immediately throws up. Feeling a bit embarrassed, the great ancestral elder apologizes. Sorry, I flew too fast. Old Bai is puzzled. Even if you're in a hurry to get to Star Soul Sect, why are you dressed like a beggar? The great ancestral elder retorts. What do you know? This isn't beggar attire. It's my winning outfit. He then asks Old Bai about the mind-calming incense and its effects. Old Bai's eyes light up. This stuff is excellent. Why don't you give me a few more? The great ancestral elder explains that he got the mind-calming incense by begging from Yifeng while wearing this winning outfit. Now do you question my choice of attire? Hearing this, Old Bai goes crazy. Why didn't you say so earlier? Do you have more of these winning outfits? Get me one. And so, the two embark on a journey to secure more winning outfits. Meanwhile, back at the Star Soul Sect, the core disciples are suffering under the sword array. Thanks to the special privilege Yifeng granted him, Chen Haoyu doesn't have to train with the rest, but instead supervises them. As soon as the array's energy is depleted, he adds more flags. Wufeng is also trying to stick close to Yifeng. Senior brother, you're so good to me. Yifeng tells him not to get the wrong idea. He brought him over to ask him something, and once he's got his answer, Wufeng will have to go back to training. Wufeng becomes distressed. Senior brother, you're not just asking me about alchemy, are you? Don't you love me anymore? Yifeng playfully looks at him. You guessed it. That's exactly why I called you over. It's about alchemy. Yifeng confirms. Before Wufeng can even answer, Old Xia kicks him away. You should go back to the killing array for training. With our 9th grade alchemist here, any question you have can be answered. Yifeng looks at Old Xia reluctantly. Then I'll have to trouble you. He then brings out the 9 dragons burning sky cauldron and shares its specifications. This cauldron can refine thousands of spiritual grasses, burn spiritual energy between heaven and earth, and produce supreme divine pills. Upon hearing this grandiose description, Old Xia is stunned. He can't believe that the cauldron is as amazing as Yifeng claims. He begins to mock Yifeng. To refine thousands of spiritual grasses, it must at least be at the heavenly tier, and there are only 5 heavenly tier furnace cauldrons in the entire mysterious heaven continent. I struggled a lot to even get an earth tier furnace cauldron. Don't try to fool me. As for burning spiritual energy between heaven and earth, to achieve that, the cauldron must have a cauldron spirit, which I've never heard of. And as for producing divine pills, that's just a legend in mysterious heaven continent. Yifeng is full of confidence. Hearing you say this, Old Xia, only makes me more convinced that this furnace cauldron surpasses the heavenly tier. Watch carefully. He then releases the 9 dragon souls, and the entire sky turns into a sea of fire. Luo Qianxue, not far away, is incredibly shocked. Dragon souls? How could they appear in this lower world? After a moment, Yifeng retracts the dragon souls, and both of them look at the furnace cauldron in silence. Yifeng, having tested the 9 dragons burning sky cauldron, is extremely excited. This furnace cauldron is too powerful. I feel like I could use it for barbecues in the future. Old Xia is flustered. I knew it. Bringing out this furnace cauldron could only mean you're up to something wasteful. Just then, Luo Qianxue rushes over, blurting out, Yifeng, I knew it was you. She then asks if this is the cauldron that just released the cauldron spirit. Yifeng confirms and asks if she wants to try it. Luo Qianxue is indeed interested, but the furnace cauldron seems to have no reaction to her. Did you claim it by shedding blood into it? She asks. Yifeng curiously responds, I don't think so, but it nearly drained all my spiritual energy earlier. Luo Qianxue is surprised. That means you've been approved by the cauldron spirit. You should know, the power you wielded with those 9 dragon souls could have destroyed the Star Soul Sect dozens of times over. Even Even someone who has survived 9 heavenly Dao thunder tribulations could be slain by you at this furnace cauldron. At this moment, old Xia sidles up to Luo Qianxue, startling her. He suggests that she persuade Yifeng not to be so wasteful. He actually wants to use this furnace cauldron for barbecuing. Its demonic dragon cauldron spirit can burn through space itself, and yet he wants to use it for grilling meat. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue couldn't help but rub her forehead in exasperation. She asks Yifeng if he understands how powerful this furnace cauldron is. With this, you could walk sideways in this world. Yifeng isn't concerned. People are like iron and food is like steel. Miss a meal and you'll starve. I'm not interested in walking sideways. Barbecuing sounds much better. Unwilling to give up, Luo Qianxue continues to persuade him. This furnace cauldron is a supreme treasure. It can refine any pill and kill any enemy in this lower world. If used properly, the possibilities are endless. Yifeng maintains that barbecuing is the best use for it. Switching topics, Yifeng asks, Master, what would you like to eat tonight? How about we use this furnace cauldron for a barbecue? Luo Qianxue gets furious, draws her longsword, and is about to strike Yifeng. Old Xia hurriedly steps in to stop her. Sect leader, you can't. He's still your direct disciple after all. Luo Qianxue demands to be let go, intent on cutting down this rebellious disciple. Seeing the situation, Yifeng quickly makes his exit. Master, old Xia, you two chat. I won't disturb you. Being a disciple is hard work, always getting hit and scolded by the master. I wonder if Li Fei has returned to the sect. Kind of miss him. Meanwhile, in the dark flame sect within the heaven fire realm, Li Fei is trembling as he lies on the ground because he had gone to the heavenly Dao battlefield without permission. He's being punished by his master, Sun Tianyu, who is also the sect leader of Dark Flame sect. While Li Fei continues to tremble, Sun Tianyu walks over, grabs him by the head, and lifts him up. Warning, from today, you are not allowed to leave the sect until you've broken through to the foundation realm. At this moment, the great ancestral elder of the Dark Flame sect, Wang Qingshan, appears, muttering to himself, who is this Sword Dao friend visiting? When he sees Li Fei, he is shocked. Sun Tianyu is puzzled. What Sword Dao friend? There's no one visiting. Wang Qingshan senses the sword intent within Li Fei. Wang Qingshan asks him to explain himself. Li Fei really doesn't want to talk, but seeing the situation, both Sun Tianyu and Wang Qingshan start beating him up. You dare to hide things? Speak up. What's going on? I thought you hated sword cultivators. Li Fei pleads for them to stop hitting him and begins to explain. He says that he met a spendthrift in the heavenly Dao battlefield who had a fragment of death sword intent. When this person learned that he didn't like sword cultivators, he forcefully gave the death sword intent fragment to him. Just like that, during a quick trip to the restroom, I acquired death sword intent. So, great ancestral elder, please don't blame me. I didn't want this. Upon hearing this, Wang Qingshan's face darkens. I spent 60 years cultivating Skyflame sword intent, and you gain death sword intent in a few minutes? Sun Tianyu then gives Li Fei a warning look. So, what do you plan to do now? With his mindset focused on slacking off, Li Fei naturally doesn't want to cultivate strenuously. He says that he will avoid all things related to the sword in the future, and over time, he will forget about the sword intent. Wang Qingshan is furious. You want to forget the sword intent? He then proceeds to beat up Li Fei again and declares that he will personally guide him in the way of the sword. Li Fei is freaked out and quickly turns to Sun Tianyu for help, who is more than happy to have the great ancestral elder educate his good-for-nothing disciple. Meanwhile, back at Star Soul Sect, a new day dawns. Yifeng's extravagant acquisitions for today are updated. 10 heavenly tier furnace cauldrons. Yifeng is speechless. How exactly am I supposed to go broke with these alchemy furnaces? He recalls that old Xia had mentioned that these heavenly tier furnace cauldrons are highly sought after across the entire mysterious heaven continent. Just then, the door to Yifeng's room gets kicked open. It's Luo Qianxue, and she looks frantic as if something has happened. Yifeng, who has just woken up, is completely bewildered. Master, what's going on? Couldn't you have just knocked? Luo Qianxue is here to scold Yifeng. How could you just casually leave the 9 dragons burning sky cauldron in the yard? Yifeng thought it was something serious and responds, Master, it's just an old alchemy furnace. No need to make a big fuss. Do you want me to enshrine it or something? Luo Qianxue's face turns red. She was actually thinking along those lines. What's wrong with venerating such a supreme treasure? Yifeng tries to pacify her. Let's not get worked up over that old furnace. Let's talk about how to squander wealth if one had 10 heavenly tier furnace cauldrons. Luo Qianxue looks unamused. How to squander? Every time you ask about something, haven't you already acquired it? She then decides she doesn't want to deal with him anymore. She's already unhappy with his wasteful behavior, and now he wants her advice on how to be more wasteful. Absolutely not. Yifeng pleads. Don't go, master. I'm still learning. Please offer some guidance. Luo Qianxue quickens her pace, mumbling, this is infuriating. Out of sight, out of mind. As she passes through the yard, old Xia is thoughtfully wiping and arranging the 9 dragons cauldron. Seeing Luo Qianxue walk by, old Xia asks if she's going out to purchase medicinal herbs. He reminds her that there's no need to buy any. They had already bought a large batch a few days ago, and it should be sufficient. Luo Qianxue says she'll get some spiritual ore instead. She just wants to get out and clear her mind. Old Xia says that for spiritual ore, she'll have to talk to Elder Chu. Luo Qianxue gets frustrated. Why are you being so nosy? Fine, I'll go out and buy some elixirs instead. Old Xia suddenly realizes that it seems Luo Qianxue is upset, probably because of Yifeng again. He almost forgot that it's time for Yifeng's regular squandering. Without giving any more attention to Luo Qianxue, old Xia hurries toward Yifeng's residence. Luo Qianxue feels vexed, wondering if everyone is deliberately making her life difficult. Upon arriving, old Xia tells Yifeng to wait. Why should a young man like you do such manual labor? Let me handle this. Seeing old Xia's enthusiasm, Yifeng is somewhat dumbfounded. Why aren't you using spiritual energy? Old Xia replies that using spiritual energy wouldn't make it manual labor. I need the exercise. Curious, old Xia asks what Yifeng is digging a hole for. Yifeng asks him to come out and explains the purpose of the hole. He then takes out a heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Old Xia is incredulous. Is this a heavenly tier furnace cauldron? What are you planning to do with it? Feeling a bit guilty, Yifeng says, I'm planning to use it as a toilet. That hole is essentially a latrine. The mental image of Yifeng using a heavenly tear furnace cauldron as a toilet pops into old Xia's mind. Unable to contain himself, he feels utterly insulted as an alchemist. That's it, I can't take it anymore. I have to put an end to this. Furious at the prospect of Yifeng using the heavenly tear furnace cauldron as a toilet, old Xia is about to take drastic measures. Just then, Luo Qianxue arrives in time to intervene. Elder Xia, please show some restraint. After all, he's my direct disciple. Old Xia is fuming. Sect master, don't stop me. I must put an end to this wastrel. He's insulting my profession. Yifeng feels a sense of deja vu. It seems like whenever his beautiful master gets angry at him, it's old Xia who comes to the rescue. Now the tables have turned. Thinking it best to leave, Yifeng decides to call over his junior disciple, Wu Feng. Luo Qianxue is even more speechless. Are you trying to enrage the only two alchemists we have to death? Old Xia laments. Look what he's become under your indulgence. Sect master. Luo Qianxue retorts. I wonder who was the one trying to stop me yesterday. What goes around comes around. Ha. Old Xia is at a loss for words. No wonder you and Yifeng became master and disciple. Both of you are so cunning. Soon, Len Wufeng arrives. A cheerful old Xia can't help but smirk, thinking about how Wufeng is going to react. Wufeng, still unaware of the gravity of the situation, enthusiastically talks about helping his senior brother Yifeng build a latrine. However, old Xia's hopes of enjoying a show are dashed when it turns out Wufeng already knows that Yifeng plans to use the heavenly tear furnace cauldron as a toilet. Old Xia is baffled. How did you know? Wufeng smirks. Because my senior brother just gave me a heavenly tear furnace cauldron to use as a water tank in the yard. Old Xia is disheartened. Like father, like son, you've picked up bad habits from Yifeng too. This is driving me insane. Get lost, both of you. Although he verbally tells Len Wufeng to leave, it's actually old Xia who departs in a state of dejection. What bothers him the most is that Yifeng would give a heavenly tear furnace cauldron to Wufeng, while he, a 9th grade alchemist, doesn't even have one. The emotional roller coaster was intense for old Xia. However, when he returns to his own yard, he sees Chu Hongshan exclaiming, Elder Xia, how do you have a heavenly tear furnace cauldron in your yard? Upon hearing this, old Xia runs over with joy and indeed finds a heavenly tear furnace cauldron standing there, accompanied by a note with the character for gift. It seems Yifeng hadn't forgotten him after all. Old Xia is so touched that he's moved to tears. Chu Hongshan advises him to contain himself. Don't drown the furnace cauldron in your drool. Realizing his lapse, old Xia regains his composure. At this moment, Chu Hongshan expresses a desire to study the furnace cauldron. He had always wanted to craft a heavenly tear furnace cauldron, but all those he had seen before were already claimed. Old Xia readily agrees, sharing the same sentiment as Wufeng. Take this thing. If you don't, I'll just use it as a water tank in my yard. Although confused by Elder Xia's sudden change in attitude, Chu Hongshan has no objections. He promptly moves the furnace cauldron to his yard for study. However, when he gets back, he is utterly baffled to find a whole row of heavenly tear furnace cauldrons lined up. What the hell am I supposed to research now? Chu Hongshan is at a loss, staring at the 7 heavenly tear furnace cauldrons in front of him. When did heavenly tear furnace cauldrons become so common? Just then, Yifeng appears, startling Chu Hongshan. What are you doing here? As a weapon and armor smith, you should know how to squander resources with a heavenly tear furnace cauldron, right? Chu Hongshan claims ignorance. I'm an old man. I don't understand your young people's wasteful habits, but I can craft weapons and armor. Upon hearing the words weapons and armor, Yifeng's eyes light up. Ah, Elder Chu, you catch on quickly, Yifeng says, encouraging Chu Hongshan to pick one. Chu Hongshan is puzzled. What's the use for a weaponsmith like me? Are you suggesting I wield this furnace cauldron in battle? Yifeng responds, exactly. This furnace cauldron can be used for both offense and defense. Isn't it the ultimate weapon? You can use it to smash someone and hide inside for protection. It's perfect. Chu Hongshan still has reservations, saying, but this is a heavenly tear furnace cauldron. No one would abuse it like this. Yifeng then poses a question. If you, Elder Chu, were to go all out, how long would it take to destroy this furnace cauldron? After contemplating, Chu Hongshan replies, I wouldn't be able to, no matter how long I try. That's the point. Such an amazing furnace cauldron would be wasted if not used as a weapon. With that, he gathers up the remaining furnace cauldrons, leaving one for Chu Hongshan. Chu Hongshan is dumbfounded. You're giving this to me? It's the first time I've experienced your extravagance. No wonder everyone is shocked by you. Alright, then let's return Elder Xia's furnace cauldron to him. Meanwhile, inside the sect leader's grand hall, Luo Qianxue, Old Bai, and Luo Kai are present. Yifeng says, I entrust these heavenly tear furnace cauldrons to you all. Each of you can take one and use it as a weapon. Luo Qianxue is puzzled. Where did you get so many heavenly tear furnace cauldrons? As for using them as weapons, Little Blood is the first to agree. For her, the furnace cauldron is a perfect fit. Luo Kai, a body cultivator, is a bit envious. The demon race really is powerful. This furnace cauldron seems like it was made for her. Yifeng chimes in, Master, don't you think it's a great fit? Luo Qianxue doesn't object to the arrangement, but asks, what's the deal with giving one to the dog? Yifeng explains, of course, it's for the dog to use as a doghouse. Plus, once the dog gets stronger, it can carry the furnace cauldron in its mouth to help us in battle. The mental image of a 6-pack ripped dog wielding a giant cauldron to defeat enemies makes Luo Qianxue inexplicably speechless. It's an argument she finds hard to counter. As for the remaining one, I'll keep it for myself. Later, I'll let old Xia and junior brother Wufeng know so they can use them as weapons as well. That should complete our extravagant spending, right? Just then, a roar from outside interrupts them. It's from the people of Mirror Moon Manor. Zhang Shufeng shouts angrily, Star Soul Sect must hand over the murderer who killed my son, or else, today, I will annihilate the Star Soul Sect entirely.